live right now. 3, 2,
like 20, 18,
1.
19. Hold to see.
Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with River Brown, Andrew Velez, and Joe Dehls. This is episode 351. In this episode, we're going to grade every trade that happened at the trade deadline, pick winners and losers. Riv will take you to his academy and talk about Rob Dillingham and why you should trust the Cavaliers this season. And we are going to give our Super Bowl predictions, just all wrapped in one trade deadline show, Super Bowl show. Before we get started, a quick word from BetterHelp. This episode of Pick a Side Podcast is brought to you by BetterHelp. You can go to therapy for a variety of reasons: anxiety, depression, struggling with self-confidence, relationship or career management, and advice. Whether you've ever been to therapy or not, it's never too late to start. And for those that have, BetterHelp can be much more affordable than traditional in-office therapy. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Visit betterhelp.com/pickaside today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/pickaside. Episode 351, mega show today. How you feeling, fellas?
Mega show. What are you here?
I'm doing pretty damn great.
That's real rude of you. She did in the beginning.
So how old is
I
Rob
told you I
Dillingham?
was starting.
Yeah.
Me and Dehls are kind of like, you know.
Oh, save it for Riv
18,
Academy.
19?
It's not the age thing. It's next class is better.
Oh, okay.
Good amount better.
But damn, he's gonna go from. I will talk about Riv Academy.
Maybe later. I was trolling. Maybe the teens, late 20s was a little.
Riv, you know what I wanted to talk about on air?
Our game.
I did.
Ah, shit.
I wanted to talk
Floor's
about
yours, buddy.
I wanted to talk about our game because the aftermath was hilarious. Me and Riv are there after the game. We lost. We lost by 7. So far, we have yet to win a game. We are 0-3.
62-67.
Got it.
It was the best team in the league that you guys were playing?
No, that was 2 weeks ago. This week was one in the middle of the pack.
Last week. Best team in the league was last week.
That's what I said. That's what I meant to say. Apologize. Yeah, last week was best team in the league. This week, middle of the pack team. They have a now 3-2 record. So we lost. Second half, we played well. First half, we didn't play bad. We just didn't play together. Second half, we played well. So we go on this run. We are down by 1. We have to call it. I think we're down by 3 at this point. We call it timeout. Me and Riv just played the entire second half. So we played around 13 minutes at that point in time. So we decide to take a breather. We're like, yo, we're going to sit a minute or two. We're going to get back in the game. If that wasn't the biggest mistake that we made.
What was the score when you went out?
We were down 3.
No,
we were down 3. It was 52-49.
Ah, yes.
We were down 3. We come out the game, immediate 2 turnovers. They score on both. Now we're down by, I think it was both layups. Yep. So we were down 7. Riv goes to check himself back in. I'm still sitting because the guy who I got subbed out for hadn't played all game. Now, keep it in mind, I was dogging. I was going crazy. Really on the defense, that's really where I was doing my thing because we really don't have size and I was getting boards. But I made 4 threes. I was really in my bag, but I sat. If that wasn't the biggest mistake, because then when I get back, it's like around 4.5 minutes, 3.5 minutes left in the game. We couldn't come back. We just couldn't get enough stops. We couldn't hit enough shots. But the aftermath was funny as sin because there's people on the team they're not playing good. So immediately we're in the car on the way home, and we're talking about one of the guys who had just did not play well.
He's in the car with you?
No. Me and Riv are talking about, he just did not play well offensively. Like, don't know what he's doing offensively. And he texts Riv immediately, yo, bro, my bad, man.
It was right at the exact time we were talking about it.
So I knew he knew he ain't play well.
Correct. The day after, I don't know what sparked this. This is where Riv has to tell that side of the story. But Riv sends me a screenshot of one of the other guys on the team who me and Riv have constantly been talking about how he should not be playing this bad. We've played basketball with him before. He's been very good when we play with him. He's been pretty damn near terrible these first 3 games. So this is where I had to go to you, Riv, because I need the explanation of how did the conversation start where he was just like, yo, gang, I don't know what's happening. I'm not good on defense. I'm not good on offense. And Riv just goes, yo, bro, I'm sorry. That's just not good enough. What's the problem?
Nah, because I have, so we like to record the game just to see what we did wrong. So I had the recording on my phone. So I go to work. I have mad spare time at work. So I'm just like, let me just watch the game, see what's going on. I got pissed off immediately. Like I was just watching. I was like, bro, this guy fucking sucks. So
Who is it? Is it someone we know?
It is.
I don't want to out him. I don't want to out him.
But it was definitely somebody we know. So I texted him. I'm like, yo, bro, what's going on? Like, what's been going on? Why have you fallen off? And he's just like, I'm in a funk. And I'm like, you're in a funk on defense? Like, what do you mean you're in a, like, what do you mean you're in a funk on defense? He was just like, I'm not playing defense right now. I was like, but what do you mean a funk though? Like, how do you just get in a funk? Like, I understand if you're in a funk offensively, you're
Shots
not hitting
falling,
shot,
yeah,
but
yeah.
how are you just in a funk defensively? I was very upset about that answer. And he was just like, I'm gonna get right next week. And I'm just like, okay, like,
nah, bro.
sure.
I text Riv immediately. I'm just like, nah, you did not have to be a dick about it. But he just like, yo, bro, this is not a good enough answer.
It was really a dog
laughing.
shit answer, man. I didn't like it, but yeah, man, he just 3 weeks straight, man. It's like we dropped his minutes.
Nah, he went from a certified starter game 1, and I go to Riv. I'm like, yo, game 2, probably throw out the same lineup. CJ would definitely. Oh well, sorry, CJ.
He out of him. It's over.
He didn't play that well.
I knew that's who y'all was talking about.
Yeah, OD. But then game 2, he did not play well at all. Like no defense, no nothing. Game 3,
He's just not giving effort on defense. Or he's just,
none. Because I'm watching on the bench and I'm really watching everyone. I go to Riv. I'm just like, yo, bro, he's not even moving.
He's not
Not moving
calling
his feet,
for a
nothing.
screen. He's just
No communication.
It's nothing. He's in a funk.
They have me doing. They have me doing everything. Like I'm the poor man's Bam Adebayo on our team. I'm playing down low. I'm playing on the perimeter on defense. I'm calling out screens. I'm calling out switches. I have to do everything on that side, bro. For you to just not pick up your man,
Pissed you off.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
We played zone. He didn't know he was in the zone.
Yo, and that's what killed me. I try to take some heat off him because Riv low-key overcommitted. When you play zone, you have to stay on your side.
Yeah.
So he's supposed to be at the top with Riv, but he does not know that. He just didn't get that concept. So Riv got tight. He got angry, just completely went to his side. And I go to Riv after the game. I'm like, yo, bro. Like, I get you were overcompensating, but that's technically on you. Because then, of course, what did he do? Went to the left side and got a wide open midi. So I go around, I'm just like, you got to just trust that he's going to be there. He didn't know. But, dude, it was bad. It was bad.
Does he just not know how to play zone? He didn't know he was in zone.
He's in a funk. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't
And
know,
there's
bro.
this one guy on the team who I've been riding for. He actually plays with so much heart.
Oh, I like that.
He may not be the best player, but you know
That's
what?
fine.
He takes his shots. He knows when to take his shots, and he plays.
He's got IQ.
Hard on defense. I don't want to go that far and say has IQ, but knows when to stay. Just keep your spot on the corner. Know when to. He always attacks the glass. Small dude always attacks the glass, but he's giving effort on defense. I go to Riv and I say, yo, bro. There's no reason why this guy should be playing. Yeah, look at that.
These are the two dudes, man. They're the third and fourth. They're the fourth and fifth leading scorers. This is what they do. Here's the first guy. Word. Here's the next guy.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my
My
God.
goodness.
It's
For
just like
y'all
what-
who couldn't
what-
see, just missed wide open layups back to back.
That was hard. That was hard to watch.
Not to mention when me and Drew went out, the dudes who were turning the ball over the first three, he was a part of that, man. It's just.
I'll tell you what, man. Me and Riv had it turned up. We were just playing fast. We were getting out in transition.
It was because, mind you, I played the whole first half.
OD. Riv played way too much.
20 minutes straight. Then I played the next 13. I'm like, bro, I'm tired, bro. They should have took me out in the first, but they didn't. As soon as I sit down, turnover.
One of us should have sat. We both
Yeah, you need to
sat.
stagger
That was the issue.
Gotta stagger that.
Yeah, it's, we pulled the Steve Kerr out.
So 0-3 start. How many more games you guys got?
4 left.
Does everyone make the playoffs in this?
No.
Oh, fuck.
So you might miss the playoffs.
There's a possibility.
You got to go
chance.
undefeated.
Well, what do you gotta hit?
essentially.
We got to go 4-3 and then pray to heaven.
Oh, you got to win out.
Yeah, we got to win out, but we also have to now. It's not in our hands. It's like football. Now we got to hope these tiebreakers play out, and we play the best team in the league again soon.
Now, I'm going to
we're not
be
winning
transparent so we can reflect on our game. My ball handle is so bad. It's terrible. Like, I've gotten to the point where in my mind I've convinced myself my right hand's useless. I can't use it. I was out on a fast break after I got a steal.
Bro went straight left.
I was on my right side. I'm on the right side. Left, dribble. And
it was embarrassing.
I knew.
You gotta at least pretend
I'm an
you know it.
idiot.
Because my left is trash, but I'll try to pretend that I got something there.
I should have slowed up. I was going full speed, and I did not trust my right going full speed like that. That was the moment I realized it's time to hit the lab. It's inexcusable to have that type of dribbling. But I was letting it go from range.
What'd you drop?
I had 14.
Oh, calm. Okay.
I had 14. So I went from 9 to 10 to 14. This was by far Riv's best game because he's actually was shooting the basketball, even though he had some clunkers. He was letting it go.
Yeah.
I did have some clunkers.
Bro, he let one go basically 2 steps past half court. I looked at him. I said, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I'm trying to get a rhythm.
I was trying to get a rhythm.
He
35 feet.
I got to show you this after the show.
Was that the heat check?
No.
Was that the heat check was bad fault.
He lets it go. He immediately goes like this.
Oh, it was that one. Oh, yeah.
Throws himself near to the crowd, bro. This shot was bad. I'm watching it back with my mom and dad, and they go, "Oi!"
It was a tough one. It was a tough one for sure.
Nah, it was lit.
I had
though.
game high though, so I feel good about myself.
What'd you drop?
I had 15. Literally, me, him, and my cousin, we combined for 45 points.
Damn.
The team had 62.
Do the other players on your team, do they have like specialties? There's like you got a big
our
man, a
bigs
rebounder.
do. Like Seb is a rebounder and a post defender. Ruben is a defender, connector, rebounder. Ozzy is the energy guy, the defense guy. He should be making his layups for sure.
He's actually been shooting relatively well too.
KJ is a scorer. Drew's a scorer. I'm a scorer. CJ is supposed to be the 3-and-D guy.
Stop playing defense.
No. There's no 3. There's no D.
He's like 2024 Clay.
Damn.
No, because he doesn't take bad shots.
Okay.
He does not take bad
He
shots.
doesn't
That's
take
one thing
bad
he
shots.
doesn't do. He just don't make the good ones, you know? And that's the team pretty much.
And one thing I'll
Oh,
say,
Steve. He's a 3 and no D. But he can hit his 3
that's
ball.
my dog.
Yeah.
You cap on the 3 no D. He plays his heart out on
He
fucking
doesn't play. He
defense.
can't play D.
Is he
I
just-
watched
is he
the
small?
tape back yesterday. He is
He's
small.
He's small and he's slow.
I watched the tape back yesterday. He at least was following through, kept running through screens.
That's all you can ask for.
That's it.
He's
All
like,
you can
damn, I don't even know who to compare him to. He just, he tries though.
Nah,
all
that's
you
my
can ask
dog. I fuck with Steve.
We got the super chat here from Anthony Saldana. When are Patreon episodes coming back, fellas?
So soon.
I'm with, and I could really record any day, but I understand Patreon. We got to come up with topics. It's hard
do.
at this time of year where we don't have our NFL picks. That was
Give us ideas for Patreon because we've been doing pick'ems for the last 3-4 months.
Facts.
NFL's over. We were doing questions, answering your guys' questions for a couple months there, but we weren't getting the same type of positive feedback, I feel like, as the pick'em. So if you guys have ideas for what you want us to do, leave them in the comments. Let us know.
And Ricky goes, finally the Mavs have good centers.
There we go.
Went from Willie Cauley-Stein to Gafford and Lively, PJ to the moon.
Let's go, Mavs.
Luka makes everybody better.
Yes, sir.
except for Grant Williams.
And then Ricky also followed up that super chat by sending another one. How do you feel about that Madden game, Joel? I was cooking your boy with J-Mo, Drew.
Talk your shit, Ricky. Nah, that's pretty
Stunting on you
ironic.
on the live is crazy.
Nah, that's embarrassing. That hurts.
Huh?
That hurts.
He's stunning on you on your own live show.
He said he kicked your ass in Madden.
I'm going to be honest. Jamison Williams
Cheat code,
is
probably.
a cheat code.
He is. He's probably, 98 speed? I bet.
He's a 98 speed. And the thing about it is that I was playing great defense, but those two deep shots down the field of Jamo are what got him into rhythm and
Only they could do that in real life.
into the red zone. But I don't understand how he was getting so open because even though I was playing single high coverage, I have Eric Stokes on him, and Eric Stokes is a 95 speed corner. So I should still
I
relatively
feel like
be able to
receivers
keep
just
up.
beat corners
They
in
do,
Madden.
always.
Like even if you have like same speed receiver, especially on like a go or something, they're just gonna
You
win.
have to be playing over the top with the safeties. The only way.
And I'm seeing Eric Stokes, he's falling behind a couple steps on Jamison Williams, and
And
that's how he
honestly,
got his big plays. Honestly, it got me tight.
Even if you're playing cover two, that safety is probably gonna get outran by J-Mo.
What was the score?
I forgot. It was bad though.
Ricky
I
can tell
forgot
us.
is
He'll tell us.
lie. He's lying.
No, I
Two
really
touchdowns,
forgot.
3 touchdowns.
And I would say I scored 14. I think he might have scored like 34, 37.
Got your ass
That's what
kicked.
it was. Damn. Yeah, that's
he
what it
did
was.
say in the beginning he got his ass whooped. He did
He
say
said I
that.
got smoked fair
Yeah,
and square.
he said that early.
No,
so.
that was. I respect that, Joel. He said, "Yep, got my ass beat." Ricky did his thing.
We doing this 2K league?
I don't like 2K leagues. That's just me personally.
What happened first? It was I don't like rec. Now it's I don't like 2K leagues.
The thing is, 2K leagues are weird because with 2K leagues, I'll just compare to Madden leagues. With Madden leagues, if we're on week 1, we're all on week 1 until we choose to advance, and then we're on week 2. With NBA 2K leagues, you can play game 1 and game 82 in the same day. Like you can essentially play all of your league games before everybody else. Like you could be finished with your games and somebody is like still has to play like 30 more.
I don't hate that because I feel like in Madden's different though because it's like it's one game a week. Everyone's on the same timeline. Basketball though, there's like 2-3 games a week. We're gonna do one game at a time for 2K, bro. That shit would take forever.
No, not one game at a time, but definitely can't.
You can't
simulate
shorten
your
the season?
entire
You definitely
season.
can.
I was gonna say you could shorten the
You
season.
could definitely make like a calm 20-game season. I'm sure.
gee.
I think you can shorten
The
this,
lowest
yeah.
is 29 games. I'm
We can do
pretty
that.
sure.
29 is valid.
It's 29
I'll do
games.
that.
29's a lot.
Are we gonna? Will we do fantasy draft?
I'd
Yeah,
be down.
of course.
I'd definitely be down.
Oh, you don't like doing regular team franchises?
It's just more fun to draft a squad.
Yeah.
That's why
I
if
did
we're doing
regular
Madden
teams.
League, drafting with 32 teams would
It's OD,
suck.
yeah.
I want Charlotte. I love their jerseys. Their jerseys are so beautiful.
You can do cross.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, yeah.
Joel
that's cool.
tried to convince me to join the Madden League, and he almost got me. He pressured me multiple times, actually. He texted me 2 separate individual times. And it just hit me again. The game's terrible.
Yeah.
I hate
don't really
Madden.
fuck with Madden.
It's not an enjoyable
What even sucks
game.
is I'm so excited for NCAA to come out,
Facts.
but I just know it's EA. Like I know it's gonna be Madden just reskinned as NCAA, but at least Dynasty mode should be back. I'm hoping that's gonna be fun, but I know it's gonna be the same.
I thought I was gonna get Drew with the Lions. I told him, listen, you could be the Lions.
The Lions intrigued the shit out of me.
Yeah,
He said, "Yo, bro, you got the
Gibbs,
Dolphins available,"
Amon-Ra.
and he's like, "No, you got the Lions available." I'm just like, "J-Mo, man, I'm Amon-Ra,
The
Jameer."
Dolphins didn't move you?
Because I played with Tua in Madden. He's pretty good, but I also played against Joel with Tua, and he just threw just a mind-boggling interception that made no sense to the point where Joel was just like, "Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened."
Happens sometimes, man.
Santos sent a super chat. Cinnamon challenge for the Patreon.
Riv, I feel like you'd be down for that.
Cinnamon challenge.
Cinnamon challenge.
What's the cinnamon
Remember
challenge?
that was back in the day. You would like it was like a spoonful of cinnamon, like, and you're supposed to like eat it, I guess, or some shit.
yeah.
I'll do it. Whatever the Patreon needs, I get it done.
Hot chip first, now the cinnamon
No,
challenge.
that's
He's your
never
guy.
happening again.
We're always putting Riv up to the test to do something that's potentially dangerous.
I could do the cinnamon challenge with you.
People have done
The
it.
hot chip,
I-
we're never doing that again. No, I can't.
Can you believe someone died off that?
Thank God it wasn't me. Fuck. I
Imagine.
felt like
You
I
felt
was
like you're
dying.
going to-
Could
Oh
have
my
had, we could have had
God,
Riv on t-shirts.
bro. I was shitting for 5 days, bro. Oh my
one
God,
little
bro.
shit, man.
And the shit was nasty, bro. It was real nasty. And it
color?
hurt. It
Smell
was
crazy?
like dark red. It
Oh,
was really
oh,
like, it was bleeding. Like it
I would have
hurt.
gone to the hospital.
Hey,
Bro,
Red shit, I would have been tweaked
no,
out.
the
Bro.
only time I had a red shit was after Hot Cheetos. I haven't had them since.
It was one of them shits that shoot out like a gun. Like, it was bad, bro. It was so bad, bro. It was like 5 days straight, bro. Just that, bro. I hated that so much.
So the NBA trade deadline ended today at 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Yep.
And the total amount of trades that were made today and yesterday in total were 18. So we got a lot of trades that happened. Not a lot of them are very impactful. We could start with, I think, the first couple ones that I think mattered the most. Okay. So I think number one is the Knicks.
Absolutely.
Let's
Traded
talk
for
about
Bojan Bogdanovic
Absolutely.
and trading for Alec Burks. The Knicks won the trade deadline. It's as simple as that.
Masterclass.
And Leon Rose got to start getting his flowers as one of the best GMs in the league. He gave Brunson a huge contract that was criticized. In that same offseason, he signed Isaiah Hartenstein, one of the best backup bigs in the league, and he's playing great as a starting center too. Then you trade for Josh Hart midseason. Who do you give up? You give up Cam Reddish, somebody who hasn't lived up to his billing as a draft pick yet in the league, even though he's playing much better with the Lakers. Then this past offseason, you sign Dante DiVincenzo in the trade deadline. Before today, you go get OG Anunoby and Precious Achiuwa and Malachi Flynn. And then just today, you get Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks. I mean, he's built up this roster top to bottom. And in a league that is in love with star hunting and only going for the big name players, I feel like the Knicks are building a team the right way. And do more things have to go right in order for us to win a championship or get to the finals? Absolutely. But I think we have given ourselves the best chance to do so by fulfilling out our roster, and now we have an abundance of spacing Bojan Bogdanovic is going to come off the bench for us, at least when OG Anunoby gets healthy and Randall. But I love this move specifically because Randall, OG, and Mitch are injured. And now Bojan is in the starting lineup with Brunson, and that's going to keep us afloat in the Eastern Conference until OG heals up and Randall. But having him off the bench with Josh Hart, with Isaiah Hartenstein when we're all healthy, I mean, we have the most depth in the East probably outside the Celtics. Celtics are number one, but then we're right there at number two.
If you want to go straight depth, I mean, you guys could go 8, 9 deep. Boston can't really go that far.
And I think that we're the second most dangerous team in the East. I think we're making the conference finals pretty easily. I think we're making the conference finals.
Pretty easily. I want to get all on board.
Yeah. Realistically, who is we got Boston.
Have to respect Milwaukee.
They listen.
I'll keep it a stack, bro.
They're looking. That's it. They suck.
There's a better chance Milwaukee gets bounced in the first round than makes the ECF.
Here's the thing.
I don't respect Milwaukee.
As long as they have Giannis and
Dame is a choker outside the first round, and Giannis, we'll build the wall on him. If we get OG on him, he ain't doing nothing.
Realistically, Milwaukee and the Pacers playing the first round, bro, that's nasty for Milwaukee.
You have OG and then Mitch on the back. Giannis ain't doing nothing, bro.
Again, you have to pray that Mitch comes back. You do have to pray that
he's coming back.
100%.
Even if he doesn't play, I still think the Knicks.
He's ramping up to get on the court.
All right,
soon.
I love to hear that because obviously you know the impact that he has on the defensive side of the ball. And then you have Isaiah Hartenstein, who's been giving you excellent minutes, subbing in as a starter. You bring him back to the bench. I mean, either which way, you're going to be set in that regard. I want to go all in on the Knicks. I just need to know what version of Julius Randle I'm getting come playoff time. You have all the depth. You're right. You can get excited. It's justified. This team is legit. It's just a matter of that star power. I understand what you're saying. You guys did it the right way. I agree. I think Jalen Brunson is a star in his own right. You do have a star. But going up against Giannis, going up against Dame, I think that it'll be a harder task come playoff time. We've seen that you guys can go into a series, be underdogs against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and smoke them. You guys have done that. You've shown the capability to do that, but you need Julius Randle to be at 100 and playing at 100 against a team like that. Boston Celtics definitely would be number one for me, but you guys definitely have made some unbelievable moves. OG Anunoby getting surgery. I think they said 3 weeks until he's reevaluated. Bittersweet, of course, because you guys were rolling with him on the court. Julius Randle, of course, has the dislocated shoulder. But once this team is back, I'm with you. This is a team that can contend to make the Eastern Conference Finals. It's just the Eastern Conference becomes such a crapshoot this time of year. With Philadelphia without Joel Embiid, that's another team that you're looking at a little bit of a disadvantage, although they did make some moves themselves today. I like the Knicks. I just don't know if I can just firmly stamp ECF where we currently stand right now. Because I understand how things go. People don't treat the regular season the right way. We haven't been seeing the Heat play that great of basketball, but we know come playoff time, suddenly, somehow, they're going to be playing some high-level basketball. That's just the way that the wind goes with the Miami Heat. And the Indiana Pacers, they've also made some moves. They haven't been playing that great concisely. But Tyrese Halliburton, you see the way that Pascal Siakam has been playing since joining.
The Pacers before the Cavs. I don't know why he did that.
I did.
Crazy.
It's a fact that I completely overlooked the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have been the surprise team of the Eastern Conference, right next to the Knicks, for the fact of you lost Garland, you lost Mobley. Donovan Mitchell has been playing at a top 5 level in the league in terms of MVP. He's really been that great. I think Riv would take it a step further with Donovan, and that's fine with me. The Cavs have been an elite team this season. It's not the same team as last year.
With all due respect, I think the Knicks are better than those teams. I'm only fearful of the Celtics because of the talent.
I think the Cavs could be in that conversation, but the Bucks and Sixers, we had these expectations coming into the season, but we have a 50-game sample size now. My preseason expectations for these teams are out the window. Sixers are one thing because you have the Embiid injury.
It's a fact.
It's really hard to think he's going to be 100% healthy for the playoffs. He's going to be reevaluated in a month, but it still seems like a long shot. We were talking on the previous episode. We think he should just sit out, get his body 100% right for the long term. And the Bucks, I mean, this went on this 5-game road trip. They lost 4 out of 5. They had that really terrible game against the Jazz to get outscored 40-13 in the fourth quarter. They lose to the Trailblazers. I mean, they lost to the Suns last night or the night before. They didn't have Dame in that game, but to me, the Bucks aren't contenders. Like, I don't see a world where the Bucks are going to be able to make a finals run. They're defensively, they lack a lot of juice. I know this picked up Pat Bev as kind of a POA defender, and I think in a matchup against the Knicks, that's helpful. Going up against Jalen Brunson, going up against the Celtics when your primary scorers are all 6'6" and taller, that doesn't really help you a ton. But the Knicks won this trade deadline, picking up Bogdanović, picking up Alec Burks. Both have been phenomenal for the Pistons. Really the couple of bright spot vets that they've had this season. And you mentioned it, how it isn't been star power driven for the Knicks. And this is something that we have to kind of keep track of going forward, because with the new CBA and the second apron, you kind of have two ways of building a team. You could go crazy like the Phoenix Suns, get 3 superstars, pay them all the max money, and sign minimum guys around them and try to figure it out. Or you could go the Knicks route where, to be fair, you sign Jalen Brunson at a, kind of below star level, and he's playing at an MVP level. It's hard to do that, but then fit everyone else around him. OG's not making a ton. Randall, Dante DiVincenzo is looking like one of the better contracts in the NBA the way he's been playing this past month. So you're figuring out around the edges how to build a team together, and they play together, and they play with defense and toughness, and they've been hitting threes. So the Knicks are building it in maybe a new kind of fashion that we haven't seen in the past, because although the Nuggets did win with Nikola Jokic, it's not like they had that second superstar free agent they went and spent $30-40 million on, like KD with the Warriors, for example. Yep. But they're building it with Leon Rose, hitting on some draft picks, accumulating draft picks. Now you got all of these players, haven't given up a first round draft pick still. You have a boatload of assets to use in the future, and you have key contributors who could play defense, who could shoot. The Knicks, to me, I said this, I think, 2 weeks ago, they're the second best team in the East. The Cavs, the way they're playing, deserve their respect. But I know you said it's a different team from last year. It's hard for me to get that first round matchup of last year between the Knicks and Cavs, especially the way the Knicks are playing this season, which is better than last year.
Why'd
you grunt like that?
I don't know.
It's kind of like his signature thing before he talks.
Very
low-key. I think the Knicks definitely won the day. It's interesting because a lot of people, Bogdanović, Alec Burks, great role players, definitely are going to fit next to Brunson. And the team was already performing at a high level with OG. You can't wait to get Mitch Robinson back, because defensively, they're going to be a great unit, especially with Tom Thibodeau. He always, at minimum, produces a great defensive team. So now you got the pieces, you got the glue. Brunson's been playing like an MVP this year. It's really, with this team, it's just about Randall. I think everything, you can put all the good pieces together, which they've done that. They brought in shooting. They brought in bench pieces with Dante DiVincenzo last offseason. They brought in all the necessary pieces. They brought in Isaiah Hartenstein as a backup big who's been playing great as a starter, but also can be your backup. So they have everything. It's just about, like I mentioned, that second star. Can that second star come in? Can he, change the narrative? He can. This is definitely a team, that's scary. But I can't count out the Cavs. I think the Cavs, the Bucks, the Knicks, they're probably in that same next tier up. I think Boston is the favorites in the East. I don't think any of those teams should be fearful of each other. I think Joel's saying I'm not scared of any of those teams. He shouldn't be. And I think the same could be said for Cavs. Same that can be said for Milwaukee. I don't think any of these teams should fear each other. They've all had their weaknesses. With the Bucks, though, you still got to trust in Giannis and Dame. With the Cavs, with the way they're playing, the way their role players have stepped up, the continuity they have, you got to trust in this year that JB Bickerstaff has created a different environment for them this year. Donovan Mitchell has been playing like a top 5 MVP candidate this year. But also on the Knicks side, bringing in these two guys. You have Dante. You didn't give up much. Quentin Grimes wasn't playing great in his role with them anyways, and Dante has been playing excellent. And then on top of that, you have OG, who's been one of the best defenders in the league. You have a Hartenstein and Mitch combination at center when they come back. It just really puts more pressure on Julius Randle to come out and perform in the playoffs, because if he doesn't perform, this team could, not make the Eastern Conference Finals.
But I think this time around he's going to perform.
Off blind faith?
No.
Has to be.
No. Off of
he's playing different
objectivity.
This year,
the smile
and the reason why, and first off, before I say what I'm going to say about Julius Randle, I just want to bring up that it wasn't too long ago where we did.
Killian Hayes got released.
I know. That's a W.
Fuck.
You just found that out? Or
no, I just realized.
Happened like 5
it's
hours
about
ago.
time, bro.
Yeah, it happened like so long.
And James Bucknight.
Yeah. Kai Jones and Booknight in the same draft.
I don't
God
really
bless.
care about that guy. But James.
I remember we did a show with Hoop Politics. It was like a through StreamYard or something like that.
Shout out Hoop.
And I remember you guys were laughing at me for owning the Julius Randle jersey. And now...
What is it? You got the Nasty Award for that, right?
I got the Nasty Award. And now all the players that you guys were hounding me for not getting the jerseys, they're off the team. RJ Barrett's off the team. Manuel Quickley's off the team. And I like that we're going into this direction.
Where's your Brunson jersey?
I got to get one soon. I definitely got to get one
We can
soon.
get matching ones.
Okay. I could. What color are you gonna get though?
Whichever one you don't get. I'll give you first dibs.
What do you mean? If we're getting matching ones, don't we get the same one?
Oh, okay. Respect. Yeah, let's do it.
I
I only meant that we both get Brunson jerseys.
Okay.
He's right though.
I don't like getting white jerseys.
You know what?
I just feel like it's too.
Get
it's
stains,
too,
shit, yeah.
It's just like, bro, I want some color.
I get it. The white. You're right.
The throwback Nick ones, like blue and orange.
Yeah,
those are hard,
facts. I would get a blue one. It's just the white jerseys to me. Look, white jersey Knicks right there. It's beautiful.
It's clean.
It's clean.
But I understand what you're saying.
The dark blue one. I like.
Dark blue one's beautiful.
Of course, the away jersey.
The
I like
orange
too.
one's heat too. Don't they have an orange jersey?
Julius Randle's going to play better because you look at the other playoff series that he's been a part of. The first one against Atlanta, they were swarming him. We didn't have no spacing. He was missing shots on his own, of course, but he wasn't playing with proper spacing. The only other player that performed in that playoff series for us was Derrick Rose and Alec Burks. This past playoff run, he was playing hurt. He was injured. He had some good games in it sprinkled in. It wasn't entirely bad. And in the games that he was bad, the same reoccurring problem was there. We didn't have much spacing. And outside of Jalen Brunson, nobody else really showed up consistently. RJ Barrett had some games, but Emmanuel quickly didn't play well. Josh Hart's shooting was all over the place. Now that we have the proper shooting around Julius Randle, I think he's going to be a much better offensive player. And I think the way he's been playing this year, getting downhill more, is going to lead to him being more efficient in the playoffs. And I think right now what the Knicks are doing is that we have a roster full of winning players. You know, Jalen Brunson's a winning player.
For sure.
DiVincenzo's a winning player. You know, look back to this Villanova run when they won a championship. He's a winning player, and he plays like that. OG Anunoby, winning player. Bojan Bogdanovic, not too long ago, I remember watching him on the Jazz versus the Clippers, and he was playing great defense on Kawhi Leonard, and he was doing his thing offensively. He's a winning player. We got a ton of experience and a ton of guys that will take the load off of Julius Randle to the point that he doesn't have to feel like it's all on him for us to go far. Mm-hmm. I think that Julius Randle can play at an average level, and we can still make the conference finals. I actually believe that the only way we make the finals is if he plays well. I think we can make the Eastern Conference Finals with him not playing that well, honestly. I think in order for us to go to the finals, he got to play really well.
I mean, if he gives you what he did last season or, you know, the previous two playoff runs, yeah, it's going to be tough.
If he gives us what he gave us last playoff run, I think we can make the conference finals still. Because I think we have Bojan and we got a lot of other players that can step up.
Okay. Are you guys going to beat the Heat?
I think we will this time around. Yeah.
It really just takes
I'm not even
one
trying to say
time.
this disrespectfully.
It just takes one time for the Heat to fizzle
That's
out.
all-
I need to
okay.
fizzle out one time in the first round and be like, told y'all. They ain't like that.
You still gotta acknowledge the Bucks.
You have to.
You do. Nah, it's
And the Cavaliers are actually really
Randall
good.
needs to play like average Julius Randle. He doesn't need to be the superstar, you know, crazy number 2 option, but he can't go out and give you what he did last year. That's going to be hard to make the ECF.
Am I crazy for saying this is the best Donovan Mitchell we've seen?
No,
outside of playoff Donovan?
This is the best. Donovan Mitchell
for
we've
sure.
seen.
In the regular season, yeah.
Because my Lord have mercy. Garland went down, and I don't want to say that this was the best thing for him, but I feel like he found himself within this offense. But of course, Garland's comeback has still allowed Mitchell to still be that guy. And kudos to Garland, honestly, for allowing himself to take a back seat where last year you knew Donovan was the guy, but of course Garland with his opportunity still trying to get his. But he's really come back and realized, hey, we have to keep riding this hot hand. You see the way that Jared Allen has been playing this season. Evan Mobley coming back. Obviously, that's going to help your defense. Okoro, which I brought up to Riv because, hey, I got to give him his respect. He's moved to the bench, and it's really allowed him to thrive in that role where Max Strus is now the starting 3. This is a really good roster. That Cavaliers team is a legit one, not one that I want to overlook.
These are the first 4 trades that happened just within the last 48 hours. So the first trade was the Timberwolves got Monte Morris, and the Pistons got Shake Milton, Troy Brown, a second-round pick. The second trade, the Celtics got Xavier Tillman, and the Grizzlies got Lamar Stevens, a second-round pick in 2027 via the Hawks, a 2030 second-round pick via the Mavs. The third trade, the Pistons got Simone Fontecchio, and the Jazz got Kevin Knox and the draft rights to a player named Gabriel Procida from the Turkish league, 2024 second-round pick. And the fourth trade was the Jazz received Carol Lewis, Otto Porter, 2024 first-round pick, I think it's the Clippers' first-round pick. And the Raptors received Kelly Olynyk and Ochai Agbaji. So we'll go by these trades like 4 at a time. So just within these first 4 trades, which one do you like the most?
The Monte Morris one is interesting.
Okay.
Because I definitely think, at least regular season-wise, they needed some backup PG minutes desperately. We saw with Mike Conley out the lineup when he was injured, and even when he's just off the floor, the offense doesn't look the same. In terms of like a playoff needle mover, is he going to move the needle for me as I view the Timberwolves? Probably not. But I think for like regular season, these lulls they've had offensively, especially in fourth quarters and tight games, I thought that was a solid move for the Wolves.
I like it. I think, Morris being a game manager and Morris being a guy that can hit the 3 ball, that can be a point guard that can facilitate, work around the pick and roll, just be a solid playmaker. It's definitely huge because those minutes without Conley as the point guard, they be rough. You want to see Ant-Man and these guys make that improvement, but now bringing in another veteran point guard, somebody who's, has that feel for the point guard position, who knows how to play it, I think that improves mightily for them. Like you said, I don't know if it's an insane needle mover in the playoffs, but they needed some backup point guard minutes, and this is a guy that they got essentially by trading nothing for him. Yeah. So this was much needed, and I liked what they did here.
Couple of moves. The Xavier Tillman one obviously makes a lot of sense, especially with the way that Kristaps, of course, has been going through some injury. You needed that backup outside of almost 40 years old Al Horford. So getting Xavier Tillman to be your backup big there, I always say that's what a lot of teams need. The Lakers are definitely one of those cases where I would have loved to move for an Xavier Tillman. And that was what I said in the chat. I said the only trade that I would have done was to get Andre Drummond back on the team because we really would have liked that backup presence. But for the Boston to go and get Xavier Tillman, I thought that was a smart move. And another one, just low-key, just to talk about a little bit. Utah trading away Fontecchio. I hope that this means that we're going to start to get some more Taylor Hendricks minutes.
Here we go.
I truly hope.
He's been cooking in the G League.
Just because last trade deadline we saw similar where Jazz made some moves.
Cooper,
huh?
So has Sharif Cooper.
Wasn't that your guy?
Not really, yeah, but no. I didn't.
Didn't you make a team to get him on 2K?
Yeah, no, I do that all the time.
Got it.
Never thought he was going to be this high-level guy in this league.
I thought you called him Trae Young.
No, me and Joel laughed about somebody calling him Trae Young.
Okay, no, I'm just trolling 100%.
Couldn't get me on that one.
No. You were very straight, very quick with your answer, so I respect that. Try to catch you slipping. But hopefully this frees up minutes for my guy Taylor Hendricks because, again, last trade deadline, we saw the Jazz make some moves, and then it led to Ochai Agbaji getting some minutes down the stretch of the season. He actually showed some promise. And then him getting traded to the Raptors today. I don't know why the Jazz decided to trade him away so soon. But I get it. They have so many pieces.
It's never really
they
the
got
pick.
Exactly. That's very true also. But I'm hopeful for Taylor, where obviously he was a top 10 pick. I want to see him get some minutes. I want to see what he's made of.
Wow, I thought this was gonna be a Fontecchio kind of thing.
Come on.
Actually, I will make it a Fontecchio kind of thing.
All right, cool.
Because I actually think that
Detroit needed him.
Pistons did something this trade deadline where they just said, all right, we're just gonna get like good NBA players and at least serviceable guys.
They traded away Alec Burks and Bojan. That's why it's a tough look.
They got
That's
Quentin
true.
Grimes, though.
They did get Grimes. That's a good point.
This is gonna sound a little bit crazy, but I think Bojan much better, but Fontecchio fills his role.
Understand.
As a shooter, movement shooter, and he's actually a really good defender. He's been an awesome defender this year. So Fontecchio going there, I think he can be in a starting lineup for them, and it's going to give them more spacing. Quentin Grimes was a good pickup. Shake Milton hasn't done much with the Wolves, but I think in a space where he has freedom, he can play well. Mm-hmm. Although I don't know if he'll play over Marcus Sasser. That's the decision that Monty Williams will make. And I like Troy Brown Jr., just a 3-and-D wing who can space the floor somewhat. I think the Pistons, even though they lost Bojan and Alec Burks, they might have gotten a little bit better with this trade deadline with who they got.
Listen, don't look now. Pistons 3-4 in their last 7. For where they were
and
when
they
lost 30 in a row.
Oh,
yeah, beat the Kings. The Thunder, too.
Yeah. Don't the Kings know I just rode for them?
Kings do have some bad losses.
They do. They do.
And then with the Raptors, I don't know why people were overreacting to what the Raptors did. I think Kelly Olynyk is a really good player. He fits with Scotty Barnes
Canadian.
And his development. Yeah, he is Canadian too. And Ochai Agbaji is
Canadian?
Solid. No, he's not.
Okay.
Trading first. Whose first was that? Do you have
it was the Clippers first. So it's going to be a late first.
It's still a first-round pick, but it's the least. It was like them, OKC.
Yeah, there's like 4 teams on that protection.
I think Minnesota maybe.
Olynyk is a free agent after this year? He's got one.
That's the pick that they got from the Pacers. Could you remember with the Pacers, when they traded for Pascal Siakam, they gave him that pick that was like you just mentioned, the Rockets, OKC, the Clippers, and one other team.
Oh, yeah.
That might have been something. It might have been it's probably been within that deal.
All I know is that this pick is not an early first-round pick, and this draft is weak. So, the odds of a good player being available in the late 20s in the first round, it's not likely. And Monte Morris, of course.
Raptors could draft, though.
Monte Morris has never averaged a turnover in his career, over a turnover in his career.
That's pretty crazy.
And I think with the Timberwolves' turnover problems, with their spacing problems, he provides two areas of what they need. And now they have a point guard they could go to when Mike Conley's not on the floor. So I think that makes them better.
And I'll stay on topic about the Toronto Raptors. Remember how we were talking on our last basketball podcast how this team should be centered around Scotty Barnes, and that's what their goals should be at the end of the season. Kind of saw that today with trading Dennis Schroeder, getting a guard out of there who Dennis Schroeder does have some ball handling responsibilities on the squad. Now you trade him. You trade for Spencer Dinwiddie, who most likely is going to hit the open market, I can only assume. So now it's really being emphasized. Scotty should, of course, alongside Emmanuel Quickly. These are going to be our two primary ball handlers. Dennis Schroeder, who's been playing well for Toronto Raptors, at least you traded him. Maybe I don't know if there was picks involved.
I think it was straight up Schroeder.
Just straight the two players, Dennis Schroeder, Thaddeus Young. I would have liked to see a pick there, maybe a second rounder, but at the same time, what you tried to do was center your team around Scotty Barnes. And they started the process a little bit earlier than what me and Joel had anticipated, which we thought would be this
basically
offseason.
it was basically off Schroeder's contract.
That's it. How much was he getting paid?
It wasn't a lot, but they had committed to him and Young for another year or two, Thaddeus Young. And Dinwiddie, they're just going to, I think, buy out or let him go in free agency, which is going to be interesting.
Dinwiddie was owed, I think, $3.5 million if he played like a few more games.
And 2 for 25. That was his deal, which is good. It's a good deal.
And Dinwiddie being a guy at the buyout market is an interesting one because he's still a solid player given in the right role.
But like you mentioned, there's a lot of teams under the tax apron that aren't going to be allowed to sign him in the buyout market. The Suns being one of them.
Ochai Agbaji and Grady Dick on the same team now.
Dope. They played together.
Yeah, in Kansas.
Fire.
That's why I mentioned it. Trades 5 through 7. The Pacers got Marcus Morris, Kork Moss, 3 second-round picks. The Sixers got Buddy Hield. Ooh. The Thunder got Gordon Hayward. The Hornets got Trey Mann, Davis Bertans, Mike Kick, draft comp. And then the other trade was the Pistons getting Daniel House, who's likely getting bought out, and we'll see where he lands on a buyout market. Gordon Hayward, what do you think about him to the Thunder?
They needed some veteranship. They go and they get Gordon. The only concern, of course, which has always been a concern with Gordon, is going to be a matter of help. But he's going to help the young guys, of course. I think that was a solid addition, especially for the price tag of what you got him. Definitely not a bad deal. We talked about Bertans being included in every package just to make contracts work. But then on the opposite side, I think you tweeted this or you texted us about Trey Mann getting some opportunity now in Charlotte. That's going to be huge for his development. But at the end of the day,
that could be a dangerous thing, too. Charlotte don't do shit, man.
It's kind of true, which is why I'm kind of skeptical of another move that we're going to talk about a little bit later. Man. Let me not get ahead of myself. But Oklahoma City we thought that they'd get some veteran in there. They brought in Gordon Hayward. If he stays healthy, great move for them.
Yeah, it's solid. I don't know if they're going to – I think Gordon Hayward should close with his lineup.
Which means you're sitting
redacted.
No. The other guy.
The other dude that we don't talk about.
Got it.
Yeah, his redacted. He should be on the bench. I think this is a really good move. It's weird because we've been talking coming up to this trade deadline how the Thunder need like some size, some interior presence, rim protection, and that's not really the move they made, but Gordon Hayward makes them better. Being able to have some more spacing out there, he could play make some, he could put the ball on the floor some. He overall, I think, just upgrades this team, especially when you see the deficiencies of Josh Giddey, especially offensively. There's really just not much he could do, especially when he doesn't have the ball in his hands. I mean, you see constantly defenses are just saying, Giddey, you could just sit in a corner or sit on the three-point line. We're just going to guard 4-on-5. So being able to have more spacing on the team, too, I think it's a really good move for the Thunder.
I think this is one of those moves where it's like, it's not what you really needed, but it definitely makes you better. It doesn't make you worse. And I think Gordon Hayward's still a good player. I think he's a guy who can, work well in the playmaking department, can space the floor, can get to the rim, and he like you said, he provides good veteranship experience, and
got some playoff experience.
Yeah, maybe if Giddey's not in the lineup, you can plug in a Gordon Hayward or whatever. Like, he's just a guy that's gonna make your team better and not make your team worse. The Buddy Hield move intrigues me.
Oh, yeah.
40% from the three-point line, 16 points a game.
The Sixers had a weird deadline.
Yeah, they did. But it was like they didn't give up much. Like they gave up a lot of second-round picks. It was 3, if I'm not mistaken.
3.
But in terms of just players, they did just give Morris the keys, which was nuts, and then they traded him. So he
Then he got traded again.
Yeah, it was crazy. But bringing in Buddy Hield, a guy who his contract is up this year. So you don't know if you're going to pay him, but I think they're gearing for Embiid return because this is a move that signals that for me. You bring in Buddy Hield to help this team out offensively even more, and I think if Embiid is going to return, this is a guy that could become really dangerous in the playoff series.
The Sixers now for 2024-2025, Embiid is the only person under contract, or the only one with guaranteed money. They have Paul Reed.
They'll pay Maxey.
Of course, you have Maxey. Yeah, Tobias. Who knows if they bring back? But I say it's a weird free agent or trade deadline for the Sixers because we don't know about Joel Embiid. That's number one. They go out and get Buddy Hield.
I bet.
And then consequently, a couple of hours later, they trade Patrick Beverley. Yeah. I'm looking at this backcourt of Tyrese Maxey and Buddy Hield. They're going to get picked on. Defensively, I mean, that's offensively, it's great. It's phenomenal. Buddy Hield could shoot the piss out of the ball, but one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA, period, since he's entered the league. We know how great Maxey is offensively, too.
Fair.
Defensively, I worry. You just got rid of Patrick Beverley. They also traded Jaden Springer to the Celtics, who had some good minutes last night against the Warriors. Defensively, with Nick Nurse, he's obviously, a good mind. He has different schemes that he could throw at opposing offenses.
They might be getting Kyle Lowry.
Okay, that's nice, but it's just defensively.
As a bench player, that's not a bad move.
This backcourt worries me. It's great you got some more shooting, and you need Embiid to come back, but I don't know. It was a weird deadline for the 76ers because I just don't know what direction they're going in. Are they trying to compete for this season? If that's the case, I would like to have a couple defensive pieces that I could use as chess pieces.
It still keeps your options open in the offseason to get a star. Because Buddy Hield, just like Marcus Morris and them, he had an expiring contract anyway. So if it doesn't work, you still have that money at the end of the year to go get somebody else.
I think Buddy Hield was a great addition, regardless if Embiid comes back or not. Because I think with him, they at least stay afloat, and they're a better team, and they have better shooting. But
they can fall to the 6-7 seed so quick.
I just don't think that they're much of a threat this year, and I don't think that this move is really
Even
a move
with Embiid?
Embiid's going to be hurt when he comes back. It's gonna take some time to come back from that meniscus and
pleasant surprise.
Trust it.
4 weeks until he's reevaluated.
Reevaluated.
That's what I agree. But reevaluated, that's true. But I was expecting a lot further along the line.
That's true.
1 month and then we see where he is in his process. I was optimistic after hearing that.
That also tells us that they're going with the short-term approach here.
True.
That they're not shutting him down for the season or anything like that, which puts in some more implications about his playoff time.
Fair concerns.
I think it's over for Embiid this year. I do. I don't know if he's going to not play.
Yeah.
But I think that given his injury, if he rushes it, he's going to be playing at maybe 60%.
Yeah.
And that's not good enough to get out the East. And he's going to risk his health long-term for, a team that they have talent, but I don't know if they're an overwhelming favorite.
He's just
and they need him to be at 100% to make a deep playoff run. So the Buddy Hield move to me, if Embiid was fully healthy, I would have loved it. But the fact that I think there are question marks around his health, this is just not a move that to me I'm like, okay, now I look at the Sixers and I view them differently because I just don't think we're seeing a healthy Embiid this year at any point. Thunder is a great move. Gordon Hayward has been an underrated player for a while. He's a do-it-all forward. He can defend. He can shoot. He can handle the ball. He can pass it. He's a smart player. He now fits with OKC. I would have liked OKC to get a backup big. Yep. They need to get better at rebounding the ball. But Gordon Hayward now takes the spot that Josh Giddey now employs. And in the playoffs, I think when they thin out the rotation, Gordon Hayward will get that spot. And you'll have Isaiah Joe playing with Cason Wallace. And Giddey might get iced out. Because what Giddey does best right now is he is a great entry passer. That's what he is. He's a great entry passer. But Gordon Hayward is a plus passer too. And now they have a wing that can do a little bit of everything.
I was actually thinking about it because
6 for 6 from 3.
Oh my
we needed that.
God.
Last night was bad. We needed that. We needed that.
My thing about trading for the backup big is the best big that was traded today was Daniel Gafford. He was the best big that was traded today. And I say that with the idea of teams understand how valuable it is to have that bench big, and they're not going to be willing to.
No, he's cooking.
Against who? I'm sorry.
They said like the Bulls. He's cooking for
Time,
sure. Though.
time for that playoff
most
push, man.
definitely.
Yeah, that's what they said.
It's coming.
Time for the play-in push.
That
I
eight
will-
seed, man.
That
I
shit
will
looks
say-
real good, man.
Kenny dropped a video today
done.
already talking about the Chicago Bulls, and he's 100% right. The fact you guys made 0 moves today is
Since
2021.
It's mind-boggling to me. It makes no sense. You guys continue to have
Haven't
zero
made a trade
direction.
in 30 months, including a player.
I don't understand. Is the last trade
Since
They said-
2021.
They said 30 months,
Since 2021, we have not made a move.
was the last trade Vooch?
including a
Might have been,
player. I think so.
I think you guys realize how bad you fucked up and said we can't do this again.
That's a terrible mindset.
No, I'm
though.
just being a prick. I'm just being a prick. I'm just joking. I'm
But low
joking.
key, it's like they
Nah,
don't.
bro, everybody
joking.
should have been gone. I ain't even going to cap. Like,
Really
everybody should
bad.
have been gone.
But part of it is probably like we made this trade for Vooch. How do we just go and rebuild a year later
For
when we just
sure.
trade these assets and young
No
players?
doubt. I just say it in mind with getting back to the conversation with OKC is there's not many teams that are willing to make their backup bigs available, and there's not going to be a team that's going to be willing to overpay. Where I think the Mavs even giving up a first, I understand it because they definitely need some help. We're going to talk about that one a little bit later. But again, there weren't many available, and the fact that Gafford was the best one that was traded today really speaks to how valuable these bigs are in the league.
I mean, you're right. At the right price, you got that's where the offer comes from.
Yeah.
But OKC has like
A lot of assets.
20, 30 first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would have just gave up 2 for Drummond pretty easily.
2, I
Yes.
don't know. I can't do that.
Two is a little, or maybe a first and a second.
Especially because if I'm OKC, I still stand packed. See how far I go with my young squad this season. Adjust in the offseason when you can potentially make that power move for, I don't want to get crazy here, but there's speculation of Donovan Mitchell getting traded. Imagine they
OKC?
made that move. My point being they
My
have
Lord.
a bunch of assets. They have that
much help does Shea
flexibility. They have that flexibility
Ironic.
if they don't go on this run that they're expecting. Of course, they are young, but don't rush a move.
The
Don't
thing
rush a
about it
move.
is that 2 first-round picks, they still have like 15 left, you know?
I understand, but they have the luxury of being great this
I also
year.
think the Bulls, if you just gave 1 first-round pick for
We're
Drummond,
taking
they
it.
probably would accept
OD.
it. And they have so many picks, you probably have some
I
pretty
think a team
shitty
did
picks.
offer a first-round pick.
You
for
said no?
Drummond. I
You guys
think
are
they did.
hilarious.
Drummond was starting the other night.
Who's your GM?
There's some new guys, some AK.
AK's still there, right? Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
a
he's a GM.
he's a fucking I forgot the dude we had before. He's a Rensdorf merchant.
Jerry Reinsdorf?
Yeah, whatever his name is. Just mid. You know what the problem is with the Bulls? The fans. You constantly sell out that building
do.
every
Aren't they
game.
number 1 in attendance?
Yeah, been for like 10 years. No matter what we
gotta
put
go
out
to
there.
a Bulls game, honestly.
No, we
It looks
don't.
like-
We
We
gotta go.
don't.
No,
And
they
we-
play-
For the
they play Boston.
ambiance.
Bulls
we don't.
Boston,
I don't
we're
want
there.
to see. Oh no, those games lit. Those games are definitely lit. But yeah, they constantly sell out, and they're okay with that because it puts money in their pockets.
Yeah.
They don't care what they're putting out. I mean, Lonzo's been hurt for 3 years. Zach just
He's
got hurt at
working.
the end of the year. DeMar, now it's a chance DeMar walks for nothing. Like you could have got something for him. Caruso, you could have got 2 first-round picks for him. You were being stingy.
But did you see what they said, what they wanted? They said they wanted Jonathan Kuminga.
Not
That was
getting
hilarious.
Yeah, not getting
That
that.
was
But,
hilarious.
but you could have found something. There were teams that wanted Alex Caruso. Like, you could have got 2 first-round picks from somewhere. Like, and we don't even have any real young talent to like bank on. Like, you got Kobe, but who else? Like, Paolo was cool, but he's a role player. That's what he is. So who else? Dalen Terry. He's probably gonna get released. Julian Phillips.
Patrick
okay.
Williams.
No, I just say he's a role player. Like
Oh, okay.
he's a role player. Like Kobe White is. We got lucky because he's on a cheap deal for 3 years and he's hooping. So we got lucky there.
Very
but
lucky.
we
You
don't
guys
have.
developed him, though. I mean, you call it luck, but
Yeah, it was
showing
like- it was
that you were
like
able
both.
to develop
Yeah,
this
but now
player
it's
is a
like,
good sign.
who else
at
is he
least.
gonna play with?
Yeah.
The issue is that you guys aren't terrible, but you're not good, so you're not going to get a good draft
mid.
pick, which is why it's kind of a miracle that Kobe has developed.
It's the worst spot to be in the NBA. And
Yeah,
you
we didn't
guys-
have our pick anyways.
You have the opportunity
Facts.
to be
It
bad.
had to be like top 4.
I'm going to keep it a bean. They should have def made a trade.
Yeah.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. They should have def moved at least off of Drummond or Caruso. Definitely DeRozan. Like
They love
he's
DeRozan.
on an
What
expiring.
are we doing with Drummond? Like, Drummond has been playing his ass
2
off. I don't want to
seconds, I'm
disrespect
fine.
him, but like
2 seconds, I'm fine.
Andre Drummond, 30+ year old. Like, come on, man.
It makes no
yeah.
sense to not trade a player if they can leave.
I mean,
for nothing.
Dallas just traded a first for Daniel Gafford. You don't think you could have got a
No,
first?
I'm saying I would have been cool with 2 seconds. Like I'm fine with just getting assets. We don't have anything, so I'm fine with just bringing
And
in
it makes you
draft
worse.
capital.
That's a W for you.
Yeah, like, but at this point they want to play in the play-in. Hopefully something happens, and then boom, boom. Like they think they're the Heat. It's really embarrassing to me.
So the next 4 trades we'll talk about. Speaking of Gafford and the Mavericks, we'll
This is one of the best
Talk
moves
on
of
them
the day,
first.
honestly.
the Mavericks got Daniel Gafford, and they traded away Rashawn Holmes and draft comp to the
And
Wizards,
Panera,
which is
man.
a first-round pick. And then they received P.J. Washington and 2 second-rounders, and they gave up Grant Williams, Seth Curry, and a 2027 first-round pick. There's now more depth.
You got what you wanted.
P.J. Washington, the needle mover.
That's the needle mover.
Let me ask you a question, and I honestly really want your opinion on this. Which was the better move?
I don't know.
It was Gafford.
Okay.
I think Gafford for the need.
Yes.
But P.J. Washington's a better player, of course.
Yes.
You think back to where the Mavericks were a year ago with their center spot. They didn't have Lively, and
Ricky was speaking.
That's why they tanked to get that pick, so it didn't go to the Knicks. They draft Derek Lively, and now you trade for Daniel Gafford. You now don't have to worry about Dwight Powell playing 30 minutes in a playoff series or even getting 20 or 15 to 20 minutes. You know, now you have Derek Lively and Gafford. And Lively's a young player, so who knows if he's going to be ready for the playoff moment. Yep. And that's why you have Gafford. He's averaging, I think, 9 points, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks a game, 70% true shooting. He's the perfect fit next to Luka, a great lob threat, a great screener. Mm-hmm. He's a fantastic defender. It gives them more size. And then P.J. Washington, he's just a do-it-all guy. He can defend at a high level, especially as help defense. He's a great weak side rim protector. He's athletic enough to keep up with forwards and guards on the perimeter, on the ball. And then offensively, the shooting is a bit down, but playing with Luka is going to get open shots. Like, that just is what it is.
Got to hit him is all I'm going to say.
Well, of course, you got to hit him.
So,
last year, P.J. Washington was averaging 15 points. This season, he's had a down year, but I just, my concern
I think it's Charlotte aura. It's pretty bad.
That's exactly what it is.
Except for Brandon Miller.
Correct. Oh, no, that guy's different. He's different. He's
that
different.
Shit was nuts, right? Like he glided in the air.
Yeah,
like,
he moved like 20 feet in the air.
It was like he was gliding like MJ. No bullshit. It was literally like MJ.
I worry for the ideas. You see how bad Charlotte is, and you understand. Let me not say he's one of the most important players on their team, but for the lack of talent, especially for what he was last year, you would have liked him to at least play better than what he did last season. For him to have it, to him to be down from last season, going to a situation with the Mavericks, of course, new environment that could be good for a player, but your expectation is to win. And automatically there's pressure there. Not, of course, as going to any other teams, but there is pressure. There's going to be pressure on him, especially to hit these open shots.
Joel, I'm sorry. Joel, talk about Grant Williams. I heard you was hyping him up. It's just a comment.
What did you say, Joel, and looked at me?
I mean, Joel.
Why
you call me Joel?
No, because somebody typed it, and I never call you that. That's why it fucked me up mentally. They said talk about Grant Williams. You hype him up a lot.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Grant
was great for Boston.
Great.
He was for his role. He was great.
Looked like a lot.
Don't you remember Game 7? Don't you remember Game 7?
I remember Game 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
What about Game 7 against the Bucks? Loki won this game. He won 6-3, 7-3,
something like that.
I didn't remember.
Did you guys blow them out?
We did because he hit.
There's
fucking
overwhelming
7
evidence that
I don't remember that game.
that Tatum does better with role players than somebody else.
I don't got nothing bad to say about those Dallas boys, man. They're hooping. I'm happy.
They are.
Oh no! Apparently they talk about you.
Well, that's not true.
He said you'd be good for Dallas.
Well, Grant Williams, I think, was all right for Dallas. I think the frustrations with him were that he didn't shoot as well in Dallas that he did in Boston. In Boston last year was 40%. This year he's down to 38%, so not a significant drop-off. He's putting the ball on the floor more, and that's resulting into turnovers. And I think a lot of those stupid turnovers are the reason why Mavericks fans are annoyed
and defense
with him.
Too. Defense hasn't been what it was in Boston.
Exactly. You know, I was doing some research. So this year,
I just got a screenshot already.
Grant Williams.
He was.
So Grant Williams last year.
It's because he knew we were going to attack Grant.
On shots over 10 feet, Grant Williams, 42% of his shots in Boston were wide open on shots over 10 feet. This year in Dallas, it was 46%.
Oh, okay.
So Grant Williams is getting more open in Dallas, but he's missing more shots. And I think that's the frustration with him is that you're getting open shots, but you're not hitting them at the same rate that you were in Boston, and you're getting more open. And it makes sense because Luka has more gravity, and teams often opt to double team him. That's a frustration. They got a better player in P.J. Washington, and Grant Williams is one of those players that is tricky to evaluate him when he's on his first contract because we see a lot of role players, they play well in the final year of their deal, they get paid somewhere else, and then they drop off. We've seen that a lot throughout the years with players that are in Miami and they thrive as role players, and then they leave Miami and they're not as good. So I think that happened to Grant Williams. I don't think you can justify paying him the price point you were paying him with the production you were getting. He's averaging 8 points, and he can't do nothing offensively when it comes to self-creation. PJ might be averaging 13, but how he gets his baskets are important to me. I think that PJ can put the ball on the floor. He's one of 4 players in the league right now with 100 possessions as a pick-and-roll screener and a pick-and-roll ball handler. He's great at attacking closeouts. He can initiate offense at times. He's a great roller. He can pick and pop. So he's a versatile player, and on top of that, he can play defense too. So I think that was a huge addition. The Mavericks now just got more depth, and they got 2 players they can rely on to be on the court, because this year their biggest issue has been Kyrie has missed games, Lively too, Maxi Kleba. But when they're all healthy, this is an awesome team.
Getting Gafford, top 7 in blocks, when the Mavericks have been terrible at defending in the paint. Right now ranked 22nd in terms of points allowed in the paint. This was one of the moves of the day for me. And like I said in the last conversation where we're talking about OKC and the lack thereof bigs that are being willing to move, they got the best big available on the day. So to me, I'm looking at the Mavericks as definite winners. You are trying to do the best you can to put around solid role players around Luka Doncic. Bringing in PJ Washington, I do have my reservations, but at the same time, Grant Williams really wasn't that much of a plus for him, but at least you get some versatility on the defensive side of the ball with PJ. And again, you get to lock down the interior of the defense, and you have now an insurance policy for Derek Lively, who, like you mentioned, have been struggling with staying on the court a little bit, but you understand the difference that he makes when he is on the court. And now you can flip-flop between those 2 guys. I think having that backup big is such a underrated necessity for all teams, and the Mavericks fulfilling that role today was definitely a huge move on them. Listen, usually I have my hater hat. There's none for me to hate on today. Dallas made some really good moves, but the Gafford move most definitely is the one that I'm pointing at and saying, this could be the difference.
So does this trade mean that the bet is off for top 6
Oh, no,
seed?
this isn't moving me like that. Let's relax there.
Are they 8th right now or 7th?
They're 8th. They're a game and a half out of being 6.
And Sacramento dropped to 7?
They're 2 out of 6, game and a half. Yeah,
Got it.
Sacramento 7.
Okay.
Who's number 6? The Pelicans?
Pelicans, and then
Pels
the Suns are 5.
Suns 5. Clippers half game out. It's a good move for the Mavericks, man.
I like both moves.
I never, I don't hate on Dallas. I got nothing against those boys. I was actually looking at some of my old Luka tweets, and I said Luka finally got his Rob. This is when they traded for Kyrie last year. I was like, it's gonna get scary in the West. Unfortunately, last year didn't get scary. Now they
it got scary.
It got scary.
I don't want to fucking watch this.
The negative way, but now they got a couple more, couple bench pieces, depth pieces. Gafford, who knows if he's going to start or if it's going to be Lively, especially in the playoffs, as you mentioned, Joel. If Lively's going to be ready for that moment. I think he should start, but if Gafford's the better player now, which I think he is, then that probably makes more sense for the Mavs, who are trying to push for a top 6 seed, try to secure that playoff spot.
Some breaking news.
You've seen the WWE stuff, right?
I see they're going crazy in WWE
Cody
shit.
Rhodes just chose Roman Reigns.
Explain that in NFL terms.
Yeah.
And The Rock is swinging on him.
No, he slapped the shit out of Cody. That was crazy.
When?
In the press conference, they're doing the live press conference in
The Rock
Las
is
Vegas.
getting booed. OD.
Yeah, he is.
He's in his Hollywood Rock arc right now.
No, he's in his villain arc. It's up. I'm hyped because he was on Pat McAfee today, and he was like, "Yo, the Cody crybabies." And he was like, "You have Cody, you have the Cody fans who are cool, but then you have the Cody crybabies." He was violating. The Rock is embracing being a heel, which he hasn't been a long ass time.
Yeah.
Cody's the most over baby face, and then on top of it, what's ironic about this now is we're kind of looking at Roman as
What are you doing?
the odd man out. Exactly. Who's the guy who has the title, who has been the king of WWE for 3 years? The fact that they've made it that he's become the.
It's just the
Let me
Rock's
not
aura,
say
huh?
it. That's exactly why it's kind of weird, but it is going to be interesting to see how they build it up for 2
Probably
months.
gonna do a triple threat match.
I don't know who I
Explain-
told this to, but I was talking to Jess about the Cody Rhodes thing, and I told her I think people are overreacting because I think the WWE has a storyline for this. I think what can happen next is that Cody Rhodes is going to face The Rock at Elimination Chamber for the right to fight Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and whoever wins that match is going to fight Roman Reigns.
You think so?
Or unless they do a triple threat at WrestleMania.
I was going to say, I think it's or this is where Roman can solidify himself as the GOAT. Night 1, Roman Reigns main events.
Oh, like how Triple H
Night
and
2.
Daniel Bryan did it back in the day?
Yep. But the difference there was that Daniel had 2 fights in the same night.
Oh.
Where Roman would main event night 1.
And the main event
he would
night
main event night 2. I get goosebumps thinking about it. Yo, Roman legitimately
Took a
can
laser.
solidify himself as Mount Rushmore WWE
I feel
wrestler.
like Roman Reigns is such a manufactured superstar,
guy's a
man.
glazer,
Cody Rhodes got to win that
You
championship.
have to watch.
He don't even work.
You could. That's fine. But you have to watch the most recent promo that Roman cut on Seth.
I saw
It was all time great. I work 10 times less than you. I make 10 times more than you. He has gotten near perfect on a microphone. And it's funny because how terrible he was back in the day.
Yeah.
But now on the mic, there's almost no one.
No, he's awesome. I
As
love
good
Roman
on the
Reigns.
mic.
But I remember watching a video about the amount of times that he's defended his championship versus other champions. And like,
It's
for example,
significantly less.
CM Punk, when he went on his 1,000-day reign, because I think he
It
went
was
on
like
his,
400.
Okay. He defended it more times than Roman Reigns has right now,
Yeah.
holding this title.
I think John Cena did it too in his like 08,
He did.
09
And
run.
I just feel
It
like,
was every month.
Yeah.
the title has prestige to it, but I think it doesn't help that every single match that Roman has for the title, he is getting help. And he's not winning fair and square.
I could say yes to that because mostly you're right there. But Royal Rumble, Solo Sikoa tried to jump in and he got violated, and Roman still won fair and square. Usually that's not the case. Usually it's the other way around. But you look at the long reigns like CM Punk. You mentioned how many times he defended. Who helped him out a good amount of times in those matches? Paul Heyman. The Miz with, I'm blanking on his first name. I don't want to say Austin Riley, but I know Austin Riley's a baseball player, but I feel like that's the name of the wrestler. He helped him out a ton too. So it's like, if you have a long WWE reign, you're going to have some outside help to help keep this crazy streak.
Most groups,
And it's
like
the
Triple H
bloodline,
Evolution,
facts.
he had some help.
But bro, his aura is different when he's in the arena.
Mid.
He's so far from
No, I was
mid.
reading them.
yeah, I know, and I was upset because I went to SmackDown and he was not there.
No,
And I was
get
hoping that he would have came out, because Cody Rhodes came out. I'm gonna tell you this story. The SmackDown that I went to, the entire event, it was catered to Randy Orton coming back and returning. The main event was the promo that Orton cut about choosing SmackDown. They gave us 2 matches after the show. Cody Rhodes versus Dom
fast
and
split.
Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke.
That's what it
That
was.
was the post event matches they gave us. Cody Rhodes came out, at least let us watch his entrance. You know, it was a vibe. And then after the event was over,
Now Cody's lit.
he got on the
It's a
mic.
vibe.
He got on the mic and he basically was just talking to the fans and like, yo, hopefully all you guys are safe and you guys get home safe. Like, he was talking.
He's amazing.
It's like Roman Reigns, at least show up and cut a promo or like do an entrance. Like, this is the only time I'm gonna get to see SmackDown the entire year.
So him being
I bought tickets.
him being bigger than WWE rubs you the wrong way.
It's not him being bigger. That's what he does. He's supposed to, be a wrestler, and he doesn't show up to half of the events.
Bro hates part-time workers.
I get that.
I respect that.
I get that.
I respect that too.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest. I think like Roman Reigns showing up to half the events is generous. He might show up to less than that,
He might.
and that's what I don't like.
But I will say, he's fucking awesome.
No, he is. I like Roman Reigns.
I
I do.
acknowledge the tribal chief.
I wanted to acknowledge him. I was getting ready to.
You know why I
Go like
also
this.
say that I acknowledge him? He's kind of turned Paul Heyman into a little bit of a bitch.
I think everybody does that.
Nah, but Paul Heyman, he really fucked with Brock Lesnar, but he never really made him less than who he was. Like, Paul was always Paul, but like, he's just like, yes, my tribal chief. Yes, all right, calm down. You go a little bit over the top there.
What Cody choose him for?
Main event of WrestleMania.
Oh, to fight.
Yeah, because
Oh,
he won the
sorry.
Royal
Yeah,
Rumble.
because last year in WrestleMania, Cody lost to Roman Reigns.
So rematch.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no explaining this in NFL terms. No, there's
Yeah, it's
really
difficult.
not.
So I want to talk about Spencer Dinwiddie for a little bit because I know that the Raptors got him, but then they're gonna buy him out. The Nets got Dennis Schroeder and Thaddeus Young. Spencer Dinwiddie is a good player, but he rubs me the wrong way, and he always did because I felt like his first stint with the Nets, not the Nets. What am I saying? He was always kind of trying to portray himself as the star of the show. And I think that's why he doesn't mesh well with teammates.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Washington, he got paid, and he stunk it up there. He then got traded to Dallas, and he did somewhat well. But this recent Nets stint rubbed me the wrong way because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Jock Vaughn has called out Spencer Dinwiddie post-game multiple times because Dinwiddie would take too many shots. He would hijack the offense. And Jock Vaughn was essentially saying, like, Dinwiddie got to take less shots. I want to limit Dinwiddie's shots he takes to like 12 a night. And Spencer Dinwiddie got so petty about that he started taking 0 shots. Like, he would go games taking less than 4 shots a night because of Jacques Vaughn's comment and how petty, Dinwiddie got over that. So, Dinwiddie is a good player, but I feel like if he's in a situation where he doesn't feel like he is one of the main attractions of the show, or he feels a way of being petty about something, he can quickly become a cancer to a team.
He's been one of the least efficient players in the NBA too. I mean, he's 39% from the field, 32% from 3. It's hard to have that level of pettiness. His nickname is the Mayor. I didn't know that.
Never heard anybody ever call him that.
So that's why Dinwiddie, I think he's a solid player when he's bought in, but at this point in his career, I think he's kind of like a cancer to a team.
He's 21st percentile in the league in percentage.
It's disgusting.
It's bottom of the league.
If he's going to be a bench piece for a team, that's where he can be serviceable. We've seen him do that in his career, but as a starter, really, we've seen him struggle multiple times. I don't know. I'm not. I know as one of the teams that has been apparently rumored, that
Miami could work.
That makes sense, but I feel like
there's just nobody who disrespects Spo.
But that's what I mean. I feel like if I'm the Heat, my move was getting Terry Rozier. I feel like let's keep the roster. You don't want someone new coming in and potentially fucking things up. I personally would say I don't want Spencer Dinwiddie on the Lakers because we already have D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, similar archetypes, except
and Vincent's still going to be there.
And that's what I said. If Gabe Vincent can come back, then he's the third guard that could do something different than what obviously D'Lo and Reeves do. But if we bring in Spencer, we're kind of getting repetitive, except Dinwiddie's not as good as these two guys.
You could use a wing or
the backup big by Brer.
You need a guard defender.
Yeah, we do.
You have wing. You need a guard defender.
Schroeder would have been cool. Schroeder really would have been cool.
They have wing defenders.
No, we do.
Yeah.
We do.
Vando.
Torian's not that great, but he's a defender. LeBron when he wants to.
Vando's not great at guarding guards.
I'm just thinking playoff settings. Like Vando's tough to put out there.
Not. I think I would Fringe say great.
Who?
Yeah, but you want him on your wing more than your guard.
Yeah,
for sure. But 9 out of 10 times we do give him that assignment.
Yeah, that's why you need a guard defender. You need both.
Yep, I understand what you're
saying.
That's
why you had Schroeder. That was great.
That's really what I wanted.
Schroeder was a great guard. He's a great guard defender. He's just as fast. He's twitchy. He's annoying. Just like Pat Bev.
That's why it kind of pisses me off that we signed Gabe Vincent instead of Dennis Schroeder, because Dennis, he already has shown in Laker Gold that he can play really good basketball when we need him.
Laker Gold is funny.
It sucks that we let him go because that money could have easily been his.
I'm going to read some super chats and we'll finish off these moves that happened. Ricky goes, world's hottest gummy, Riv. I think he's alluding to the.
They got a hot gummy?
Thanks, y'all, for a good listen during my 12-hour shifts, gentlemen.
Hey, 12 hours. Put in pain.
That sounds like security work.
Sounds like nurse work, honestly.
Security used to be like 16 hours, man.
When I was working security, it was like 8 hours. Y'all work 12?
I used to know the doubles used to be you go in at 3, you don't get out till 7 in the morning.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I would come back next day. I would do the 16-hour shifts, for sure.
What would you do all day?
You literally just watch basketball.
Any
head? Sit at a computer.
No head?
Huh?
No head? Like they don't lob in head for working 16 hours?
Maybe a pen?
The guy's the boss. I'm a guy.
He's got to figure that out.
You would have a pen on you?
No, I wasn't doing the pen. You know, they'd kind of notice. I used to, me and Joel used to work same shift when Joel was in the front, I was in the booth, and I used to fall asleep in that booth, man. No, I used to fall asleep.
There was times where I used to go and put in my ID card for the gate to open, and the Riv would be like,
I'd be fucking slumped, man. Those are the times, though.
Those 16-hour shifts are brutal.
They were tough.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm gonna need a little bit of,
especially when it was cold outside, bro.
Get this guy out of here, bro.
Imagine being in a booth and it's freezing outside, so you got to keep keeping the heat on, but it gets too hot.
I've done it. It sucks.
Yeah, it's terrible, bro.
It sucks.
And you try to sleep in that shit. You try to get comfortable in the booth. It's just not there, man.
Kill Moves goes, what team took a W or L by not making a move? Oh, we're going to get into that, after we finish off these moves, so don't worry, Kill Moves. And Brandon Rapone goes, hey, guys, B-Rap here, loving the show. And your reactions to these trade deadline moves. Not sure if I missed any Sixers talk, but like the moves they made, how about you? Any future merch drops, ?
All right, so let's answer the last question first.
Okay.
We're definitely going to be working on season 3 merch drop. Me and Joel have been in the lab. We have a couple ideas.
Riv,
We're
what
going
do we have to do to get
them.
into these meetings? It's like, they just text each other on the side, nothing in the group chat, nothing.
Listen, I don't care about that. Do extra work. Have fun.
I'd like to get some input on design, see what you guys are rocking
That's
with.
a fact. Usually, the only thing we're looking at right now is we have an idea of the logo that we're going to
All I want to add is beanies. I think
Okay,
you should
We're
be.
about to do a summer job, so we
are
don't
going to do
need
some
these.
job. So
Yeah.
it's either going to be tees or crews.
Crew necks?
Yes.
Like this.
Okay, let's
What
get
our logo
I
is.
think
Try to do tees.
I was to say for summer, I think we could do tees and shorts, and then for the fall we should do crew necks.
That's one thing. We'd have to look into a vendor, see if they have a certain type of tees, because there's graphic tees that you and I have that they're thicker quality.
Yeah.
Those are ones I definitely were thinking about. Look, we're giving ideas away. It is what it is. But thicker quality T-shirts that are like you can actually have graphic tees, and so then you can wear them out. And I feel like you can feel like you're wearing a high quality shirt. That was my idea. But the crew neck, I mean, you can't go wrong with a crew neck. Like the Mojo crew neck is
It's tough.
gasoline.
Well,
You
right
get a
now-
Nike sponsorship?
This is Nike.
Right now it's February. We can do another drop in March.
Yep.
So if it's in March, it can be crew necks.
We don't want to oversaturate the market with all this stuff. You know what I mean? We just did one, take a calm few month break, and then we got to hype it up again.
Man.
March is so quick. It's turnaround, boom, boom.
That's true.
It's got to be like every once in a while. You got to get in. We only got 60. You know what I mean? You
We
gotta
should,
feel,
we should
you
do
gotta
like
feel
a seasonal
exclusive.
shit. It's like
Exactly,
every 3
exactly.
So
months.
May or June.
Yeah.
Sounds about it, right? That's all I'm going to input.
Not crazy.
Have fun,
Appreciate
guys.
that. And we talked about the Sixers, so hopefully you heard about that.
So
Yo,
somebody,
Jaden Springer, you're hype?
Yeah, solid move. I mean, is he ever going to play? Probably not. But
That was the thing.
Another
He's not
chess
really
piece.
going to play much. Hate
Well,
that
why
for him.
did the Sixers trade him?
I don't know.
I don't know.
More
21
picks?
years
You guys
old?
gave him a pick, right? Second
I gave
round?
them their second
Oh,
pick.
second.
Some
Yeah.
cash? Was it cash?
I think it was just second. And Banton, I think.
I only say that because defensively, obviously, he's got it figured out.
He's a
Offensively,
really he's only 21.
He's
He's
21.
under contract next season too.
it's like I get it. You're 21 and you struggled offensively. Like, hey, at one point, are we going to
Sixers
figure it out?
fans were sick.
They were not
They
happy.
were pissed off. They're like, they just gave them the new Marcus Smart. I'm like,
I mean, he could have took Patrick Beverly's spot.
that's exactly. That's why I was
That's
like,
a
when
fact.
they moved Pat Bev, it was like, you got Springer. Then they moved Springer. It's like, I don't know what the fuck.
He's young, too.
You'll take that.
Yeah,
Great.
not for sure.
It's literally good not to
Especially,
No.
because like Pritchard's been playing really well for us, but he's small.
Keep him
you know,
away
so
from the Sixers is what I
yeah,
really mean.
If he's gonna get picked on in the playoffs, like that's another piece you could throw out there.
the last important trade that happened is that the Suns got Royce O'Neal, David Roddy, and 3 second-rounders. The Nets received Jordan Goodwin, Keita Bates-Diop, Chemezi Metu, 3 second-round
All the
picks.
guys you hyped.
The Bates
And the
Diop era,
Grizzlies
man.
received 2030 first-round pick swap and Yuta Watanabe.
What happened?
Hey, listen.
They're just trading minimum salaries.
These
for
Jordan
the
Goodwin,
Nets-
Yuta Watanabe, Keita Bates. The guys that him and his buddy,
Should
John.
we call it Joel Trio?
Joel
They
Trio.
were hyping these three
J Square
guys
Trio?
up. Now they're gone.
the Nets realize how valuable Goodwin, Bates-Diop, and Chemezi Metu is that they let the Suns go get Royce O'Neal. I mean, Royce O'Neal was a huge addition. Wouldn't you guys agree?
I think Rose O'Neal. Yeah, then all the dudes they sent out for sure.
I'm a little aggravated. Not aggravated, but I'm annoyed because this Nets got Royce for 2 first-round picks.
Was it 2? I thought it was 1.
I think it was 2. But nonetheless,
lucky,
it was definitely 1 for
yeah.
sure.
So Goodwin, Bates-Diop, Metu first-round pick. That's their value.
Who
Sure.
the hell's getting a first round pick for?
They didn't get the first-round pick. They just got them 3 guys.
Don't sleep on Keita Bates-Diop. He has some great defensive possessions for the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, I think
Obviously
Had
not
to
good
close
enough.
out some games.
Good for him.
I felt like they could have got a little better.
Shout out Bates
Royce
Diop.
was going for some things. Could have got a first, but
I think for the Suns though, getting Royce
Yeah.
O'Neal, I think that's gonna be their 6th man, probably their best player off the bench.
could
Not that they gave away half their bench today.
no cap. He could start.
I mean, the second best 5-man lineup in the league this year has been Booker, Bradley, Beal, Grayson Allen, KD, and Nurkic.
Shooting
That makes
37% from 3, 40% from the field. It's kind of ugly.
Can you believe they turned down 2 first-round picks for Dorian Finney-Smith?
I think that shit's fake, bro. I'll be honest. There's no way that shit could be real.
I mean, they've been turning down a lot of dumb
Unless it
shit.
was like some heavily like top.
There's just
20
no way the
protected.
Nets have turned down this much. Like
Yeah.
3 first-round picks from Mikal, 4, 2 for Finney.
But
Like,
also, if it's fake, who are they trying to fool? Like, do they think someone's about to come with 3 first-round picks for DFS?
I
Let me
don't
ask you a
know.
question. Am I crazy for saying the Nets are low-key winners today?
Oh, we'll get into that next if you want to say that.
Oh, but I thought that was for teams that didn't make a move.
No, I think it was
No,
just
it's
winners.
just
It was
winners.
trade deadline
Just
winners,
winners.
All right,
losers.
listen, I like this move for Brooklyn. They get 3 first-round picks. Royce O'Neal, obviously, like Riv mentioned, you traded a first-round pick. Obviously, you would have liked that. But I like what the Nets did today. They made some moves for the future and getting 3 second-round picks, just getting more assets, especially as a team that lacks strong talent. Just having any type of draft capital is always going to be a positive for me. Royce O'Neal was not going to move a needle for the Brooklyn Nets by any means. So I'm 100% on the side with Brooklyn here, but Phoenix makes sense too. I mean, you need some solid role players. Royce O'Neal can do that, fulfill a role for you, especially after moving off of those 3 guys that really were not providing much use for the Phoenix Suns. You realized that early on, at least. You adjusted here. He's dogging. He's dogging. I saw it was like 10 and 11 and 29 points. Yeah. What is he on now?
31.
Okay, he just got a 2.
He just made it and 1.
Tom,
he's
okay.
8 for 9 from 3.
Yeah, no, he's insane.
He took them Hallie comparisons personal, man.
And that's insane.
Hallie has 4 points.
No, I understand.
We're back. All right.
So he clears. So my list was garbage?
No, I liked your list.
I liked it too.
I thought like if you were condensing it to just this season.
Yeah, that's all.
You had Hallie over stuff.
I did. I had Hallie at 4.
I thought
I think just this season.
Condensing it to this season. I thought it was. I think the only one I would have switched was Trey with somebody else.
I did actually. Yeah. I ended up putting Trey over Maxey.
Yes, that's what it was. But yeah, your list was fine.
But end of the day, Phoenix has to fulfill the roster and fill the roster, I should say, around having Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal surrounded with great role players or solid role players, and that's exactly what they did today.
Yeah, now they have 7 players off on the team that I trust in the playoffs,
and not trading Grayson Allen. Thank God. Thank God.
I never thought they were going to do that.
But why that even came out into the public eye is ridiculous. Obviously, he'd been shooting the ball at an insane clip. You want to keep guys like that. Maybe for the idea of trying to get someone of that next caliber player, which is the only thing that can make sense to me personally. But obviously, them making this low-key of a move, smart.
I think the most underrated part of this deal was the Grizzlies getting a 2030 first-round pick swap, which is the Suns.
Mm-hmm. They're going to be ass in 2030?
It's a possibility.
There is.
Yeah, 6 years from now, it's not going to be KD or no Beal.
Yo, big brain thinking right there. That's a fact.
Yeah, it's a possibility. This can turn into something
6 years
huge.
It can
6 years down the line.
Yeah, you never
it can.
know.
That's why trading those picks so far in the future is always so scary.
It's risky, yeah. I mean, look what the Nets did when they traded for Pierce and KG.
I think the Grizzlies are basically deciding that they're sending a lot. They sent Adams out. They sent Tillman out. They're pretty resetting. Much. Yeah, they're definitely making a reset. Retool, reset. One of those things.
They want to get Alexander Sarr.
Which would be huge. I think him and Jaren down there would be dope. But I do think they're still going to have a wing problem. I think they need to figure that out. They need to figure out the guard situation.
Williams Jr.
He's been good. You need a little bit more, though, of course, because they only had Brooks last year.
Brandon Clark coming back next year is going to be big for them, though.
It'll be okay.
He's a good role player for them.
He's solid.
Yeah.
He just hasn't played in fucking 2 years.
It's been a minute.
Well, the last time he played, he was pretty damn good for them.
I
only say that alongside of Jaren Jackson, where Jaren Jackson needs that other big body type so he can do whatever he wants.
Though.
But he can fulfill that center role where Jaren can still play the roamer. Losing Steven Adams, I mean, that was just.
I just think next to Jaren, you need an elite rebounder, and you need a guy who's a brick like down there. I don't think Brandon Clark is that.
G.G. Jackson.
He's
not that, but I'm saying.
Yeah, no, he's been solid too. He's another guy that they're making a top priority, giving him minutes. So yeah, you got to. I advocated for GG, man.
The Suns been winning, since what we're looking at, like beginning of January or end of December when everyone's healthy. They've been playing winning basketball.
Yeah, they're the Suns, man.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
They win. That's what they do. They win.
Kind.
You're a Suns fan.
They won last year, made it to the second round. The year before, 60+ games. Year before, they made it to the finals.
Weren't they up 2-0 in the finals and lost?
Yeah, they do.
They lost 4
straight
games.
They won to get to that point.
Okay. Didn't everybody get hurt? That was the most injury-riddled year.
I don't know if it was
16
the most.
6 in their last 22 games. That's pretty damn good.
No, they just played whoever was in front of them.
No, I respect that.
Same way the Bucks did with the Nets, and the Nets would have won, but they got injured.
I don't care about that.
I'll tell you what, some of these wins are Mickey Mouse.
Biggest winners and losers. I don't know how you think the Nets won. I think they lost. They stood pat.
In general? But
yeah.
But I am fine with it because they got rid of someone who was trying to deteriorate what they had going on in Spencer Dinwiddie. I'm not looking at this.
I'm not mad at that. He sucks.
No, my point. I'm talking on the day. You bring in Dennis Schroeder, you bring in Thad Young, you add, continue adding to the superstar, all-star role player team, but you get some future assets. You don't make any drastic move that one, you could just make a bad trade and trade someone too quickly, like a Cam Johnson or Mikal Bridges, who obviously they've said consistently that they have no business in trading. Nick Claxton hanging on to him. They didn't make anything. They didn't try to overextend themselves and make any drastic type moves. That's why I look at them as winners. They got rid of someone who was deteriorating what they had going on. They bring in one of the guys that plays with the most heart in the NBA, and Dennis Schroeder. I firmly believe that. I look at the Brooklyn Nets and I think, yeah, they got better.
Well, I hope, because I have a bet with Riv about a certain regular season standing. So
I bet with him too. I'm winning both.
The Atlanta Hawks one.
Yeah.
You're gonna be. Listen, they kept on DeJounte Murray.
In Chicago,
We're gonna be up. Yeah, Chicago. The thing is, I don't dislike Chicago.
No, it
Even
was just
with
it
this bet, I still don't dislike
It was a
them.
mid versus mid.
Yeah. But I'm still hoping Atlanta finishes better than them.
Of course.
But the two teams that I feel like lost were teams that stood pat. So the Bulls, the Nets. The Bulls have not made a trade since 2021.
But the Nets didn't stand packed.
They did,
But they
pretty
didn't
much.
they didn't make any
did.
real life.
But what did you
moves.
want them to do? I'm curious.
Everybody.
I would have traded Mikal Bridges for the picks that the
Lord have
Rockets are trying to
mercy.
give me.
I don't know about that.
Teams have been offering the Nets 4 to 5 first-round picks
Allegedly.
for Mikal Bridges.
That's allegedly. If that's true, agreed. I think that they should have pulled the trigger there.
At minimum, though, they're getting offered at least 3 firsts for Mikal. And the Rockets have been interested. And if I was the Nets, I would have traded Mikal for the Nets picks back straight up.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have been good enough for me. It not trading Dorian Finney-Smith, I think, was a loss, too. Like, yeah, you got rid of Spencer Dinwiddie. You're bringing Dennis Schroeder. You trade away Royce O'Neal. All the players they got back from the Suns are probably not going to play in this rotation.
Agreed.
So, really, you just got Dennis Schroeder in place of Dinwiddie. It's an upgrade, but the Nets are still where they're going to be. They're still going to be mid. And I think if you don't have a direction in the NBA, that's the worst thing to have. Not a direction, and they don't have one.
My only thing is, like I said before, I didn't want the Nets to rush and make a move. If the rumors are true and they decline 2 firsts for Dorian Finney-Smith, most definitely. But trading Mikal, who obviously hasn't been that same player last season, when they declined 3 first-round picks for him last year, they look like geniuses because he was playing at an insane rate. This season hasn't been that same offensive player. That's understandable. But you don't want to trade someone's – if the value was the 4 or 5 picks that was rumored, again, I can understand. But I don't know if that would be the case, that the Rockets would just be so willing to give them all their picks back that they got.
I remember the Grizzlies had an offer last year.
Because if I'm the Rockets, I see what's happening with the Brooklyn Nets. I'm not trying to trade their picks unless I'm getting a bona fide star.
Well, Mikal Bridges is an all-star caliber player.
All-star caliber, but again, with the Nets,
This
with
season?
the potential for them to go down bad.
This season,
In general?
no, but I think he's like close to it. You know what I'm saying?
High-level role player.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah, but he now is giving you like 20 a game. I think he could legitimately score
Well,
20
it's
a
because
game.
it's his opportunity.
No, I feel like if he goes to another situation, he's like 18 plus still. I still think he's an awesome player.
Yeah, 18. Okay.
Like, I think he's grown his game, and
Like, I don't know if a team's trading 4 or 5 firsts for Mikal.
the Rockets
There's
are
no fucking way.
the Rockets are in a weird situation because it's not like they're trading the Nets picks back and they are in this rebuild mode themselves. I think Şengün is a young building block for the future, so they already have their franchise star essentially.
both.
Jalen Green would most likely stay. Amen
They're all
Thompson.
3 if you ask me.
Amen Thompson is there. Cam Whitmore is there. Like, they would add Mikal Bridges to already the foundation they have.
He'd be the 4th guy.
They forget
I
about
don't think
Jabari.
they need to
Do they forget
accelerate
about
either.
Jabari? Like,
No, he's been fine.
He has been.
and Jabari, I forgot
Mikal
about
would
him.
be the 4th guy there.
Yeah, like if the Rockets offer,
Fuck Fred.
Fred's like short-termish.
yeah, he is.
We're talking about the long-term guys.
If the Rockets offered the Nets Tari Eason and their picks back, if you're the Nets, are you taking it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not even thinking
I
twice
thought
about
you
it.
Like,
you need
again,
to
I
have
feel
that
like the Nets.
connection.
I feel like the Nets could have gotten the Rockets to nudge, but they didn't want to trade Mikal. Mikal's untouchable
The
for
Rockets got to be smart and hold
Being
these
untouchable is
picks.
crazy.
Yeah, agreed. The Rockets have to be smart with those Nets picks because, again, they could be extremely valuable and they could use them to get a player better than Mikal.
And I don't think the Rockets need to accelerate what they have going on here. Like, getting Mikal, you're going to get better, but like, you're still. Are you even going to make a top 6 seed? And now your pick gets a little bit worse. I think for at least one season, the Rockets just develop these young guys, give them minutes, because then you give Mikal minutes. Now some of these young guys that you want to give minutes not going to be available. And like Drew said, you have the ability, kind of like Thunder Light, where you have a lot of good young players, but you also have a ton of draft picks coming up too. Don't make that move that is going to possibly limit you in the future when you could use these draft picks for a different dude.
For sure.
the Bulls. I think lost.
Biggest
Bulls-
losers.
yeah.
Biggest
Haven't made a
losers.
trade since 2021.
Wait, are we going to put
August
you guys there?
2021. Huh?
We're good. Bulls, Warriors. Who's worse of a loser?
No, it's easily 100%. No
Bulls.
question in my mind. The Bulls. I'm not even thinking twice
I
about
don't
it.
even think the Warriors lost.
I'm torn on the Warriors because since
know.
Steve Kerr has realized that Kuminga is a dog, they've been playing pretty well. Having Kuminga, Draymond back, Wiggins has been
Plus,
a bit better.
we missed like 5 games with that death thing.
That's
true.
That thing is
RP him, yeah.
insane way to put it. But that lineup with having Kuminga there and the way he's been
He
playing.
makes it so much worse when he does shit like that.
Kind of, but I
Is that on
understand.
me?
I understand.
Is that on me?
Let's just.
But we could have just walked past it, and then he always.
I was
gotta
going
do that.
past it. I just made a quick comment. That's all.
I'm laughing
That's
because
all.
I'm uncomfortable. I'm just letting it be known. But at the same time, RP.
I did have the Warriors on my losers list just because, as they stand now, they're not contenders. And if you have Steph Curry and you're not contending, what are we doing here? But Kuminga's been balling. I think that's the biggest W, and maybe that's why they stood pat, because they saw his development and didn't want to interfere with that. But still, you have to make a move. I know maybe Wiggins has been a bit better than he was earlier in the season,
He's back, baby.
but I don't know if I've seen enough from Wiggins to be like, okay, this is the lineup we're gonna roll with. Like this is the team for the rest of the season. I would have liked them to make some sort of move, but also you have to find a partner there who was out there they could have acquired. It's not like there was some big time guy that got traded.
Thank
today.
God you guys didn't get Caruso. I'd have been dumb sick.
I
The two
genuinely-
teams that are
sorry,
done,
Oh yeah, fuck
the
you.
Warriors,
Riv.
the Lakers,
Idiot.
they're done. They're done.
Why?
Wait.
The Lakers are done.
But why?
The Warriors are done.
What do you mean,
Oh, like
why?
this year? Yeah, we're cooked.
Yeah.
We're toasted for sure.
We're bad?
You think you're gonna make the playoffs?
He's
and
gonna
go
hit us
far
with the
far?
Yeah.
IST, and then
We're good.
He's beat the teams he's supposed to be.
I'm 1,000% okay with us not making a move today.
Okay.
I'm genuinely all right about it. Again, like I said, I would have loved the big, but watching the teams that acquired them and the players that were traded, there were not many
You
available.
need offense, brother.
Again, D'Angelo Russell has been playing awesome.
But this is like we
Austin
can't.
Reeves, can I finish, please?
It's just we're taking D'Lo's last 2-3 weeks and being like, yo,
So
this
when you
gonna
do
be him
something
for
for
the
a
season.
month-
It moved the team.
when you
They
do
didn't move
something,
him.
when you do something for a month, are we just gonna say it's an accident?
My brother, we have like 7 years of D'Lo.
Like, bro, you take a shower every day for a month, right? That's a good on you. But
Thank you.
one day you don't take a shower, you're nasty, you're dirty.
I wouldn't say that.
But you take the shower the next
D'Lo
day.
hasn't
you're
been-
good.
But this is the opposite.
D'Lo hasn't been consistently
This is
taking
the
a
opposite.
shower
What are you
for
talking
7
about?
years.
He's-
D'Lo took a shower this month and he has it for the last 12.
Yeah, he's been
That's
in
not
and out of
even-
the shower
that's
for
not
7
even-
months now.
listen,
7 years now, bro.
Listen, D'Angelo Russell has been doing much more than taking a shower. The brother is as clean as possible. He's been playing out of his damn mind. For honestly,
Is he doing it in the playoffs? This?
hey, listen, same way that I keep the energy with Julius Randle, I'll keep it with D'Lo. I'm not going to go off blind faith. He's just been playing some excellent
been playing
basketball,
phenomenal.
not only scoring but also facilitating. Austin Reeves is getting in his mood. He's been feeling himself. He's been playing some excellent basketball. You would know all about that.
Cooked us.
Of course, Anthony Davis is Anthony Davis. We're going to be all right. LeBron James, 39 years old, still playing at such a high level. This guy's over here throwing a pizza party over Steph Curry masterclass. Respect it, though.
It gotta be. What am I gonna cheer for?
Rui Hachimura, would love to see him get incorporated. Jared Vanderbilt. This is where I have my concern. Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent. Are they going to be healthy? That's where I would be okay with my moves if they come back and they are healthy, because we know Vanderbilt and how important he is on our defensive side of the ball. But again, he just scored.
I wish you made a
Brother.
couple moves
It's
just to
over.
have
But
some
what would you rather-
options.
what
You
you
said
want
all
us to
that
do?
to lose in the first round. Like,
Yeah, you
y'all
said
are
that
not-
last year.
Yeah, no, y'all
Noted.
legitimately might be a
Noted.
first round exit this year.
Noted.
Like, no trolling. Y'all might be first
Yeah.
round exit.
I've heard this
You're
before.
not
The
a good
Wolves.
team.
You
This is
play the
serious.
Wolves, you got a chance. OKC, I think you're cooked.
Cooked. We've beaten them
Denver,
twice
I
this
think
year.
you're cooked.
We've beaten OKC twice this year.
Okay. So you value the right.
My point is, you're cooking us off the regular season, where you're saying we're cooked off the regular season, correct?
I don't think you guys are making. You're not
Stay
making a
quiet.
WCF run.
Stay quiet,
I'm not gonna
goofy.
lie. If the Pelicans played y'all, they would beat y'all in a series.
Why?
Because they're better than
Did
you.
we not play them in the season tournament?
The
Watch them by
Suns,
20?
the Suns would
Was
beat
it
y'all in
30?
a series.
All right, I can get with that.
There-
I can get with that. I can get with that. I can
Even
get
though
with that, too.
we have the head-to-head record with the Phoenix Suns, they've only beat us once this
That's because
season.
they've been healthy. They were
They haven't
unhealthy.
been healthy.
They haven't
The
been.
one time they were healthy, Bradley Beal
they smoked
had a
us.
fucking master.
You guys have some good wins, but over 500 teams, you're still not that good.
What do you mean?
Over 500 teams, I could look up your record. It's not that good. You have some good wins against like the top echelon teams, but like
All right,
even
pull it up.
the decent teams.
Pull it up. I'm interested.
You wouldn't beat the Mavericks.
I'm not worried about those frauds.
They were playing the play-in right now. That'd
Yeah,
be dope.
exactly.
One game.
Remember when he said the Timberwolves would beat us in the play-in last year, and what happened?
He did.
And then Rudy Gobert didn't.
That's his fault.
Didn't
Oh, no,
play.
no, not him. Jaden McDaniels. It's his fault.
Or somebody stunk it up.
No, Jaden
'Cause they still
McDaniels
could've
didn't
won that
play.
game.
No, most definitely.
They still
We
could've
don't
won
want
that
to talk about. I don't want to talk about that
Somebody
because
stunk
you know
it up.
I like that
Torian
guy.
Prince was there. He
Didn't
arrived.
OG
No,
score?
Torian Prince. Come
was
on,
there.
Anthony. I got your legacy.
Yeah, he
Let's
was
go.
Didn't OG school y'all on this already? He did other things besides scoring
Now
that
this,
game.
yes, we got a rebounding pass defense. Really good on him. I respect him.
You're 14-18 against teams over 500. You're 13-7 against teams under.
Okay, that's not bad.
14-18's it's not good.
It's not bad.
It's basically what you are.
It's
Mid.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's tied for 7th best.
And how
in the
many of
West.
those? How many of those games were the other team healthy?
I can't see that.
Because the Suns twice they weren't healthy against you guys when they played.
I know we played in the in-season tournament multiple times.
Well, I will say this. You made a valid
And
point.
they're counting the Pacers in that.
They beat the Pelicans in the in-season tournament, but
Pacers
I think
don't count in
the
that.
Pelicans are a different team now.
That was
He said
not a
that,
game that counted.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
That's
you
not a
didn't say
game that counted in the regular season.
The Pelicans are a different team now. They're a good basketball team now.
I know.
I think they're playing.
I like
I
the
don't.
Pelicans.
I don't know if I.
I think that the
trust
Lakers
them
match up with
still.
the Pelicans.
We
Yeah.
do. They don't have a big to really bang with us. They don't.
and they got wing
and
defenders.
That's a
though.
tough matchup for Zion personally.
Yeah, this is this
Yeah.
team we really haven't seen like this against the Lakers in the playoffs.
I'm
and I
most
would take
definitely
their-
not worried about the Pelicans if we matched up.
Well, you shouldn't be worried about.
I
You have
just
LeBron.
think that,
you shouldn't really be worried
Again,
about
the
anybody.
teams that I'm let me not say scared.
Absolute ceiling is the second round for
The
you
team,
guys.
okay.
I
The
concur.
teams that I'm
I can get with that.
good for you guys. The teams that I
We got
legitimately worry about.
WCF, we don't win a game again.
Nuggets?
It's the second round.
Yeah, keep chatting.
That's
Because
the
what
second
happened
round.
last time we met up?
That's the second
What
round.
happened?
You won.
Scraped you
4
guys off
games.
our court in 20.
And
Yeah.
then you went
See ya.
out there and you embarrassed
won
the West.
4
And you
We
didn't
didn't
win a game.
embarrass. How
You
did
didn't win a
we
game.
embarrass the
You
West?
didn't win a game.
You know what was embarrassing to the West? That a team in the play-in made it to the WCF. That's embarrassing.
Well, the
Happened to
Heat
these
went to
two.
the finals.
Exactly. Agreed.
So
Agreed.
both conferences are embarrassed.
Yes.
No, because
No,
Denver
you know what
won
really
the
got
title.
embarrassed? The regular season. That's what got
Denver
embarrassed.
didn't allow those frauds to beat them.
Hey,
in the
and that's
conference.
They
what
didn't even get a game.
Agreed.
They didn't get a game.
I respect the Denver Nuggets. That's the one team I don't want to see. I don't want to see Denver Nuggets until I get to the
Not
WCF.
even
Being the
the
Thunder in the
Clippers-
playoff
The
series.
Clippers are another team that I do respect.
Suns?
Most definitely. I'll see them. No problem. I will
Who do
say
you think these Lakers are, bro? Like
LeBron James, Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves,
And y'all
Torian
look-
Prince, Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe
y'all look
Vincent,
the 9
Rui
seed.
Hachimura. Because the regular season's irrelevant.
They're just naming
It's
names.
irrelevant.
It's irrelevant.
You got to get to the playoffs somehow, some way.
And as long as we
you know,
do
like
make
80%
win
of
the
teams
play-
who win the finals are the 1 seed.
Okay, so
That seems kind of relevant to me.
I understand what you're saying. Most
I don't
definitely.
think you care.
But I don't, because last year we saw an 8th seed go
you
to the
did it.
finals,
It's not
and
gonna
the
happen
7th
every
seed.
year,
You know, that's,
bro.
an
I'm just
that's
saying-
the anomaly.
But it happened.
Like
You're
that's,
an anomaly.
That's
You're
the
an anomaly.
So it happened in the same
The
year.
Heat
So an
weren't an
anomaly.
anomaly.
So
Yes.
it happening in the same year
Yes.
in 2 different conferences.
Yes.
Anomaly.
Yes.
No,
Oh,
8
really?
seed going to the finals is the anomaly. I don't know the track record of 7 seeds making
What
it to
was
the
it?
Play
What
playoffs.
was
just
it?
started, so we
To be fair.
it's
How,
Played
many-
bad.
how many 7 seeds had LeBron James and Anthony Davis in the history of NBA
well,
basketball?
one of them didn't they lose to the Suns?
That's true. But
I know.
AD got hurt.
Good point.
2 things can
And
happen
AD
in
was
a year.
killing. We were up 2-1.
Good point.
He dropped 30 back to back.
2 things can
Aiden.
happen in a year, and it can still be an anomaly.
No, obviously, it's food.
In the 2018 NFL playoffs, Nick Foles made the Super Bowl with the Eagles, and Case Keenum made the NFC Championship with the Vikings, and Blake Bortles made the
He
AFC
was the best
Championship with
team
the
in league
Jaguars.
that year.
2018 was one of the worst quarterback play for the NFL playoffs, and we haven't seen that in a
Why are we
while.
respecting Big Cock Nick? That's what I'm wondering.
He was awesome, but Case Keenum made the NFC Championship.
And he
game.
wasn't awesome too?
awesome. I wouldn't say awesome.
He has one of the best throws in NFL history.
Oh, it was a great moment. Was he awesome though? I don't know. It was a great
Against
moment.
New Orleans, he was pretty good.
And then they got smoked.
They got smoked by Philly.
Next game,
But they were
They got
favorites to win.
they got smoked bad though.
Do you know they were favorites
they
to
got
win?
smoked bad?
Do you know the Eagles were underdogs in every game they played that
And then
run?
Blake Bortles
Embarrassing.
was the
That's
quarterback
crazy.
for a team that made the AFC Championship game with the Jaguars.
And Blake went head to head with the Killer Bees and won.
Okay,
Just got to
an
respect the
anomaly.
play when they do it
it's
though.
an anomaly. Nobody say we're not. Who's saying that we're not respecting them? We're just saying it's an anomaly. When's the next time that
I don't know.
When's the next time that two teams that are in the play-in are making the conference finals in the NBA?
Only reason why it would be an anomaly in football, especially as of recent, is because Patrick Mahomes has ran shit. But outside of that, we've seen bad quarterbacks go to the Super Bowl. Rex Grossman went. My GOAT.
Those are anomalies.
Again, Peyton Manning was not good. We went to the Super Bowl, even though Peyton Manning is Peyton
Weren't
Manning.
you guys a good seed though?
He was. No, we were number 1 seed because our defense was elite. Yeah.
But those
My-
are anomalies, though.
But it happens.
Just
But it's an
You
anomaly.
think it's gonna happen
Like
2 years in a row?
Trent
Banking-
Dilfer
banking
went
on
to
it
the,
is tough.
to the Super Bowl.
Banking on it is
I'm not.
hard.
I'm not.
You think it's gonna
banking on
happen
it.
2 years
I'm
in a
just
row?
saying you guys are writing us off because you guys are just gonna.
I mean, we're going against the statistics. You're going against.
is that
anomaly.
what you want to do? Is that what you want to do? Be a statistic? Is that what we want to go off of?
What's the
statistics?
Lakers ceiling this year?
I'm sure.
What WCF? What's wrong with that?
So that's your ceiling. You
Our
can't make
ceiling
the
can be a
finals.
championship team because we have LeBron James, Anthony Davis.
No, it can't be
Why?
because you don't
Because
have
last
the-
year,
Glazing is going
if LeBron
nuts.
James was healthy, hey,
Oh,
who
God.
knows? LeBron James was not healthy in that series versus the Nuggets.
God, you maybe win
Drew,
2 more games.
You're digging a deep,
What do you
deep
mean?
hole.
Every game was close as fuck.
And then what did the Joker do at the end of every
Legend.
game?
Now he got it. He got it. I'm never.
AD can do nothing
in terms
with
of in terms of
But LeBron
champions,
James, we needed LeBron.
The 1, 2, and 3 seed have won 97% of championships.
Okay.
You are
There's
going
been
against this
1
statistic.
4 seed and 1 6 seed to ever win.
You take your 3%, we'll go with the 97.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
That's the side you want to be on.
Yes. I will be a part of the 97%. If I'm wrong, you just look like a genius.
Let me ask you a
I'm
question.
good.
Why did you pick the Heat versus the Celtics last year?
Because the Heat completely owned their mind.
But the Celtics are number 1.
Yeah, but the Heat owned their mind.
No, they were the best team going into the
The Heat
playoffs.
owned their mind.
though.
That was 2-3 rounds later, by the way.
They're number.
I didn't pick the Heat to start off. I didn't pick the Heat to beat the Bucks. That was like 2-3 games after they were finished.
Anomaly, bro.
No,
Why would you do that?
I went against the anomaly.
you believed it.
No. It's different.
Because you
It's
believed
different.
it.
You're saying in February you think they can go to WCF. I never said in February the Heat can go to the WCF.
Last year, the Lakers were worse. Last year, the Lakers were worse.
Were you?
Most definitely.
But you
They were also more
also
injured.
made moves at the deadline to fix your problems. You guys didn't make any
You
moves
looked
this
good
year.
after the
We
deadline.
did,
Like,
most
really
definitely.
good.
We had our moments. We had our moments of looking really good. We played really
You're
good
a ninth
basketball
seed
towards the
right
end
now.
of the season. Again,
Over the last
we've
like
really
20,
calmed down.
20,
we
25,
haven't,
30 games last year, you were damn good.
The last part of the season, most
Yeah.
definitely, we played well.
So based on what you've seen this year with the Lakers, you think you're a great playoff team? Like you'd be a great playoff team.
Oh no, not of what I've seen this season, but I know what I believe.
Wait, so if you're not gonna be a great playoff team, how are you
No,
making WCF?
he's saying what we've seen as
I
of
mean,
right
we're going
now.
off what we've seen. You're going off of blind faith.
No, when we've seen the Lakers lock in season tournament, best team in the league.
Ah,
what we've
I knew
also
it was coming.
what we've also
had to
seen.
know.
These November games,
Hey,
bro.
get it out of here. We gotta ban it. We gotta
Oh,
ban
but
it.
you guys go undefeated at home. I'm supposed to be moved?
They have the best team in the league.
mean,
Okay, of course. I
That's
know
more
that.
than like a
Something.
4-game sample size.
We're like 22-3.
And what happened last time we saw you guys at home?
smoked us.
My point
What happened
being
on Christmas
is
when you were healthy?
irrelevant
on
to
the
me.
road.
Oh, imagine that. He's trying to talk to me about a team when we had LeBron James and AD, but not talk about when we didn't have LeBron James and AD in his
'Cause it
home
doesn't
court.
matter.
Right, it doesn't matter to him.
That
That
one doesn't
Austin
matter.
Reeves
The
gave him
one that's
fits.
healthy matters.
And the guy that he's saying won't show up come playoff time gave him fits too. Respect D'Angelo Russell because he absolutely balled on your punk ass. That's all I'm gonna say.
Am I supposed to be moved by
my whole
that?
point being is
Bro is moved by D'Lo.
My whole point's being
How is this gonna end, Riv? How is this D'Lo
same-
shit gonna
the
end, bro?
same
Like
way it
we
always
read the
ends, bro.
story 1,000 times.
the
Now
funny-
the last chapter is gonna be different all of
The
a
funny
sudden.
thing to me is, you guys said the same thing to me last year. Called me crazy, called me delusional, called me biased.
You got it last year.
Went on a little bit of a run. But you're losing faith again this year. And why I feel so comfortable
I'm not
in this
losing. I
chair.
never had faith to begin with. I'm not
Now,
losing.
now
any-
beginning of the
That's
season,
why
not
you,
faith.
you,
I'm not
I
losing
don't
any
think
season I did have a little faith.
I'm not
They
even
won the
thinking about.
offseason.
They
They had
did. They
depth.
had a
They
great-
had
they had a
Bron
great
and AD
offseason.
healthy.
And the guy who was one of the reasons why we won the offseason has played like 5 games.
I'll keep it a stat. Gabe Vincent comes back. It doesn't change the outcome of your season.
That 5 games
We need
moved
the
it. He
defense,
looked like
though.
shit.
We need the defense.
Do we all think outside of Drew that the Lakers lost the trade deadline? Are they one of the losers or no?
They definitely should have grabbed somebody else.
Oh yeah,
What would you want us to do? All right, we'll start with you. What do you want the Lakers to do?
Just some sort of like, even a guy like Jaden Springer, good defender, different move.
throw it
I
back.
wanna-
What do you
I
want
like
us to
that.
do?
Big or guard defender.
That's crazy.
Who we've gotten?
You could have got Drummond.
You could have got Tillman.
You could have got Drummond.
You could have got Gafford.
If the Bulls wanted 2 first-round picks, you blame us for saying no?
I don't
No,
think
I
the
don't
Bulls
blame
asked
you.
for
Okay,
Cooper
what
for
did you want us
Drummond.
But
to
you
do?
didn't even attempt.
Dorian Finney-Smith, I think, would have been a good move.
Why?
What do you mean?
You
Why?
need I think you need a
You
wing,
need
bro.
a wing defender. He's a wing and he's a defender.
Jared Vanderbilt's there.
Also,
can't
cannot
play
score.
offense.
He can't shoot.
But his job is to play defense.
But in the playoffs, he doesn't
gonna
play
get
because
picked
he
on.
we
can't
have
shoot.
The problem is
who's
this
going to
shit
get
broke.
picked on?
No,
Who?
no. D'Lo is for sure.
No,
100%.
fine, that's fine.
Austin Reeves also is
saying-
getting picked
Not
on.
really.
Both of them are getting picked on, bro.
Austin Reeves is getting picked on.
No, he hasn't been that good defensively this year. I understand that. But you guys are telling me offense. All you've said is offense. And
No,
the first thing
I
you
think
say to me is
defensively, you guys
defense.
can lock in. For
I
Sure.
know.
But offensively is an issue, and
But
I
still,
still
that
think you need a
backcourt, I
guard
don't
defender.
love.
Because what
I
had
think you
been
need a
a-
backup big too.
I agree with that. I think that Christian Wood deserves more minutes. It's just
And I feel like you
defensively
could have
he's not been that
packaged
good.
Rui's contract and a pick for somebody.
Vando last year in the playoffs averaged 16.5 minutes per game.
You tell me you couldn't get
No,
Gafford?
he did not play against the Nuggets.
They sent Rashawn Holmes,
Why?
who doesn't play,
he couldn't
in a first round pick for Gafford. You couldn't get Gafford?
For first?
Yeah.
Do I want to do that?
Are you serious?
You're not getting
You don't give a
Donovan
fuck
Mitchell in
about the
December.
picks.
I'm not even thinking about Donovan Mitchell. That report's ridiculous.
why
to
do you
me.
care
That's the
about
report
picks,
that
bro?
came out. And
I don't want to hear that. That's not a saving grace to me.
so hold up.
He's holding on to
So
a pick
what
from
can
2027. He
what were the
won't even be
Lakers?
there.
What are the Lakers going
I
to
was
do
hoping
then?
to go to New York.
Because LeBron is 39 years old, so that means
No, that tweet
don't
killed
make a
me.
move now because you're going to make one in the offseason?
No, don't make a move now because, again, understanding if you trade one of these picks, LeBron is 39 years old. The way that you talk about that 2030 pick swap If the Lakers do that and LeBron James isn't on the squad, in 2030, our team's going to be ass.
Yeah,
But
but
are you
you
not-
gotta win it. You have LeBron.
Yeah, you have LeBron.
It's different for
You
the
should win a
Lakers
But I
are doing it, the
understand.
Grizzlies that doing
My
it.
point being is this team that we have this year, minus, of course, Dennis Schroeder, no Lonnie
It's
Walker.
not a championship team.
We
Dennis Schroeder, a Q pickup. Would have loved that.
Again, if
Alex
you,
Caruso
if
getting
you
him back. Would have loved that.
Oh my God, you're
There's
really
so- there's
pulling at
dudes out
heartstrings.
there.
I would have loved Caruso. I would have loved Dennis. I think pride would have had to been put aside for both of those moves. One more than the other. Alex Caruso, of course. I would have been okay with trading the first for Caruso because he's an impact player. He's a legitimate defensive star.
And Finney Smith is not an impact player.
He's in his own way, but I just know that with Caruso, he's already fit with the Lakers. I've seen what he can do with the Los Angeles Lakers. 3-and-D player, can handle the ball. He's a different case for me. Dorian Finney-Smith is a solid role player, most definitely, but I'm not giving up 2 first rounds for Dorian. No way.
I just don't understand the logic here because the Lakers are clearly not a championship team, in my opinion.
I understand. where you're
LeBron
coming
James
from.
is older, so you need to, as messed up as your future is going to be, you need to go all in to try to get a championship for LeBron.
And they did.
LeBron is very wary of that, and that's what he was pushing for this entire time.
But my reason why I am asking you guys this question is legitimately, what should we have done? Because it's not like other teams made moves that we
just
should
gave you all
have.
7 names.
But again, none of those players were moved outside of Daniel Gafford, which you guys didn't even mention.
so you don't think
I
Royce
remember.
O'Neal would have been a good pickup?
Oh Lord.
I don't know. I guess role players are good. I'm never going to be upset at them, but it's not something that we desperately needed.
The Knicks gave the Pistons Fournier, Flynn, Grimes, and Arquinadio for Boyan and Burks.
But who
Tell me
could-
the Lakers going to do better?
Who could we have traded that is of value for the Pistons of the future to have potentially gotten Bojan and Alec Burks?
Who's the value for the Pistons here?
Quinn Grimes.
is
Quinn
a
Grimes
piece,
has been
maybe.
terrible.
I
But he is a
agree.
value.
But he's
But you
young.
traded him low. You traded him at his lowest value.
Yeah, I think
But you came up.
Max Christie or Jalen Hood-Schifino probably
It's
have similar
not
value.
that value of QG.
QG is his value's in the dumpster.
I'm
bro.
telling you as Max Christie, who's given us some decent minutes from time to time this season, and Jalen Hood-Schifino, who's shown nothing, they're not
No,
QG.
no. Max Christie is not that far off though. Like in terms of what their archetype
He's
is. as a player.
undersized, unfortunately.
Max
He
Christie?
obviously can
What
defend,
is Quinn Grimes?
can shoot.
Grimes is
But
also
his-
But we haven't
size.
seen anything from
Yes.
Christie and Jalen. That's
on a
why.
consistent
Grimes,
basis.
we've seen
where
something.
Grimes last season
Yeah.
from the trade deadline on was a sniper
And he fits with them. Even
and
though
a
he hasn't
defensive
been-
beast.
Look at what the
This season he's
look
been
at
underwhelming.
what the Thunder gave up to the Hornets. Trey Mann, Bertans, Mike Kick, and draft comp.
Trey Man's kind
for
of the
Gordon
same.
Hayward.
It's the same kind of conversation. They don't have
But
that.
Trey Mann I think he's shown just as much as like a Max Christie.
Would you guys have
He's actually
laughed
shown
at us
nothing.
if we got Gordon Hayward? Oh, the Lakers getting another injury-prone piece.
No, I thought it would have been a good player to
But
get,
who would we
honestly.
have got? Who would we have given up to get him?
I mean, that's up to the front
That's
office.
why I say you have
It's
to.
not up to me.
You have to think. But okay.
Bro, so this ain't my job. I'm just telling
Nah,
you.
see, but that's where you lose me.
No, but I'm looking at the players that were
but
traded. You're
Joel,
saying who should
you
you
could
have
have
gotten?
gotten
here?
Olynyk.
But Joel,
Kelly Olynyk
I'm
would've
fine
got
with
you
that.
pick up.
I'm fine with that. Kelly Olynyk, I'm not. I said when we had our conversations early on, I wouldn't have been mad at Kelly.
definitely
because
coulda
you
got
gotten him
Gafford.
for a low price.
You couldn't have gotten Fontecchio,
I don't know if these are.
I forgot who got traded for him.
The reason
Kevin
why.
Knox.
The reason
And a
why
second-round
and
pick.
second, yeah.
Brother.
The only reason I say this
Brother.
is because you want
Max
us to
Christie
trade
in a
players.
second get you that. Yes.
Maybe,
Max Christie in a
maybe.
second
You
get
guys
you
made
that.
zero moves, bro. That's what I'm saying.
My point is, with the way that the roster is and who the players are, there's really nobody that we could have gotten that would have drastically changed our position. Like if we would have traded Rui Hachimura, who would we have gotten that would have been better for him?
Because you've made Austin Reeves untouchable. I think trading
Austin Reeves has been playing very well.
Austin Reeves for Boyan and Alec Burks, it makes you better.
I'll fucking throw up if we made that move.
Does it not make them better?
It doesn't change much. I really
It
don't
makes
think it
him
changes.
Austin
slightly
Reeves- have you
better,
been
but
watching what
I
Austin
would
Reeves
keep
been
Austin.
doing lately?
I would keep Austin.
I would probably keep.
Jesus
Austin too.
Christ.
Not for those two.
It makes
And
him
the
it makes
contract that he's on is great.
It is
a great
he's not
contract.
moved by Austin Reeves. He's not moved by
Austin is the few like
You
young
flip
players
flop
who
on
are.
Austin too much. You're
impactful.
losing me.
I haven't even talked about him in a long time.
It has been a minute.
It's been.
Yeah,
It's been a
I mean,
while.
it's
Really
not,
talk
it's
about
not,
the Lakers.
listen, I think Austin Reeves is a fine player, but
Third best player in championship
I
team.
mean,
The
I even
only
think he's
the
solid.
one
They
that
didn't
I
win a
will
game.
hear you on, which is what a lot of
Boyan
teams
is a better
need.
player than Austin Reeves, bro.
I don't know. I don't
He's
know.
a better scorer.
He's a better shooter.
He's a better defender.
No, he's a 3-level scorer.
He is a 3-level scorer. He is.
and then you
Rounded.
add in Alec Burks. I mean, that,
I'm
yes.
not trading Austin Reeves for
because you made him
an older
untouchable.
player. But he's young. He's
my
very
God,
young.
good
He's
pass.
on a
He's
great
25.
contract. That's young.
That was
Also-
crazy, by the way.
In the NBA,
You only
it's
heard
not
everything.
that young.
For
25
what he's
is young.
producing for us,
Especially for the
25
Lakers,
is young.
25 is young.
Yeah, Joel, that was nuts. 25 is young.
25 is young. Come on.
25 is hitting, you know.
This year's the Lakers team as constructed isn't winning a championship. So whatever needle move they would have made at the deadline would not have put them over the top. We would have liked to seen something just to give you a different look, a different piece to throw in the playoffs. But
I hear
wasn't
you
out there.
guys on the backup big role. That's definitely what I wanted the most.
Christian
but
won the playoffs too.
I think Christian
God,
deserves
he was
more
on the
minutes.
team, dog.
I think Darvin messes up there where he does not play Christian that much, and it's because of the defensive side of the ball. And I get
I
that,
feel like we've seen Christian Wood.
but when he plays, he's been good for us.
Yeah, I'm
That's
just,
the
I'm
only
just
reason
saying
that
like I'm
upsets
just saying
me.
like a playoff setting. That's all I'm saying.
Shit, I wish we would have got Drummond.
So Reeves 16-5 at 25 years
you
old.
have
is
Drummond.
like,
Wars.
Oh, the other way.
Untouchable.
As the
Word.
fourth
The
option
second-
on the
second.
team.
I'm gonna start putting
Second now?
numbers. No, second team.
But how, again, untouchable when you're naming Bojan and Alec Burks. With all due respect,
Bojan is better than him.
like Austin Reeves is so clear of QG, it's not even funny.
Right now, yes.
Yeah, I'm
not a
not disagreeing with you at
But
all.
that's the highlight piece of that
He's
trade
also
and what
Quinn-
got you
Grimes
guys
isn't
those two
young.
guys.
okay, but that's what I'm telling you. Like the Knicks, the package they gave for Bojan and Alec Burks.
Let me text
Austin
Frank.
It
Reeves
wasn't that
most
great.
definitely was not getting traded for Bojan and Alec Burks.
Okay, even if it's not Austin Reeves,
I'm
I don't.
thinking that's why I asked you the question, because there's
I
not
said-
pieces on the
I
Lakers
said
to
it-
get them.
I said it earlier though. The package that the Knicks gave up to go get Bojan and Alec Burks,
Yes.
it wasn't that great of a package. The Lakers could have probably put something similar or just as good to go get those two guys.
The only one that I could think of off the top of my head would be Torian and Gabe to get them. That's really it.
And a young player. It'd have to be Max Christie or Jalen Hood-Schifino. Even if Max Christie, I think, bro, Quentin Grimes, his value shot down
It did.
crazily.
He
But you
hadn't been
trade him
playing.
at his
He hadn't been playing.
lowest,
Yeah.
which I think
because-
is an L on your part, but a
Can I
W
give
for
you
what you
another
got
loser?
back.
Why is it an L? We got two
the
great
comments are
players.
saying
We
let's
did
move
get
off the
some two
Lakers
great
shit.
players.
The comments saying let's move off the Lakers shit. Can I give you guys another loser? Now this is a team that I don't know if there's a move out there to make, but I think the Sacramento Kings, where they are right now, where they're not in contention to win a championship, but they got some good players. They got some good young players. They got some good veterans. They have a good mix of guys, but I still think they need to make another move. The deadline piece probably wasn't out there for them. Maybe it's in the offseason, but that was one team I was like, can they get a little something that maybe they could get them comfortably into that second round? That was one team I thought could have made a
It
move.
was interesting. I tweeted about it. I thought like the Kings are in a funny situation because they have a lot of good players. They have a lot of good young players, good vets. They have their two stars, but that third guy is waiting in the midst. You know, it could be Keegan Murray in a couple years. You know, it could be Malik Monk for stretches, but it's not a consistent third guy, and I don't think he was available because, you know, Siakam went. You know, they could have tried for Laurie, but I don't think they have the draft capital to
I
get
don't think
Laurie.
giving up Laurie
Yeah,
either.
and Laurie would have been huge for them, but that's another team where it's like they're waiting for that third guy. You know, and for me, a loser was the Pelicans. I think not getting the center position figured out. You know, I think Jonas Valanciunas, he's a good player, but I don't think he's the good player next to Zion. I think a guy who can stretch the floor, who could play out in the perimeter, who's also a really good rim protector, that's somebody that would be huge for the Pelicans, you know, especially coming off a win. They just beat the Clippers, you know, a good win for them. But I still think that roster is a little funky, you know, has a little weird lineup mismanagement. But I do think if they would have went out there and they would have got a solid five that can complement Zion or just trade out Valanciunas to get a defensive big, that would have been huge for them. So that was definitely a loser for me. And, of course, the Bulls. The Warriors are losers, but at the same time, there wasn't a move out there that would have made, like, they didn't want to give up Kuminga. You know, Wiggins has little to no trade value right now.
Yeah.
Clay has no trade value. So realistically, there wasn't nobody to really get out there for. I thought Drummond would have been cool. Maybe try to get Caruso, but if they're asking for Kuminga, I wouldn't have done it for sure. I think the Warriors are waiting for the summer. I think they're waiting for the summer to make a big move. They have Chris Paul's big contract. They're kind of going to probably tank this season, which is terrible. Steph will be 36 next month. So, all right, cool. If you know, hope to God he can do this again next year. But
He probably can.
probably for sure. But you don't want to put that wear and tear in a guy of that age.
I
But
get it.
for sure, you know. And then of course Draymond's getting older, Clay's getting older. But I think, you know, you had Chris Paul's contract, which was $30 million, you know, a big contract. You could have made some moves. You know, you have Brandon playing at a high level as the backup point guard. Kuminga's turning his role. I wouldn't have mind keeping Wiggins and Kuminga and trading Chris Paul, Moses Moody, who was injured and you barely play anyways. He's inconsistent, and trying to get something else. But I understand where they were going with it.
Cowboys hired Mike Zimmer to be their DC.
Nice. I like that move.
Interesting.
I think he's better than Dan Quinn.
I want them to get Rex, man.
Yeah,
you think better
Would
than
love that.
Dan?
Yeah, Dan Quinn is predictable on what he runs. That's why, and it gets figured out. That's why every top offense scores on him a lot.
Lakers, man. 30 minutes.
No, it wasn't that bad.
Like 15.
Which is calm. Which what you expect when I get
Oh, it
talking
just
about
gets
it.
really loud in here. We're talking about the Lakers.
All this for a 9 seed.
I just only say you guys were telling me we should have made a move, but you
Are
guys
they not?
weren't telling
Them
me
and the Heat
teams,
are kind of like the
players to
same.
make.
The
Yes.
Heat, where are the Heat at right now?
The Heat are
They're
like seven.
7, 8.
Yeah, they're
They've
7.
lost like
But just
6
like
of their
last
8.
year, both these teams low seeds make these crazy runs, and now
But
it's
the
like
Heat last
they'll do it
year,
again.
they trolled throughout the regular season. Maybe the Lakers do too. I don't know.
The Lakers should have made a move, bro.
I really feel I understand what you're saying, and if we would have made a move for a backup big, I would have been fine.
Should've got Jane Springer.
Us staying packed again, I'm okay with. I really am.
I mean, you could be okay with
We
it.
have good players on this roster,
But I think you guys should have definitely
just need to get
tried to
healthy.
improve a little bit.
I
Shea
find
Brissett was available.
I
bro.
find difficulty finding
Shea
teams
Brissett.
that would have taken
Shea
Gabe Vincent, especially with the unknown that he is for the rest of the season, whether he's going to come back or not. Torian Prince, I feel like with the way that he's been playing recently, keep him personally. He's been knocking down the 3 ball. Obviously, not this great defender, but we needed shooting. We keep him. Keeping Rui makes sense. We've seen what he can do offensively when he's given the adequate minutes. It just would have been tough to formulate a package, personally, to get someone that would have made a strong difference for me.
NBA trade deadline winners and losers. Riv, I want to start with you.
So my winners, of course, I think Philly was going to be one of my winners just for getting a player like Buddy Hield. I think bringing in that sniper like that is huge, especially for a team that lost Joel Embiid. I'm sorry, I gotta get out of this because Steph is on.
He's going too crazy.
He is.
He's going too
He's
crazy.
just going nuts.
was
But
getting mesmerized.
Yeah, I was. I like it was getting
Felt
up
the table
for sure.
move a little bit. I was like, whoa.
Definitely shook it. Little wet in the pants for sure. But
That's going on the TikTok. Yeah, put that in.
But getting a player like Buddy Hield, I thought was huge. And then, of course, unfortunately, I don't like this team, but Phoenix, you got to put them as winners because bringing in Royce O'Neal, a player that can stretch the floor, a player that can play defense, that is huge. And then, of course, my biggest rivals, the Knicks. I think they were definitely winners of this deadline. The biggest winners, of course, the easiest winners. Just get more depth for a team that looks primed to make a big run in the playoffs. You got Randall, you got Brunson as your 1-2 punch. What do you have else? You got Mitchell holding down the line defensively. You got his backup. Then you got role players in Dante and Josh Hart. Now 2 more role players that can come in and they can space the floor. So those are my winners. Did you say winners and losers?
Yes.
All right, and my losers are the Chicago Bulls, the biggest losers in the last 3 to 4 years. They have not made a move since August of 2021. They've been one of the most sold-out arenas in the NBA for the last 5 to 10 years, and with a team that has a lot of players that they can get good value for, they tend to not do anything. You got DeMar, who's an expiring. You got Caruso, his expiring will be next year. I think he has 1 more year after this. You got Zach LaVine. You couldn't find anything for him, and then he's out for the year again. That definitely hurt. You got Kobe White on a cheap deal. That's probably your best move of the last 2-3 seasons, getting Kobe on a cheap deal, and now he's looking like the second guy. Maybe he can jump to 1 at MIP. It looks like Maxey might run away with it, but Kobe is fast approaching that award with the way he's been improving. And then guys like Drummond who can get you, small things like second-round picks. But I think a team that just has a lot of assets and didn't do anything at the deadline, similar with another loser I have, the Brooklyn Nets, although they did give up Royce O'Neal, I feel like you had to pick a direction. And both of these teams are the most directionless teams in the NBA. They don't want to be bad, but they don't want to be great. They just want to be stuck in mediocrity. And I understand the Nets' point a little bit more because they don't have their 2024 pick. So they're trying to compete, but they just can't. They don't have the talent. With the Bulls, they don't have it either, but you have a lot more talent, in my opinion, a lot more star-studded talent than the Nets that you could have got back some things and you didn't do it. Plus, you have a rising star in Kobe White. With Cam Thomas, he can be a rising star, but the minutes are inconsistent. He doesn't have a defined role. Kobe White has taken the role from DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan has given him the keys. He's looked like he's going to be the vet. He's there when he needs him. Kobe White looks like he takes over the role, and it just feels like the Chicago Bulls are just happy with getting money in their pockets, selling out, and being mediocre. And that's just a disrespect to Michael Jordan and the late great Derrick Rose. How great he was in the Chicago Bulls team.
Still here.
Late great is crazy.
Nuts, but late great because his career. It's in the mud.
I got you, bro.
Division,
I'm cool with that, bro.
Those are my losers. Bulls and Nets.
My winners.
You're like Drew there.
What happened?
What was yapping?
My fault, bro.
Holy
I
fuck!
stayed mute for the Lakers topic, so I felt like. Yeah.
I'll remember that, Dehls. Next time you talk a lot, I'm going to tell you, shut the fuck up.
He doesn't talk a lot.
He doesn't.
Unless it's about the Ravens.
No take Dehls. My winners, two obvious ones. I'm going to go with the Dallas Mavericks. The move for me that I loved the most was Daniel Gafford. 22nd in points allowed in the paint. The Mavericks go and they address that by bringing in a guy who's top 7 in blocks on the season. I love that move. And, of course, getting P.J. Washington, just some versatility. Although haven't seen the same offensive player in him this season as last, of course, you just need some versatility. And you move off Grant Williams' contract. That's huge. And, of course, number one winner has to be the New York Knicks. Bojan and Alec Burks added to the squad. I think that they traded QG a little bit low, understanding that he hasn't been playing great basketball this season. We saw how great he was last year towards the end of the year, but you bring in a great three-point shooter, 3-level scorer, and Bojan. Of course, Alec Burks is one of the more underrated bench players that there are in the league. You bring him over to the squad, and it really shows how much faith they have in Jalen Brunson. That's really what it emphasized to me, that they believe that they have someone that can bring them to contending for a championship in Jalen Brunson. That's really what this trade deadline meant to me with the New York Knicks. And then losers. This one's tough, but I'll be honest, we haven't mentioned them at all. That Atlanta Hawks and the Orlando Magic, two teams that just decided to do nothing today. And I look at the Orlando Magic more so with the idea that they need offense. They're not a good offensive team. They need a guard that's going to consistently score for them. Understanding that Markelle Fultz most likely is not going to be on the team with the Orlando Magic going into next season. I would have liked them to try and upgrade at the point guard position. But again, to a degree, I can understand trying to wait for the right move. But you already saw so far in this season, hey, we can make some noise. We're not a bad team by any means. We just need that guard that can connect all of our pieces together. Was surprised that they weren't more aggressive in that regard. And Atlanta Hawks holding on to DeJounte Murray, where we've seen them be a middling team all season long, haven't been a great defense. Solid offense, most definitely, but deciding not to make any moves was shocking to me. I do look at these two teams and feel left underwhelmed.
I got 3 winners, 4 losers. My winners, the New York Knicks, won the trade deadline. They should be comfortably everybody's second best team in the NBA, in my opinion. They're better than the Bucks. They're better than the Sixers. The Cavs are a conversation, but I trust them more in the playoffs. They just smoked them last year. My next winner is going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder. Getting Gordon Hayward, being able to have him in closing lineups over Josh Giddey, who offensively is a liability, who on offense teams play 4-on-5 because they're just going to let him sit in a corner or somewhere on the wing and say, if you want to shoot, go ahead and shoot. And my last winner is going to be the Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic got help. P.J. Washington, Daniel Gafford, they still got Tim Hardaway and Kyrie Irving and all of these dudes. I mean, this is a legitimate team in the West. This is a team that Luka Doncic, who is a young LeBron James, your words, not mine. This is a team that should be able to make a WCF run. This is a young LeBron. This is a team that should be able to make a finals run. I absolutely loved their trade deadline. My 4 losers. I have 2 kind of in the same tier. The Warriors and the Lakers. You have Steph Curry. You have LeBron James. I understand wanting to protect your future some, but the Lakers have already given up a boatload of draft picks. If you have to give up a couple more to upgrade this team with 2 firsts for Caruso and Drummond, does that get done? I'm not the GM, but that's something I would have put out there to try to upgrade this team. The Bulls are another one, as you guys mentioned, just a team that has no direction. And the last one I have as a loser, but I don't think it's quite their fault, the Sacramento Kings. I think the player they have to get is probably in the offseason where more guys are going to be available, but that's another team that they're not good enough to make a WCF run, and they're way too good to be in the play-in or even worse, a lottery team. Right now, they have a lot of good players, but they still, I think, need one more third star to put them in the contention with the top 4 teams in the West.
You were sarcastic there about the Mavericks, but
I'm dead ass. Young
it's
LeBron.
Funny that
LeBron made a finals by this point in his career.
Luka is so great that you could end up being right about that take, even though you were sarcastic about it. Luka's so good that you can actually be right about that.
Now, he's so good that none of the starters for the Knicks are playing tonight, and they're up 10.
The Mavericks are up 10?
Yeah.
Or the Knicks are up 10?
No, the Mavericks, bro. Nice.
Oh, nice. Worry about your Lakers, bro. Worry about your Lakers.
Hey, last time we saw the Mavericks, what happened?
The Mavericks blew a lead.
We smoked them.
I'm thinking about the time before then.
Oh, so you lost twice.
No. We lost that game that he's talking about.
Yeah, they lost.
I'm just saying.
The Mavs are better than the Lakers, bro.
Okay.
Mavs are better than
I don't know. Every day keeps going on and on and on.
Kuminga's better than Pascal.
It's funny how with Luka.
Jesus Christ.
Now just watch them guard each other. It's funny.
Pascal's been playing.
Yeah, he's better. Yeah, he's
the
better.
funny thing about it is Pascal has been playing pretty damn well for the Pacers, honestly.
The Mavs are the 8 seed, Lakers the 9 seed. Right there.
The Warriors are 11, right there.
Yeah, something like
It's
that.
right there.
It's right
It's
there.
right
That was
there.
right there, man.
It's funny because Luka gets like a couple good role players, and now it's like, oh, WCF, he has all the help.
You're the one who told me
But-
PJ
but-
Washington's a needle mover.
But yes, he's a good player.
You got PJ
He
Washington.
he makes it
that's
better.
what he said.
The needle was just moving.
Hey, he
Tatum,
didn't say
Ta-
anything
Tatum
wrong.
gets 4
No, what the hell
All-Stars,
did he
and
say
they're
about
still going to
Tatum?
not win the
does
finals.
What does
Tatum
Tatum
have
have to do with this?
You know what
Honestly.
when it comes to Dallas and Luka, Tatum just jumps in. It's
Oh my God.
just when
You
it's Tatum,
notice,
Luka comes
yo,
back.
you notice that they be twinning on their
They're
takes?
gay. You know, they love each other. You know?
I do love him.
You
My
know,
whole heart.
I had a
Yo.
problem with something that Drew said about the Knicks and Quentin Grimes. Am I the only one who noticed that when the Knicks traded Emmanuel Quickly, Drew said you traded him for too low a value.
Here we go. Yeah.
And then you're saying the same thing about Quentin Grimes. What were we supposed to trade Quentin Grimes
Hey,
for?
I said
He loves
I
these
liked
guys.
the
He's a
move
Knicks guy.
for the Knicks. I said I liked it. I said I understand fit. I think Emmanuel Quickly's a young player. I would have liked to hold on to him. However, QG.
But we got OG for him.
Okay,
Dante
no,
too
for
now.
sure, most definitely.
And
It's all good.
Dante's
No, Dante's been turning.
Dog.
Remember what I
You're-
told
you're
you
welcome.
about Emmanuel Quickly and
Always tell
how
him that.
he's easy to replace. We literally just replaced Emmanuel Quickly like that easily with Bojan.
Different type, but yeah, I get you.
Yeah,
Scoring.
but we got to
No, the
score.
replacement was always there. They just had the move IQ. It's
I'm not
Dante.
gonna lie.
Dante's
with-
been on some shit, bro.
I'm not gonna lie. With Bojan and Alec Burks, our bench right now is better than
Yeah.
before.
I love your
I'm
bench
with you. I'm with you.
So what were we supposed to trade Quentin Grimes for? We traded him too low for his value. He was asked
I
this
just mean
year.
in the sense of you traded him when he was playing bad. That's the only thing
So we're
I
supposed to wait for him to play good.
remember
to trade him.
how you had him untouchable all season long.
Yes, and then this year he was
QG.
garbage. This year he was garbage.
Like how quickly we turn on players is my point.
Nah, he was shit, bro.
He was
No,
garbage.
he was not
though.
good. I
I don't
agree.
think they can't
agree.
wait.
No,
This team is
They
this is
can't.
the best
They
Knicks
can't.
team of
I
our
can't-
And
I
lives.
can't-
Jalen Brunson's like surprisingly
Nuts that we
on
have
the
to say
older
that.
side.
It's a fact.
I can't wait to magically
That
see
2012
Quentin
team was
Grimes
pretty
play
fucking
better to
Which
trade
team?
him.
Again,
Carmelo,
my
Tyson.
oh, you're
Seems
saying the
Think so? Seems
the
gonna go far in
Pistons
the
side
playoffs.
or other way around?
No, I'm saying the Knicks.
Understood.
Mike.
Understood.
I don't know. That team in 2012 was tough though. They had Tyson. He just won DPOI. J.R. Smith won 6 Man of the Year.
It was a good team.
That was a good ass team.
That the team that lost to the Pacers.
Yeah,
That team was good
we
as
were just
fuck.
talking about it for a little bit.
I said this is the best Knicks team of our life.
This might be better than
I-
that team.
I think so. Maybe that's close. That one was really good. They had Melo.
It was really starting five dependent.
no. They had Kid off
No,
the
we had
bench.
J.R. Smith.
I
Smith.
apologize,
Yeah,
J.R.
yeah,
Smith.
We had
Facts,
Steve
facts,
Novak.
facts.
There's some guys.
Oh, Steve Novak, sniper.
He
Yeah,
was,
that's
he was
some
a good
guys.
shooter. Most
I think this
definitely.
team is
the right way.
deeper.
Yes.
I think this team is deeper.
It is a
For
deeper
sure,
team.
yeah.
They got a lot of similarities.
I'm not gonna lie. The team then was better.
You think so?
We'll see how the playoffs go.
But
We
why?
just lost to the because it was better. We had Carmelo Anthony and Tyson Chandler. DPOY.
Jalen Brunson.
Carmelo is
What do you
No,
say?
Talk.
Wow.
The way Jalen Brunson's playing this year,
They
bro.
lost me.
I'm just
True.
kidding.
Jamal,
I'm
they lost
kidding.
me. They
I'm
lost me.
kidding. I'm
Dehls
joking.
got caught.
I'm
Dehls
not.
got caught.
I'm not catching shit.
Dehls got caught.
Have y'all seen
on
what
casual
Jalen Brunson doing?
alert. Do you remember what Melo was doing that year?
He led
was
the league in
cooking.
points, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the year he gave.
Bro, I'm not surprised. He ain't even stick up for Paul Pierce, and that's a franchise
Hey,
legend.
that's more about JT than Paul Pierce.
Low key.
I mean, he wasn't.
saved himself.
The
He saved
poll.
himself.
The poll was pretty clear. They said JT was better. It was like 60, 60
No, it was like
30 type.
70-30, bro. She was bad.
You told me
Paul
Jalen
Pierce
Brunson's
had no
MVP
chance in that
conversations.
I didn't say that.
You could argue that he's been the best guard in the East.
For sure.
Yeah.
Maybe you can argue it, yeah, but I don't think he's an MVP conversation.
What
So
team
you
was
hate-
that?
you hate
that-
Jalen
that
Brunson?
next
Like
team.
I love
Wait, don't
Jalen
you think
Brunson.
MVP conversation is top 10?
Yeah,
You don't think Runs has been top 10?
he could be top 10.
Okay. I think he has a better chance than them guys in Phoenix.
Well,
Can't have both of them up there.
Jokic. Let's just talk about the West, right? SGA,
Yep. Luka.
Kawhi,
Yes.
Kawhi, Luka.
Is Luka more of an
That's four.
MVP candidate than Jalen
Yes,
Brunson?
Yes,
I think because of
Absolute-
the low.
What?
Hey, his team's a top 3 seed.
Jalen Brunson's
or
more of
top
a
4
candidate
seed.
than Ant Edwards.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I agree with
I
that.
agree.
Yeah. I just make that be known. I just make that be known. You know
Now
what I'm
Luka's
saying?
been OD. I'm
In
just
the
saying
East,
they're winning.
Giannis,
Yeah. Joel Embiid, but he's
Embiid
hurt.
when he was healthy, so he doesn't count, I guess, right
Don.
now.
It's tragic. Donovan most
Donovan
definitely.
Mitchell, they're a higher seed, so for the time being where it's at, yeah.
Yeah, I
can
think those
agree.
are it. Those are pretty much it. Unless we're missing somebody. I don't think we're missing
Sabonis?
somebody.
I think Kevin Durant should be in the conversation.
I said only one from Phoenix. I don't think you get both.
Okay,
I'll give you
Kevin
one.
Durant's in
I'll
the
give you one.
conversation.
I think you could put KD up.
What
in
about
front.
AD?
God, you're a 9th seed, bro.
But Luke is in this conversation.
They're the 8th seed.
It's not. Yeah, you
You
got
talk to me.
got-
You just tell me.
You gonna get one.
Hey, I'm taking AD.
Imagine
Defensive side of the ball, he's been
imagine if LeBron James missed 20 plus games this year, where the Lakers would be.
They wouldn't.
Kyrie has missed
Jesus
20 plus
Christ.
games this year already.
Last year he got injured and we won games.
Yeah, but I'm talking about this year.
This year, yeah, I'd
You
be
just
like,
said imagine that.
I'll tell you what.
It happened.
This 2012 Melo and 2024 Jalen Brunson is close.
statistically, right?
This shit is
You're
not a
killing
clearing
me.
by any
You're killing
means.
me.
They're gonna end up with damn near the same record too.
You're killing me right
I love
now.
this.
Is
I love
is he,
this.
is he not, has he
Dehls.
not brought back New York? He's the king of New
Yeah,
York.
Melo brought back New York.
He did.
too.
He
So
did.
I'm saying it's
Do you remember the year
comparable.
against the Bulls, the back-to-back three?
I'm
That was
saying,
that
I'm
year?
saying,
Do
who's,
you
the,
remember
who's
this?
the only one that showed up for the Knicks last year in the playoffs?
You're cooking.
Come on, like let's respect Jalen Brunson. They're in the same conversation.
Respect fucking Melo.
I am,
He's
but you got
disrespecting Melo.
You got
Crazy.
no, but you got crazy. Like this is a conversation.
No, because you don't. I think you don't remember that year. Melo was
Melo balled out. So is Jalen Brunson.
Listen,
And he's doing it. It's more difficult for Brunson to be doing this.
how you figure?
He's
6
smaller.
foot.
Oh,
The league, the league now is
That's all
easier
I'm
to
doing.
score.
That's all I'm doing. He's efficient.
The
as
league
fuck.
now is
Respect
easier to
Jalen Brunson.
score.
I'm on to all three of y'all. man.
Whoa!
You just looked up numbers. You don't even remember Melo that year.
I
didn't.
do
He
remember
didn't.
that year.
No, he
They
didn't.
balled out. That was the year Bulls were the 1 seed. That was D-Rose year.
Yeah, we got him.
Come
Well,
on.
D-Rose hurt that year a lot.
But he played.
Yeah,
you guys had 12 games on him.
No, we were different. We had Joakim, Bulls. We were different.
Carmelo Anthony, there was no question he's a legitimate superstar in the league.
Is Brunson not?
Legitimate superstar?
Superstar.
No.
I love this. I
No.
love
Is
it.
I'm
Dehls
just-
turning the Brunson?
I love it.
I'm just confused because what did Melo do to clearly put him over Jalen Brunson? He did not make a ECF. He did not make a finals.
Different times. I think Melo was top 10 that year.
And he had a
top 10 that
WCF.
time.
and you told me on the last episode that Jalen Brunson is better than Tatum and he's top 10.
Oh, that's something you got to take up with him. I didn't say that.
I don't know what we're doing here. Like, I'm confused.
I didn't say that. You said that?
I never said Jalen Brunson was better than Tatum. I said Jalen Brunson is playing better than him.
He's been arguably top 10 player this year.
Yeah, he's playing at a great level. But Carmelo that year was a top 4 player.
This is what happens. Dehls starts making takes, and I tell you what, I'm moved.
Dehls starts making takes and he's blatantly wrong because Carmelo Anthony, when he walked
This
into the
better be
league as a
first
rookie,
ECF of your life.
okay, we have to get there first.
I'm
I'd
just
be
saying,
happy. I'd be
you told
ecstatic.
Let me ask you a question.
You told
If
me
he
you're
does it-
comfortable.
If he does it, is he the best Nick that you've ever seen in your life?
It's quite possible.
Alvarez
Yeah.
Ray told me he's the best Nick he's ever seen in his
Okay,
life.
let me say
You
this.
want to know why? You want to know why?
Hold on, Joel. Before you go in your
Yeah,
ring,
go,
because I
Riv.
could tell you about to get angry, you about to do all this. Before you get in your bag. This year, Amari Stoudemire was supposed to be the number 2 guy.
He was hurt.
He missed. He only played 29 games.
Julius Randle also hurt.
Yeah, Melo
Oh,
this
Giannotti
year
now, also
averaged
hurt.
29 points
No,
a
he was
game.
amazing.
7 rebounds,
Led the league
3
in scoring,
assists.
correct?
He was shooting 44% from the field, 38% from the 3-point line. 29 a game he was on some shit. That's all I'm gonna say. Melo was in his bag, man. He had Raymond Fell and Earl Barron. I don't know who that is.
Earl Barron, yeah.
He, this team, yeah.
I don't know what it is that I got to come on this podcast and defend older players. Even though Carmelo should be in our even though Carmelo should be in our era, but Carmelo Anthony came into the NBA with the Nuggets and was already an all-star level player. With the Nuggets, he was one of the top 5 players for a decade, and they made the conference finals in 2009 and only lost to Kobe Bryant.
Are you lying?
What do you mean?
Was he top 5? Was he top? Would you say top 10? You said top 5 for a
Top
decade.
5, top 10, yes.
decade?
Yes.
Top 10
top 5
good.
confirmed was not a fact.
It was always varying, though. He's
it was
always
very-
in a
yeah,
conversation.
there we go.
We knew
Because you had LeBron, you
But
had
I'm
Kobe,
not talking about
you had
Jalen Brunson's
Dwayne.
career. Like they came into the NBA and
KG.
Chris Paul started to get better and shit.
KG after 07, Carmelo was better.
Yes.
But I'm not talking
Carmelo
about Melo's first decade. Jalen
about the
Brunson
Knicks.
and Melo came in as two completely different prospects.
Carmelo Anthony with the Knicks, we started out great. Now, I will say this. He left Denver. We traded the house to go get him. So
fucked up the vibe,
it ruined our depth on the team. But then the year after, we made the second seed with Carmelo Anthony with Iman Shumpert, Tyson Chandler, Amari Stoudemire was injured that
J.R.
year.
Smith,
We had
of
Raymond
these old
Felton,
guys,
Jason
bro.
Kidd, J.R. Smith off the bench. This was one of the better teams that I've seen in my life as a Knick.
Facts.
If any Knicks fan tells you that this season is more entertaining than that year's Knicks team, they're wrong, bro.
I don't think he said entertaining.
The Knicks that
All he
year,
said was Jalen Brunson was better.
the Knicks that year, what was 2 things that was popularized? Carmelo Anthony, the 3-point celebration, popularized.
legendary.
The Steve Novak discount double check for State
This
Farm.
one's better though. This is
This
all
is
time.
go. This is top
All-time
one.
great.
This
That
is
was
top
good
one.
too, though.
This is original.
Yeah, but this shit right here,
Nah,
was
you
top
got it,
one.
you
This is
got
top
it,
one.
you
This is
got it.
top
It's
one.
the greatest ever. It's the
What
greatest
were
ever.
what were the expectations for the Knicks going into this season?
Ooh,
We were better than our expectation. We're better than our expectation for sure.
Because the year before you made the playoffs, right? You
I
lost
will
in the
say,
first round, I want to say.
We
LeBron
that
and
year.
D-Wade.
That year we disappointed. We should have made the conference finals. We should have
Losing
faced
to the
Heat.
Pacers was a L.
Speak up.
Yes, we should have beat the Pacers. There's no doubt
Roy
about it.
Hibbert looked like Jesus Christ.
But in that series against the Pacers, Melo was the only guy that consistently showed up in that series. Nobody else consistently showed up. And
Sounds like Jalen Brunson last year.
The reason why Knicks fans might favor this era of even Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson over Melo is because how the Melo era ended was terrible. Oh my God. But how the Melo era ended wasn't his fault.
He shot 42% from the field in this Pacer series. 22% from
PG
three.
lockdown.
We got 28, but this is ugly. Brunson was better.
That was PJ lockdown.
no,
PG
PJ.
lockdown.
No. Brunson last year
Was OD with no one else showing up.
unbelievably great.
This was PG. At his time.
To be
Unbelievably
fair,
great.
no one else really showed up for Amari
Yeah.
too, but
Murray was.
I mean,
up.
not
Yeah, he
Amari
was
for
the only
Melo.
one that
He was
showed
banged
up.
up that year.
And in the first round, Carmelo Anthony was amazing. The way the Knicks tenure ended for Carmelo is the reason why a lot of Knicks fans hated Carmelo.
Let me ask you an honest question. Was Brunson last year better in the playoffs than Melo was this year?
That 2012 year.
Yeah, I don't have a problem
Was
saying
there
he
any
played
year
better.
in the playoffs that Melo played as good as Brunson did last year?
WCF.
I'm saying
Denver.
outside in New York. In New York,
Oh,
strictly.
In New
New
York,
York, he
there
only
was
made it
only
twice.
one year that we made it out the first round. But in that first round of the playoffs, Carmelo Anthony was awesome. Check his numbers. He was awesome.
Against LeBron.
No, that
Is that
he's
LeBron?
saying different year.
No,
No,
that,
this 20,
that
I'm
year,
saying the 2011, 2012, the year before.
First round.
First round exit, yeah.
That was
Melo
against LeBron, right?
Was it? I don't know.
Against
Twenty-
the Heat?
it
But
sounds
they played
like-
Boston. No, they played Boston. They played Boston. My fault.
we played Boston in the first round.
He
when we
put
went
up
to the
28, but
Pacers.
the efficiency was disgusting.
Melo will get it how you get it. Because Kobe efficiency.
It's like Jalen Brunson, man.
It's how the era ended for Carmelo Anthony
Wait.
because
You played the Celtics this year?
we played the Celtics in the first round.
The year before.
This is 2012, 2013, correct?
2012, 23. They played the Celtics.
Got
They
it,
won.
got it.
And then they played the Pacers.
No, because I'm thinking 2012, automatically I'm thinking
No,
about the
2000
Celtics playing the Heat. In
2011,
the, got it,
2012.
correct,
They played the Heat. They
correct,
lost.
got it.
That was when
Like,
JR did the.
No, I'm thinking the Celtics versus LeBron, though. That's what I'm thinking. Got it.
Like I said, the era where Carmelo ended poorly, but that's because Phil Jackson messed up our team. We had a roster out there of a starting lineup of Langston Galloway,
nasty.
Alexei Shved, Carmelo Anthony, Lou Odmanson, and then
Should have
KP.
came to Chicago.
Our team was terrible, and Phil Jackson ruined it. That's why the Knicks tenure with Melo ended sourly.
It did.
Right now, we're in the middle of the roller
golden age.
coaster
Oh, yeah.
for the Jalen Brunson era, but we have no idea how this is going to end up.
We don't.
But how are but you feel optimistic?
Yeah, I love the Knicks, and I love Jalen Brunson. I'm the only one that told y'all Jalen Brunson's going to be a star with the Knicks. I didn't know he's going to be this good,
No one
but I
did.
knew he was going to be an all-star
I'm just
player with
confused
them.
because you've been telling me and you've been tweeting it. They're walking to the ECF.
They should go to the ECF.
The
The same way
Someone
this-
didn't do that.
the same way that Knicks
Cleveland
team,
is up 30.
They're destroying the Nets.
the same way the 2012 Knicks should have made the ECF,
Get 'em out,
and they
get 'em.
disappointed. We don't know. I think the Knicks should make the ECF. I
should.
think they should make it.
I think anything less than that's disappointing.
There is a
Yes.
strong chance they do.
Yes, and I hope they do. They should make it. But I'm
I
not
hope
going
so,
to
too.
disregard the player Melo was.
Love my
Melo
Knicks.
was a legitimate superstar in the league.
Jalen Brunson's been a borderline top 10 player this year.
Carmelo Anthony's one of the greatest offensive players in the history of the game.
He's
It's
one of the
different.
he's one of the best scorers, most definitely.
The
Scorers,
offensive was great.
scorers,
For
sure.
sure. For sure.
Scorers of the game.
For sure.
It's
The
just-
offensive was a little nuts.
Love to have you on the
Just
podcast.
because offense, they like to think about passing, scoring.
it matters.
He's a lock.
Does, definitely.
He was a
Engine.
lock.
We're not going like Melo is like just averaging assists. I'm not saying that the passing
He was a good passer
overwhelming,
when he wanted to be.
but I'm saying he's definitely, when we talk about the top 30 offensive players, scorers in the league, Carmelo is always going to be on that list.
He's told me multiple times Jason Tatum is better offensively than Carmelo.
I believe it.
What do you think about that?
Do you really believe you do?
Sure.
Yeah, you do. You sure?
He's not as skilled as him. He's not as skilled.
I said offensive though,
He's not as skilled.
because you
No,
got to
he's
think
not.
take passing
on the block though. Melo get.
He's not as
the
skilled.
block.
They
I
said
mean,
he
there's
was fat
very
and
few.
skinny.
There's very few.
Shit, Melo never averaged 30. That's all I'm going to say.
My God.
Hey, that was actually strange.
I thought he
never
did.
No, I don't
Nah,
think he
28
did.
was his highest.
29 rounds.
28.7, yeah.
Oh,
We
got
rounded
it,
him
got
up.
it, got it.
My apologies. Try to disrespect him, giving him that 0.7.
No, yeah, we got around. Bro.
Truck in the U.S. of A. I'm disappointed in the Bulls. They could have made a trade. No DeMar trade. No Caruso trade. Not even a Drummond trade. What the hell are they doing?
Wish I could tell you.
Wish I can tell you.
Wish we could have an interview with their front office.
He also goes late great. Wow, I was like when D Rose passed away, ran to Twitter to see the R.I.P. Rose.
You've had two wild comments today already.
Hey man, this is me. It's just, that's why they love me, man.
Just up next goes Drew, my LeBron follower. We still on top.
Let's go. And it's his first super chat to us.
Hey, shout out to him.
Appreciate that
Shout out
you
to
use that
him.
on us.
Chris Bass goes, I call the Hawks GM agent 77. 0 good trades, 0 GM skills, 7 days spent sleeping a week.
Yeah, I didn't like that one. Okay.
CRB goes, Joel Moran, your NBA takes concern me. Might be just as bad as Skip Bayless. Get me on the show and I'll give you real knowledge takes.
Kid Serby's
Drew,
hilarious.
Riv, you guys are my fave. Love the show.
Oh,
guys.
I'll see my way out.
You can get added to the list once you start making some takes, like you just did today.
I'm back, man.
Yo, that Joel makes his first take. Yo, I'll tell you what.
Second.
Little nuts.
He's been loving the Knicks this year.
I respect the
Yeah,
Knicks.
you do. You should.
I was the
I think
first
he
one.
said
I was the first one to say they're going to the ECF.
No, another
is.
take. He said Bucks, not contenders.
Correct.
That's a take.
That's 3 takes.
That's a take.
Knicks, ECF.
Yo,
Bucks,
damn,
not
you're beating
contenders.
allegations. You're beating
3 in 1 day.
allegations. Fuck
This
it.
NBA season. Riv, take us to your academy. Give us the 2 things you want to talk
Lock
about.
in, Riv.
Oh man,
No depth
first of all,
comments.
I wanna give a shout out to my brothers, man. You got to find brothers in the world that motivate you as much as they do. They've been pushing this for a while. Joel texting me on the side, Drew begging me in the car, Dehls keep asking, when are you gonna do it? When are you gonna do it? But today I'm gonna talk about Rob Dillingham and the Cavs. And I think Rob Dillingham is the first guy I'm gonna talk about because a lot of the noise has been, this draft being weak and this draft not having that star power. But I don't think it's weak in the sense of as a ton of good players. I think this is a role player draft. I think you can get guys that are good in the first 10 picks just as good in the late. And I think Rob Dillingham is getting the hype he gets because, unfortunately, this isn't the star potential draft. But what's impressed me about him is his speed, his handle, his steady improvement throughout the year. He's a creative ball handler. The guy, he works well in the pick and roll. His burst after, that screen is really good. His pull-up shot is great. He has a peculiar game where he can come off the bench, he can do his thing, he can start, he can do his thing. Kentucky has a collection of guys that are potentially going to go to the draft this year. They got a European that I unfortunately cannot say his name. I wish I could. I'm not good at names. Then they got Reed Shepherd. Antonio Reeves is a good player. Justin Edwards was supposed to be the prime guy for them. DJ Wagner has been gearing it up lately. But Rob Dillingham has been the guy that's kind of been the guy that's popped in that little rotation because he's the guy that has, the scoring upside, the microwave ability, the playmaking has improved on every possession. He reminds me, and me and Joel was talking about this last week. I saw a lot of Brandon Jennings, Darius Garland, and him, Lou Williams. Like, he has that type of speed, that type of looseness with his handles. Some guys dribble it loose and they can get it back. The different type of handles. But I think Rob, he's interesting because I think in a regular draft, he might not go top 5. I think because this draft lacks that star power, he might be able to go top 5. And in this draft, it's very different and hard to kind of find a place where a guard like that can go somewhere and can just do his thing. Darius Garland, love him to death. He kind of got lucky. Cleveland didn't have a point guard. He went there. He had one of the worst rookie seasons we've seen, got better the next year, but they brought in, they had Jared Allen. They brought in Evan Mobley. They brought in big men that complemented his game, which helped him improve, of course. So there isn't many, and I tried really hard. There isn't many spots in the league that kind of really fit for Rob Dillingham. I thought about the Spurs. I think if they might have 2 top 10 picks in case Toronto doesn't fall that bad. They might have 2 top 10 picks. Isaiah was supposed to be the one to go in front of Rob, but Rob has been gaining traction. He's the better shooter, better scorer, in my opinion. Isaiah just has an NBA body. He's much stronger. I think he's a little bit quicker with the ball, especially in transition. But Rob, I think he can go to San Antonio, whatever pick they have. That could be a option player when Wemby. Playing with Devin Vassell, that could be good. And they need a point guard. They need a point guard. I thought of Washington, but I'm really scared for any rookie that goes to Washington just because they don't have a real foundation over there. They haven't had any real development. Their most tenured player there, I hope I said it right.
Nope.
Tenured.
Fuck, we were close.
Close, for sure.
It's Denny Advia. So I and he's
Wish
young.
he got traded
and
today.
he's really, really young. They just paid him. So I don't know. I don't want him to go there. Another team I was thinking of was Utah. They don't have a point guard. Keontae George has been getting minutes at the point guard spot, and I think bringing in Rob with a team that has Laurie, and I think he'll still be there next season. They got Taylor Hendricks. I don't know if they're gonna keep Walker Kessler. They got a lot of guys there. That could be a team that has been great with development, has been great with putting guys in position to succeed. Rob Dillingham, that's a place that he can go to. But I think Rob, he's definitely in a difficult spot because there's places he can go, there's places he cannot go. There's times where in this draft, NBA is all about the situation. I think Rob's game definitely fits a lot of situation because he can be a microwave scorer, but to reach that star potential, that really puts him in that all-star caliber place, I think San Antonio would be the place, or Utah. But, shifting over, because I remember you had a little conversation where you were hyping up the Knicks, and then Drew was talking about the Bucks. He was talking about Indiana. And I just found it funny that the Cavs never got into the conversation.
Oh, what the fuck?
Please let me talk.
It's Riv Academy.
Yeah, it's you're not invited.
I got to sit down and learn, buddy.
Jonathan Isaac blocked Wemby, by the way. It was insane.
What the fuck? What?
Yeah. And Wemby was up there.
Kuminga just threw one of the greatest lobs I've ever seen, by the way.
He's one of the greatest.
Also,
players
Miles
I've ever
Garrett
seen.
won D-Boy.
Oh, okay. Shout out.
Stroud rookie of the year.
Did I pick Miles to win D-Boy?
Might have.
Oh my God, if I did, I won. But to talk about Cleveland, you mentioned the Knicks as having a deep roster. The Cavs have a deep roster, and I think Darius Garland and Evan Mobley's injuries kind of gave them their blessing in disguise because J.B. Bickerstaff had to go deep into the rotation. He had to go really deep, putting in guys like Sam Merrill, if I'm saying his last name correctly. Yeah, Dean Wade coming up, him being a 3-and-D player.
He's a solid ball player.
Isaac Okoro developing that three ball and being, listen, this is no joke. He's been one of the best defenders in the league this year on the wing as a guard defender. You slept, man.
Against second unit players, I'd hope so.
No, he plays. He guards.
Bastard.
Please don't sleep. The continuity there has been there. And I think JB Bickerstaff, he's talked about he doesn't like to go 10 deep. He prefers to go 9 deep. But with the guys that I mentioned have been playing so well, he might have to go 10 deep. And when Garland, he's getting back. He's getting his reps back for sure, dealing with an injury. Mobley, him being 5 or 6 from the three-point line, him getting the stroke back, him being more aggressive when they come back. The Cleveland Cavaliers are a dangerous team, and I think they're different from last year because you need adversity. Sometimes as a young team, when Donovan Mitchell got there, this was a young, fresh team that just lost back-to-back games in the play-in. They lost in Brooklyn. They lost the team to Brooklyn. Then they choked in Atlanta or at Cleveland. I forgot where it was, but they choked against the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young had a masterclass performance. So this team is dealing with that. Donovan Mitchell gets there. They make the splash move. We didn't see it coming, of course. Donovan Mitchell heads over to Cleveland. And this is a young, fresh team with no adversity, no experience, kind of just going away. And they kind of had a great regular season last year, playing well. Garland was well. Donovan Mitchell was well. Jaren Allen was great. Mobley was in DPOY talks. Then they go into the playoffs, and they kind of get their ass beat. And I think that was the wake-up call they needed. And even then, they seen in the beginning more adversity. Darius went down. Mobley went down. This team was banged up in the beginning. And then Donovan Mitchell just put on his backpack and said, I'm one of the best players in the league. Let me remind y'all what playoff Donovan Mitchell used to look like. And he went out there. He improved his playmaking. He's locking down on the defensive end. Offensively, he's just been on a tear. And I think that's what they needed. But they also needed role players to step up. I mean, this team is just – the adversity has only made this team better. And I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are legit. I think we can remember last year, and that's why I didn't – give too much pushback when Dehls said, last year is still in your mind. Because I think last year can 100% be in your mind. I think you can definitely look at last year, the way the Knicks handled them. Randall didn't play well. I believe that series, he was very much either hobbled or they just locked him down. And the Knicks just completely destroyed them. I think you can look at that, and that can be a real concern. But I think you can look at this team, look at the role players that they have around them, look at the guys that have improved. Okoro, Sam, Niang, like Max Strus as a player. Like this team, they don't miss a single miscommunication, a single coverage. Like they are locked in defensively on damn near every single play. They are there at every moment. And then on offense, they know their roles. And when you know your roles from guy 1 to guy 10, that makes it so much more easier on the offensive end to get to your spots, work with the star player. The only concern I have for them is how Darius Garland's going to operate. He's been coming back. He's been on minutes restriction as of late. Has been playing up and down. Starting this year, the 3-ball wasn't there, but he improved in the paint as a finisher in the mid-range. He's been shooting at an elite rate this year. It's just all about that 3-ball. If Darius Garland can be that number 2 guy for them, if he can get into his game and be that complementary piece, I believe they have the role players to make the ECF. I truly believe in Cleveland Cavaliers. I think they're a team that's legit. They've been slept on a lot because last year is still in a lot of people's minds. But I think the Cleveland Cavaliers, 1 through 10, they have a deep roster. They have the collection of shooters. They have the 2 big man lineup that can give the Bucks trouble, that can cause some trouble for other teams like Indiana, like the Knicks. And I think offensively, with Donovan Mitchell playing like this, if Darius Garland can figure out his role and be that complementary number 2 guy, I think the Cavaliers can go to the ECF.
I like it.
Shit.
I like it. I like Rob Dillingham.
Only reason I'm not answering is because he took a shot at me for not acknowledging them when they simply just were a list of the teams that I was going over.
You didn't acknowledge
Screw
them.
you. I
They're
said, oh.
probably the third or second best team in the East.
You could argue they're the second best team in the East.
Them and the Knicks been on fire.
Bro,
15-1, 16-1.
They have the 4th best net rating against top 10 teams.
only reason why he can eat me is because we literally just had a conversation about the Cleveland Cavaliers yesterday. Whenever we went to the basketball game, I said, yo, bro, the Cavaliers, they're here. You said, oh, you're back on?
I did. We did. Because it took you a minute.
I had to see them do it, and they've lost one game in their last 15.
It took you 15.
Well, obviously, we haven't spoken about it in a while, but they've been on an insane tear.
Yeah, because you were done with them. You thought there was
so were
no
you.
way.
You also did too. I remember your tweets.
Yeah, I don't care. It
That
doesn't
was
matter
always
to me.
Yeah,
I'm not asking to be on the train.
you can't.
I'm not on the train. I'm just acknowledging
I don't
that they're
need
playing
you there.
well.
Oh, damn. That's kind of fucked up.
No, he can, honestly, I'll whip it out right now. Go crazy.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Fucking suck me.
Will Anderson, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Texans got both.
Nice.
Damn, yo, he clutched that
Just like
award.
the Jets, man. Last
He
year.
I'm a
clutched
Texans
that
fan.
award.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
New Browns?
Browns were an agenda. I won.
CJ Stroud over Jalen Hurts
Yes.
easily.
Like as a fandom, yes.
And no, just players. Like you think he's better than him?
Shut up. We'll
Yes.
take it.
CJ's better than Jalen Hurts. Like player for player.
That's
Oh.
that's what I thought he was saying.
No, as a fandom.
No, I'm more upset at the fandom than the player.
Nah, me not.
I've never been a Hurts fan.
He's an Eagle.
I'll be honest. If I was an Eagles fan, I would treat Jalen Hurts like he walks on water.
I cannot do that.
Like you did with Russell Wilson.
Exactly.
Okay. Doesn't always end well if you do that.
I didn't even treat. I never treat.
Like
I
you
never,
did with Zach Wilson? Yeah,
Didn't
one's
end
way
well.
fucking worse.
It didn't end well.
That was if you notice, NFL's a
pretty
little
bad.
different. I don't treat anybody on my favorite team like they walk on water. It's a little different.
That's true.
Hey, I don't give nobody any.
Like Smitty. you
Well, I
don't
mean,
treat
the
him
thing
like-
is,
I
like,
don't.
to be
I
fair, the
love
Bulls
Smith.
never
what
really
about
had.
what about
like,
Lane, Jason Kelsey?
Loved them. I don't treat them like they walk on
To
water.
be honest, Jason Kelsey can do no wrong.
No, Lane can do no wrong.
Both
Also
of them.
true.
But
They're
they
both
really don't.
First ballot Hall of Famers.
Yeah, but you
Walk
know,
on water's neck.
no, the
course
only
it
guy
is.
I
Like, it's an
treat like they walk on
exaggeration.
water
Do
is
we
Justin
not-
Jefferson.
Garrett, Sauce, I treat them like they're fucking amazing.
But how many
Yes.
times do
Best
they
players
really?
ever.
Sauce, how many times does he really fuck up?
And
How many
Not
times?
often.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, you have Jalen Hurts as your quarterback.
He's better than Joe Burrow.
Don't be
I've showed him
ungrateful.
respect.
Probably not.
This year, I've become a lot more nicer.
you have. The second you bought in, he started being bad.
Yeah,
Maybe
get
I
back
should
on
stop.
that
You see,
side.
that's a fucking
I wish.
issue right
Yeah,
there.
actually, you know what? Stay over
The
there.
only guy I treat like that is Jettis. But my team, the Eagles, I treat everybody with respect. But I don't like, because it's not the same emotional attachment to the NBA. You know, I am a fan of the Eagles, but it's not the same emotional attachment. So, you know,
I think it's fine if you are more of a fan of CJ Stroud than Jalen Hurts, bro.
I am. I'm and they not. No, that
Yeah,
doesn't
I don't think it matters.
I'm more a
much.
fan of Josh Allen.
I
Than,
mean, listen,
Jalen
whatever
Hurts.
we say shouldn't impact you.
Oh no, it never does.
But just know you're a bitch for it.
You're more
Oh,
of a
I
fan
mean-
of Josh Allen than Jalen Hurts.
Well, that's my favorite player in the NFL.
Yes.
Imagine
Josh
liking
Allen.
3 quarterbacks more than your own.
It's nuts.
3,
I'm just assuming there's another.
2. What other quarterback do I like?
I don't know, Justin Fields.
Oh,
There's only 2 quarterbacks like more than Rodgers.
But
Holy
don't
shit.
you like a quarterback more
Oh,
than your own quarterback? You like Tua more than Russell
But to be
Wilson.
fair,
No,
Pat
I like
Rodgers,
Tua
we just
more
got
than I
Rodgers.
like,
We
what's his
drafted
name?
I'll be honest, Fields.
Rodgers also 40.
Jared Stidham.
You don't like Zach Wilson.
But before,
He's
like,
fine.
No, I'd still take
Like-
Russell.
He's also never
He's
good.
my quarterback.
That's a good point.
you're saying last year you were more of a fan of Russell Wilson than Tua.
Last year, Russell Wilson, I treated him like
See,
I
I
was
don't
getting
wanna-
a gift from God.
I don't want to be an idiot.
Tua had the high highs, so it was you know what I mean.
I'm
Like
louder.
Russ last year was never.
Russ is my quarterback. He's literally my quarterback, whether I like it or not.
I feel like you're known more
He
for
might
being
not
a
be.
Tua fan than a
Because
Russell
Tua
Wilson
is
fan.
30 times better right now,
30.
sadly.
I don't know about that. 15, 10. I think it's dropped.
10?
10.
Okay, whatever. Still
30
a
is a
lot.
little nuts.
10 times, still a fuck ton.
50 mil.
He's getting paid so much.
I was talking about Tua.
He's not going to get 50.
45.
I don't
He'll
think
get
so.
45.
He'll get 40.
be
minimum.
happy.
He'll get 40 minimum.
Daniel Jones got 40. He'll get 40 minimum.
Yeah.
No, that's no. 45 is the bar and minimum.
Probably.
Yeah, Daniel Jones.
But
is
honestly,
the
I
minimum.
don't think they were circulating that he's going to get paid soon. I don't think it's this offseason.
So you're gonna go into a contract year?
I think so.
God bless. What more? I guess playoff wins, right?
You have to.
Because regular season's got all the numbers you want.
brother, it's over.
Oh, don't you?
Tua sucks.
Yeah, it's just so easy to be a Josh Allen fan.
It
It's
is.
so easy.
You
You know what's funny when
CJ's
when
better than Tua already.
Probably.
He was
Yes.
better than Tua in week 4.
you know what's funny when his
Okay,
guy
when
starts to
he
struggle.
lost-
he tries to take shots at your guy. How it's
What do
so
you
easy
mean?
to be a fan.
How
of
am I
who you're
taking
a fan
shots at him? He's amazing. The number 2 quarterback in the league.
I was a Josh Allen fan.
It's not his fault that he's a fan of an amazing player.
Like, if it was so easy, I would just immediately be
Like,
yeah,
Josh was elite every year. He was ass at one point.
He was. No, he was.
First 2
He
years.
was.
You chose to root for mid.
Wait,
Like,
again, but there's
You do
reasons
choose
why.
that. You choose that a lot. You've done it a lot.
I don't-
Daniel Jones.
You know what's funny
Tua.
about
But
that?
he's been a Tua fan since college.
Yes.
In college, Tua was a fucking
Since
dog.
day one.
So if anything, you're the real Glazer here. Josh Allen with the fucking Wyoming.
Yes.
Tua with Alabama.
But you waited till he was in the league and he showed you that
he
he
was
great.
ass. No, I waited till he league and he was garbage.
Well, all I know is that
he
you
was a
loved
Josh
him.
Allen fan before he was a lead.
and you was a Tua fan when he
What
was
made
top
you like
five in
Josh
the
Allen?
world.
When he was I was a Tua fan when he first was chosen to play in the national championship.
Came in at halftime, replaced Hurts.
And then after that, top 5.
I mean, in college, it was tank for Tua.
And he was left-handed. It was
That
love at
too.
first
What
sight.
made you love Josh Allen? Because he didn't have a lot of fans coming to college. Madden?
Yes.
Okay.
Madden.
I
Or you
respect
like downloaded draft class the year before?
One, no, it was he was his rookie year, and me and my brother we do this. I told Joel this. I did this with Mahomes. We pick a face of a rookie, we grab him up, change his name, make it ours, and then we
Wait,
just
why?
go.
So Josh
Why'd
Allen
you
was
pick
River
Josh
Brown?
Allen? You don't
Yes.
look alike.
I see it.
No, he had
You saw
he
Christian
had
McCaffrey said
he had
that
the
Cam and
strongest
Brock
arm.
Purdy look alike.
So he had the
Cam
strong-
Newton?
Same thing with Mahomes. Mahomes had like Josh had like a 99 throwing power.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, because the rookies were like, who was that year? That was what year was that?
That was Darnold.
Darnold and shit. I didn't
Yeah.
want to be them.
So Riv,
Baker,
CRB
Darnold,
asked you a
Josh,
question.
Rosen.
He goes, "Dear Riv, should I keep faith in my Warriors or should I give up? I've been a Warriors fan for over 10 years."
What the fuck? They have 4 rings. You're fine. Give up.
What's wrong with you?
I think it
wrong? Oh my
depends
God.
on what he's asking. Give up on the season? Yes, the season's
Nobody
over.
has any loyalty anymore.
It's okay, but I think you
It's
can
the
look
face
at
of it too. This
if,
fucking
if
guy.
if you have Steph Curry, you have Draymond. Think about this. The season's over, but next season maybe. You know.
Truck in
rid
the
of Corey
USA
Joseph. W.
goes, Mo Wagner just dunked all over Wemby. He wanted us to know that.
Tough day for
He
Wemby.
sent a
Got
super
blocked.
chat.
Mo Wagner.
Mo Wagner, yes.
Oh, sweet.
So top 10 players of the Super Bowl. We can now transition to this part of the episode. Before we do that, shout out to Prize Picks, which is our sponsor. You see on the top left of the screen, we got the code PAS to get you a 100% deposit match up to $100. This weekend, it's the big game. We're going to give you guys our Demons and Goblins, some entries we have for Prize Picks. It's very easy to download the app. It's available in over 30 states. You go to the App Store, download Prize Picks, sign up using your information, and then when you deposit, use our code PAS and you get a 100% deposit match up to $100. It's fun. It's like a game. You just pick on player statistics. You go more or less, and you can do up to 2 to 6 entries. You can't do just one. It's 2 or more.
Yep.
And based on these Demons and Goblins, the Demons, it gets you higher odds, which means that you get a bigger payout. And the Goblins are lower odds, which means a lesser payout, but you got better odds to win whatever you enter. So yeah, use the code PAS and download Prize Picks. Link is in our bio. On to the Super Bowl. I want to start off with this, just something quick, just breezing by this.
Can I also talk something real quick on Prize Pick that kind
Yes.
of just pissed me off?
Yes.
They took out Jake Moody for 1 field goal.
Should have got it when it was there.
Damn, I'm pissed.
They knew it was a lock.
It was a lock. That's a lock for sure. Now it's 2 field goals.
Mm.
He could hit that, but 1 was such a gimme.
You have to take over 2, so you have to 3.
He has to 2. It's
okay.
it's 1.5.
Oh, gotcha.
One
It's
is good.
more than
Jake
two.
Moody be missing field goals.
That's why, yeah.
Which is why I felt good with 1.
Yeah.
1 was for sure. Bro, a couple of weeks ago, you were the one that showed me the Harrison Bucker 1 field goal. I look at those every week since then.
Yeah,
That's a come up.
fucking nuts.
Week 1 next year, gotta remember that.
Yeah, have to.
Top 10 players in the Super Bowl this weekend. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes.
What are we doing? Not going from 10 to 1?
Well, I mean, what's the suspense with 1 being
Let's
Mahomes?
go 1 to 10.
Should we just do one list?
We should do one list.
Because doing 4 lists, too many, you know?
All right, so we all agree 1 is Mahomes.
One
What the
is
hell did I
Mahomes.
put in this work for?
I think 2 is easy for me as well.
CMC.
CMC.
Christian
yes.
McCaffrey.
I do have
Yes.
CMC also.
3 is Chris Jones.
I have Chris Jones at 3.
Oh my god.
I have Travis Kelce.
I have
at
Travis
3.
Kelce.
Shit,
I have
you're
Kelsey,
right.
I have
All right.
Kelsey at 4.
I only have Kelce because in the playoffs he's
a
taken
dog.
it to
He
a whole
is,
other level.
undoubtedly.
They're flippable.
Travis Kelce
having
has
Kelsey at
passed
3.
Jerry Rice records in the
Yeah.
playoffs.
So you want to put Kelsey at 3?
I'm thinking Kelce 3.
Cool with that.
Chris Jones 4? Or Trent Williams?
I have Trent Williams at 4 for me personally.
I have Trent Williams at 4.
Yo,
too.
talk. We're here.
That
Nah,
was
we're having the same list so far.
So that was just me and you?
If you could put Trent at 4, that's fine.
Are you?
Cool with that.
Trent's fine at 4.
All right, number 5.
Chris Jones is here.
You're gonna be upset at me?
Put Snead?
Oh, we haven't put Chris Jones here yet.
No.
I have Nick Bosa.
So far, the top 4 is Mahomes,
That's pretty
CMC, Kelsey, Trent Williams. So 5 is going to be between Bosa or Chris Jones.
I would put Jones.
If you guys have Chris,
I would have Chris
I'll
Jones.
happily defer. I have
Chris
Nick.
Jones.
Obviously, we
Won't
know
even count.
his
I think
highs.
I'd put Snead.
Over Bosa? Yeah. Oh, Lord.
It's 3-1, buddy.
No,
Chris Jones is number 5.
most definitely.
Yeah,
I don't know if I could put Snead over Nick Bosa.
I would have Bosa next.
Yes.
I might put Snead.
But
But
let
you
me
know,
ask you guys a
if I
question.
get
You
outvoted,
also
that's
went
fine.
Chris Jones over Bosa?
Yeah.
Is it for the run stop, or is you just think he can get to the? He's just more of an impact player.
No, Chris Jones this year has actually been one of the worst run defenders in the league.
Okay, I was wondering.
But it's because in the regular season, he had no incentive to. So he was giving up on run plays pretty much because he didn't want to get injured.
I mean, also it's translated to the playoffs. They haven't been that successful.
No, in the playoffs, he's been awesome.
I'm just saying in general for them.
Yeah, but in the playoffs, Chris Jones has been awesome in like his run gaps and stuff. Like he's been very disciplined. In the regular season, he was terrible because for his career, he's always been a great run defender.
He
That's
has.
why I know he is one.
Correct.
But yeah, he's better at affecting the game, in my opinion. And that's why I have him over Nick Bosa. I think Nick Bosa, his aggressiveness can lead him to being undisciplined in the run game. And that's been a huge liability with the 49ers defense. Chris Jones, just an interior defensive player, I think in this day and age has more impact.
I understand, especially because he gets to the quarterback at the amount that he does. I'm happy with that. And then 6, we're going Bosa.
Cool with that.
6 has to be Nick Bosa.
Now Snead.
7, I have Snead.
I'm cool
Number
with Snead at
7 is
Yep.
Jarius Snead.
Okay.
Number 8, you guys
Ayuk?
are gonna hate this. I have Brock here.
Oh,
I have Brendan Ayuk.
Brock's not
number
my
8.
top 10.
I know this, and which is why I felt like I should go first. I know none of you guys have Brock Purdy in your top 10. I don't know if he adjusted.
I adjusted. No, I adjusted. When he was taking a shit,
To me,
Purdy's at 10.
I feel like Brock has to be here for the fact of when we see him play at his best, we understand that the offense follows suit, and that's when we've seen the San Francisco 49ers at their best.
He's the quarterback.
But exactly my point. But we've seen him play at that level.
I don't mind him at 10. I have him at 10.
In terms of their success rate, they're right underneath the Kansas City Chiefs in this playoff run so far. So obviously we've seen Patrick Mahomes. He's definitely been better than Brock. But I'm just saying in terms of total offense, drop back success rate, he's right underneath him. I believe that Chiefs are at 54. He's at 52, if I'm not
second
mistaken.
half should move the needle.
But against the Packers, too, also in the rain,
quarter.
he had a great drive.
There's also a stat out there that for every 4 dropbacks, Brock Purdy has a negative play on one of them. 23% of his dropbacks, there's a negative play. It's a negatively graded play, which would be the highest amongst any quarterback that had 200 dropbacks in the regular season. I don't think, at least what my eyes have been telling me, Brock Purdy for the entirety of these playoffs has been that good. I think he's put the ball in harm's way a lot. And when I think about best player, because if this is a list of who needs to play the best for their team to win, Brock Purdy is in the top 10 because he can't be terrible. He has to play well. But when we talk about pound for pound, who's a better player, I look at where you rank in your respective position.
Mm-hmm.
So Fred Warner is at the top of his class at his position with Roquan Smith. So I think Fred Warner, respective to his position, is better than Brock Purdy at his.
I have Fred.
Same thing with Ayuk and same thing with Debo.
I
I
also
have
wanna
the
clarify.
receivers next. I have Ayuk and Debo. I have Ayuk 8, Debo 9. If you want to
Same.
put it the other way, I'm cool with that.
I got the same list.
I just want to clarify. I apologize. It was one after the other when it came to dropback EPA. The Chiefs are at 2.94. The San Francisco 49ers are at 2.40. So when it comes to success rate, the Chiefs have been more successful than the 49ers. But I do have Debo Samuel on my list. Brandon Ayuk was just the name off because I had respect for Fred Warner, who
Debo over Kittle?
I personally have Debo over
Kittle would be my first name off. He'd be 11
Same.
if I had to do that.
I have Ayuk and Debo 8 and 9. That's mine. And number 10 to me is Fred Warner.
Yes, I would have the same 8, 9, 10.
Fred Warner got fried versus the Lions. I understand that, but for the entirety of the season, I'll be remiss if there's been another middle linebacker.
I'm
Which
not
is
taking
why
that
I'm
game.
keeping respect to him. And I feel like Brock has been, although there are moments where you'd want him to play better, especially that first half against the Lions, I still think for what he's given us all season long, I'm going to give him that respect.
Brock to me is 13. I would have McDuffie and then George Kittle.
We'd have to decide between basically, do we have both receivers in the top
No,
10? Would you have
again,
Ayuk and Debo?
I'm
You have
outvoted.
Kittle?
I'm fine with I'm fine with Ayuk and Debo at 8 and 9.
Okay.
I don't mind Kittle.
So
but I'm
10
fine.
is based between Fred or Brock Purdy. That's what we have to decide.
I don't know if I can give. I don't
Or
know if I can give
McDuffie.
Fred. McDuffie's cool.
I have McDuffie off my list, just off, right underneath Brandon Ayuk. Again, the only difference with your guys' list and mine is I have Brock. That's it. But I understand. I'm cool with putting Debo.
I'm fine with Debo. I don't know if I can give you Fred over Brock, though.
I have Brock 8 on mine, so I feel like just my 2 cents. I would like him to be in our list, but I know you two don't, and I know he does.
McDuffie over Brock?
McDuffie's been awesome. I can't put him over.
This is an offensive lineman, but Creed Humphrey over Brock? He's the best center in the league.
No.
Left tackle center, it's a little different.
Trent's just like the best in the
Although Jason Kelsey has a huge impact, so does Creed. I don't know. Is Creed better than Jason?
Now, yeah.
Well, now that he's retired.
No, I'm talking about like this
Jason
past
retired.
season off of what they had. Like Creed is better.
His first team All-Pro was
Creed is-
Mickey Mouse?
Creed's better than who?
He was still great, but just not the best center.
Creed's better than who?
Then
Jason
your boy,
Kelsey
Jason.
right now.
Oh! All right, we'll talk about that another time. You're saying you're putting Fred over Brock because he's the best at his position?
It's 1 or 2.
Does positional value not matter, though? Because QB is way more important than
It's
linebacker.
just, I don't know. It's just
Which is why I
10
had
best
Brock at 8.
players in the Super Bowl.
That's the
For the-
reason I had him at 8.
For the 49ers defense, what Fred Warner does is just as valuable to their defense as what quarterback is to the offense.
Just as valuable?
Yeah, like Fred Warner, what he does to his
It's not
defense,
just
he-
as
he's
valuable.
calling
I don't
out.
think there's no.
Let's
Yeah,
not
but
get caught in semantics.
He's
Let's
calling
not get
out-
caught in semantics. I understand your sentiment.
He's the
It's not
quarterback of
just
the
as
defense.
correct.
Yeah,
That is what it
because
is.
you look
Okay,
at
100%.
a guy like Roquan Smith. Before he got to the Ravens, they weren't a top
It was
5
bad.
defense.
Defense
He
was not
got
good.
there, and they became the first ranked defense in the league. Fred Warner has that type of impact with the 49ers and how he commands the middle and the intermediate area of the field. The Niners are one of the best defenses against that area, and that's in large part due to his zone
But
coverage.
them
and
playing
recognition.
that defense playing in the playoffs does that not warrant you to not put him on this top 10 list? Because they haven't.
The
been
defense
great.
hasn't been that
Believe
good.
it or not,
No.
it's been a little bit better than what has been
It's been all right.
advertised.
It's been all right.
I think their pass defense has been getting a lot more disrespect than probably what it
For sure.
actually is.
Yeah.
Their run defense is not good. It's not good. But I feel like their pass defense, the way that they played against the Packers,
I'd
in second
even-
half
If we get
was
voted, if I
fine.
get voted, if we get, well, we are not actually not going to get voted off.
I mean,
it's
I'd even
2-2.
put in George Kittle or McDuffie. McDuffie is number 3 in the amount of times he blitzes as a defensive back in the league. A lot of the pressures that Steve Spagnuolo dials up is with McDuffie, and then he's one of the most he's one of the best players in coverage. He's a lead in coverage. So you're talking about a cornerback who is in the lead in coverage, and then he's pressuring the quarterback, which is leading to negative plays on that side. So
as Santos said.
Where's Ronnie Bell?
I did see that.
So McDuffie for sure. I feel like he was an all pro.
Did you also see that without Amenahu, they blitz a lot, but they don't get home that often?
They blitz maybe 4% more. Yeah, they don't get his home as often with the Menahu.
Without him. Mhm.
Yeah, that doesn't worry me though.
I'm fine with McDuffie. I don't care.
I would have Fred over McDuffie.
I would have Fred over McDuffie also. But again, the only
I'm meant to
difference
say
in our
I'm fine,
list.
I'm fine with Fred. I'll concede.
Okay, 3-1.
So what's that? The top 10 is Mahomes, CMC, Kelsey, Trent, Nick Bosa, Chris Jones, L'Jarius Sneed, Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel, and Fred Warner.
That's disrespectful to Brock, but whatever.
I just don't want to have
like 13.
I don't want to have
maybe,
the
give or
30th
take.
Brock Purdy debate argument. I'm truly sick of those, so I'll concede.
This is where the Brock Purdy. This is where I divide. Where it's like best players in this game is where I can't have Brock in the no top 5, no top 10 conversation. The players in this, we got all pros all over this place. You know, what I mean, we got Hall of
Pretty sure
Famers
they're
all
all
over
pro.
the place. With all due respect, huh? What? Say again.
Truck in the USA made
Not the
his
truck in
list.
USA.
1 Mahomes, 2 CMC, 3 Trent Will, 4 Kelsey, 5 Chris Jones, 6 Bosa, 7 Sneed, 8 Ayuk, 9 Warner, 10 Samuel, 11 Kittle, 12 McDuffie, 13 Purdy, 14 Rice, and 15 Creed Humphrey.
It's not a bad list at all.
That's
Having
a pretty
Rice
good list.
over, he has Rice over
Rice
Humphrey.
a little high. I don't know if I'd have him over Humphrey.
I wouldn't have him over Humphrey either.
I think Rashee Rice, I feel like all season long has been
That's slept,
underappreciated.
It's been amazing.
Underappreciated.
Y'all slept, man.
We were here.
Yeah, we were here.
Yeah, I was here with Rashee Rice for sure.
I've been here, man.
We were just saying once he breaks out, once he breaks out, once he breaks
He
out.
always
and he
broke out
did.
to me. It's just happened in my dreams. Now
Oh,
it's
yeah.
happening
Now it's a
in real life.
reality. What's he going for on Sunday?
He's going to have a good
definitely
game.
8 receptions, 85.
Okay. So
You
you're
give me
taking,
that
you're
vibe?
taking the Moran prize picks.
Oh, when do I not?
You
That's
said the other
never-
day.
He's
you were
always
gonna
a
take
more
the
guy.
last.
I said that one time. I did. But
Play.
no, I think he's going for an 8 receptions, 85.
It's going to be interesting to see how they defend Kelsey and Rashee. understand
tough.
Tarvarius is a
They're gonna
fucking
put Fred
legend.
Warner and Kelsey.
If they do that, Kelsey could be Super Bowl MVP. And that's no
The
slight.
greatest ever.
That's no slight. I just think that he could just have an unbelievable game. It's going to be Mahomes if they win, obviously, because it's Mahomes.
Kelsey
It's
really
how it
just
goes.
pulled the Jimmy Butler.
Playoff
Just
time
saying,
and
just
waking
turn
the
the shit
fuck
on.
up.
Like
Yeah.
he just woke up and was like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
That's what the entire Chiefs team just
Yeah,
did,
that's
realistically.
aggravating. He just all right.
I hate them.
It's disrespectful, man.
To who?
To what you just said. The defense has been this elite all year long.
Defense has been elite,
Okay,
undoubtedly.
Jesus Christ.
The
I'm
offense,
talking
though,
offense.
the offense,
The offense was never terrible. It was
It wasn't
11.
good.
It was
but
ranked
took-
11th.
It wasn't good.
It took a stop.
You
it
could
took a
admit that
notch
11th
up.
was a
we
little
did
fraudulent.
we did the Chiefs offense against playoff teams. They averaged like 18 points per game, 19 points per game.
In the regular
They beat
season,
one playoff team.
they
It was the
didn't
Dolphins.
they didn't run Travis Kelce on routes as often.
He was injured a lot.
He was banged
Also,
up throughout the
they
year.
they limited his snap count a ton, and
Smart.
now he's unleashed.
It's paying off. Yeah,
Now
they sat week
Basically,
15,
load managed, bro.
Now
They-
57% of
they
the targets
executed very highly.
goes to Rice and goes to Kelsey.
Right, understandably so.
But this
Wouldn't throw
team
to
has
anyone
been
else.
an elite team all year.
They beat one good team.
But they were an elite defense, and if
They
you
were
got
an
an elite
elite
defense, you got Patrick Mahomes.
There's
you're
no,
an elite
there's
team.
no shit. There's no shit talking them
They're in
anymore.
the Super
No,
Bowl
they
for
got it.
sure. I'm just saying the regular season.
Sadly, they got it.
A little shaky.
When's shit
Oh,
gonna
we
be
could
over, man?
start on the Chiefs offense versus the 49ers defense. And Dehls, let's start with you. What do you think about this matchup? How do you think the Chiefs offense can exploit what the Niners are doing, and how do you think the Niners can counteract whatever they do?
I'm curious to see what the 49ers are going to be willing to give up to this Chiefs offense, because throughout the last few seasons, we've seen defenses allow Patrick Mahomes to take the underneath stuff, the short stuff, saying, listen, we're going to play a lot of too high. We're not going to let you get beat down the field. But this playoffs, Mahomes has been throwing it down the field 20-plus yards, more than he has basically in his entire career. The only year that's comparable is 2019. This season, 8.7% of his attempts are 20-plus yards. The last 3 years, 7%, 5.7, 6.8. And that 2019 season I mentioned was at 8.9%. And just the way Mahomes has progressed, of course, year one, he was damn near the best quarterback in the league. Now he's undisputed best quarterback in the league, and it's not Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. It's Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady and Joe Montana. This is the type of dude he's become just in year six. And the mental progression he has had, I think he even said in an interview, it took him to his second or third year to really understand defenses, be able to read them in the pre-snap adjustments. He has every trick in his bag, right? It's hard for the 49ers when I'm looking at their defense, if I'm trying to be their defensive coordinator, try to get into the mind to figure out what I would do against Patrick Mahomes, there's no easy fix, right? There's no blitzing like you did against, well, not them, but blitz against Jalen Hurts, right? There's nothing that obvious that there's a super big weakness on the Chiefs offense that you could just straight up exploit. If you play zone against him, he's been great against zone in the postseason. If you play man against him, you basically have to have a spy there because he's one of the best scramblers, especially on third down, extending drives, extending plays. And the one area that I think he could be quote unquote exposed, or really the one area that he's struggled with this season, was against the blitz. In the postseason, he completed just 62% of his passes, only one big time throw per PFF, and an 80.7 passer rating. To be fair, in the regular season, he was really good against the blitz. 10th highest passer rating, 7-2 touchdown interception ratio, 3% turnover-worthy play rate. But the one area he struggled all season long, regular season and postseason, is when he's under pressure. Now, it's difficult to pressure Patrick Mahomes as is, just because even though the offense line's going to be a bit more banged up, but he's just so mobile inside and outside the pocket that you could get pressure on him and he's able to escape it and find guys downfield and, make these crazy throws that we've seen really throughout his career. But this season specifically, especially in the playoffs, he's only completed 45% of his passes and a 68 passer rating when he's under pressure. So the 49ers way, if you want to somehow limit this offense or be able to hone in on Patrick Mahomes, you have to get pressure there. The thing is, it's difficult to do that. Now, with the injuries to their offensive line, with Tooney being out, I think there's more hope. You could just send 4 and get pressure there. But I just know Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are going to have an answer for that.
Yep.
I just know they're going to be able to, whatever they're going to send at him on the defensive side of the ball, they're going to have an answer. Regular season, he struggled against the blitz as well. 5 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 20th in passer rating. But if the 49ers want to limit Patrick Mahomes, and if they want to win this game, I think they're going to have to send some sort of exotic blitzes where they're going to have to figure out a way to blitz Patrick Mahomes in a way that maybe the Niners haven't shown on film this season, which is going to be difficult to do. We have basically 4 or 5 months of
Unbelievable
film
amount.
out there.
Yeah,
It's going to be very difficult to do. And when you do blitz him, if you do not get pressure, you are screwed. So when you send more than 4 guys, you have to get him under pressure. If you're able to make him uncomfortable in the pocket, that's when we've seen, especially in the regular season, he have those mistakes. So it's going to be very difficult to do. It's easier said than done, but that's the one area I see for the 49ers defense to be able to attack this Chiefs offense, send some exotic blitzes, get him under pressure, try to force a turnover.
It's going to be a very, very interesting game, if you ask me. I'll say this: Joel hit a lot of topics when it comes to, of course, Mahomes and the success rate when he's faced against certain defenses. But I'm just going to talk about the offense generally, where, of course, EPA-wise, they've had a lot of success in this postseason. And when it comes to dropback success rate, they've had a lot of success this season. But I talked about the Niners' defense, their pass defense, and I feel like it's been getting a little bit overblown about how bad it's been, where right now in the postseason, they rank 4th in terms of dropback success rate of 43.9, basically 44%. Number 1 is the Kansas City Chiefs at 41.3. So they've been better, the Kansas City Chiefs, but not that far off. There is the San Francisco 49ers. Where the San Francisco 49ers do struggle is stopping the run. We saw Aaron Jones do it. We saw David Montgomery do it. We saw Jahmyr Gibbs do it. And although he did have a fumble, he obviously was effective early on in that game. The one thing I will say that is a weakness, if there were to be one on this Kansas City Chiefs team, would be their rush offense in terms of efficiency. Where Isaiah Pacheco, when we talk about prize picks later, I'm going more on the touchdowns. I think he's going to be able to get into the end zone because they're going to be able to move the ball early on in this game. I do believe so. We've seen the Niners to be a second-half team in these playoffs so far. The Chiefs have proven to be a second-half team throughout the entirety of the career, but throughout the entirety of Mahomes' career. But this season more so, it's been establish your game early on, like we saw against the Ravens, like we saw against Miami early on in the season. Get your points early in the game. Hold defensively in the second half. Of course, they would have like to score in the second half. They're not trying not to score, but we've seen them successful in the first, not so successful in the second, but the defense hold. In this matchup, we've seen Isaiah Pacheco be able to do a job, but not overly successful, where on the ground they've only had a success rate of 31.2. And if you look at going up against the Niners, I think Pacheco still will be able to have himself a solid game. I do expect him to get into the end zone, but at least there's one thing that you can hold on to if you're the Niners defense is, hey, Patrick Mahomes has been really good this postseason, but we have the players on the line to pressure him. Mahomes is still going to be able to evade. He's still going to be able to do his normal scramble, evade pressure, move for a first down. I don't have concerns about Rashee. I know that Travis Kelce's going to have himself an amazing ball game, especially with the way that he's been playing. I do have my concerns about this Chiefs offensive line, but I had concerns against the Baltimore Ravens with their offensive line, and that proved to be a non-factor as he only got sacked once in that game. So it's going to be a tough matchup for this Niners defense, especially if Pacheco gets going, because if Pacheco gets going, then it's really all hands on deck if you're the San Francisco 49ers. But the key, like Joel mentioned, 100%, is to make him as uncomfortable as possible. That's the key every time you go up against Patrick Mahomes, but we've seen teams so often fail to do so. I think the key is Nick Bosa needs to be a game changer. We need to see Chase Young have his best game as a 49er this upcoming Sunday. But I still believe that the Chiefs will be able to put up a good amount of points on this defense. I think that it won't be as difficult to come across points, obviously, against the Baltimore Ravens. But I think the Niners defense is just slightly better than what it's been given credit for so far this postseason. But do anticipate Patrick Mahomes to have a solid game.
The Niners defense concerns me. They concern me because Steve Wilks is predictable. How they line up defensively, they're a 4-down front defense, which means that there's only going to be 4 defensive linemen on the line of scrimmage, and they're going to have their 3 linebackers back with their defensive backs behind them, 4 of them. They're going to be in a lot of base defense, and what happens when you do that is, if you have 4 defensive linemen on the line of scrimmage and you have 5 offensive linemen on the line of scrimmage, you're leaving bubbles in these gaps for running backs to run through. And because of how hyper-aggressive these defensive linemen have been, Nick Bosa, Chase Young, they're susceptible to run to the outside. You saw the Packers get them on that. You saw the Lions get them on that on the touchdown that Jameson Williams scored on. So I think that they're going to have a tough time stopping the run. This year. They rank 28th in EPA per run. On pin and pull runs, they are very susceptible. They're 30th in adjusted line yards to the left and 20th to the right. This is a terrible run defense. And I think while they will attack the middle of this defense, I think that if they don't have Joe Thuney, it's probably going to be better if they go to the outside because you're going to run into Hargrave and Armstead, and they can probably overwhelm one of the guards. But when you have 5 versus 4, you can double team one of those guys. So there's just gaps in this run defense that just the way they play, the foundation, their philosophy, they allow a lot of big-time runs. So I think that Pacheco actually has a case or a dark horse case to be one of the best offensive players in this game.
He has a strong chance to do so.
And I look at the Niners defense. I think it's predictable, and I think right now they're lacking in getting pressure. 80% of the time, they're only sending 4. So they're not blitzing. They're rarely blitzing. You know what they're going to do. Whatever they show whatever they show pre-snap, they're doing post-snap. They've only blitzed on 7.7 dropbacks like all year. You know, they're not blitzing much. They trust their 4-man rush because oftentimes their 4-man rush overwhelms offensive lines. In the playoffs, they have a 37.2 pressure percentage, which would rank 12th. And in the regular season, they had a 7.2% sack rate. In the playoffs, it's been 2.3. They have not been able to get after the quarterback. Now, one of those instances, you're facing Jordan Love, who doesn't take sacks, and then you're facing Jared Goff, who has a great offensive line. But Mahomes, who is historically great at not taking sacks, I think it's going to be tough to trust your 4-man rush to get home on him and to get pressure. And the Chiefs this year are number 1 in pass block win rate in the NFL. I do worry with some of the matchups. I think Bosa can overwhelm Jawan Taylor. Sure. I think Chase Young can get the better of Donovan Smith.
He might be starting on Sunday.
I think he will start still. You know, like Nick Allegretti is going to be playing for Joe Thuney, and you're going to have Hargrave or Armstead on him. You know, there are matchups to be had on this offensive line, but I think they're going to do a great job at chipping and just giving Bosa different looks and different blocks. So you just buy Mahomes that split second of time to allow passes. Nick Allegretti, he subbed in for Joe Thuney last week, and he was terrible. He allowed 4 pressures, a sack. He wasn't good, and it was a big reason why they weren't able to get their offense going in the second half. And then against the pass, I think how I envision the Chiefs going out there is I think they're going to go out there in heavier personnel. I think they're going to run a lot of 13 personnel. They're going to try to really run the ball on San Fran, but they've also been great at passing out of those looks because compared to the playoffs and the regular season, Travis Kelce has been used more as an inline tight end, and that has allowed him to be more of a pass catcher on these play action passes or just getting the defense into a base look so he has mismatches. And considering the 49ers play a lot of zone defense, I just think that Mahomes is going to carve that apart. I think when you look at Mahomes, the stats versus where he is on the spectrum of how great he is don't correlate because there's no doubt in my mind that this year Mahomes is better than when he had 50 touchdowns. So he's better than last year as well. Mahomes has matured so much in his process and mentally that we know he can be a game changer, but like the Ravens in the second half, they didn't score. He also was being super cautious with the ball because when they needed a first down, he made that play to MVS, which, you know, the gravity of Travis Kelce allowed that to happen. But Mahomes, when the chips are on the line, he's going to make a play. And I just think that right now he knows the defense that he has on the field. He's just being smart and not having negative plays. He hasn't had negative plays in the playoffs since dating back to last year pretty much. And I think that Travis Kelce now in the playoffs, he's been unlocked much more. He's been averaging more yards run per route in the slot and in line as a tight end. The Rashee Rice matchup concerns me a little bit, actually.
Makes sense.
Because 27% of his routes come from crossing routes. And when you play a zone defense, you're not running away from a particular man. So on those crossing routes, you're running into another spaces where players are in those zones. And I also think that if they man up on some occasions, if Charvarius Ward is that matchup, I think Charvarius Ward is just going to get the better of that. So Rashee Rice in this game worries me. But I think if they're able to run the ball well, I think a big part of this game is going to be screen passes. The Niners are one of the worst defenses against screens. I think they're going to get a lot of screens out to Pacheco or to the boundary, to Rasheed or to Kelsey. I think the Chiefs are going to run the ball. They're going to incorporate a lot of quick and screen passes. And Kelsey in those vacated zones, I think he's going to do a great job of sitting down and just finding a lane for Mahomes to throw into. I think the Chiefs offense is going to have a really great game against the Niners on Sunday. I don't feel comfortable or confident in this Niners defense at all. Based off what I've seen in these playoffs, I feel like there's just a lot of holes there that a more mature play caller and quarterback, they'd exploit.
I don't think that's wrong to say. I think we just watched Mahomes put on, elite game managing performances against the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. I want to say two different type of defense that provided two different type of game plans, and he pretty much exploited both. Granted, he didn't score a lot in the second half of either games, but like you mentioned it, which is extremely important, not many turnovers. Not really no turnovers, no turnover-worthy plays, just not putting the offense in terrible positions, just being the perfect game manager while also giving you a hint of some game-breaking plays, some big-time moments. And I think that's what he's going to have to do. And I think he's been doing that, and I think it's easy to say, we have Mahomes, the offense is going to be fine, because truthfully, that's all you have to say. He's shown you that over history that if you have Mahomes, no matter who's out there, he's going to be great. They're going to run the ball. I think that's just like the easiest thing to say. They're going to run the ball. You're going to see a lot of Kelsey and mismatches, Mahomes making short routes, plays. Like, it's not going to be – I don't think they're going to have a shit ton of big plays, but there's going to be a lot of 3rd and 5s, good one, 2nd and 6s, like those type of plays. And I think with this Niners defense, what we saw from the Lions game is that there is a lot of holes, but at the same time, their run defense is very vulnerable. Even when they do – hop out of zone and they go in the man, sometimes they're still not good, so I think this Chiefs offense can have a day. I think to stop this Chiefs offense is for the Niners to have a complete perfect offensive game. I think they're going to have to, that Niners offense is going to have a lot of pressure, because I think this Chiefs offense is going to be able to score at an efficient rate. And I think defensively, the fact that they can stop any offense in the league, the Niners are going to have to play perfect ball in the offensive end. They're going to have to limit the Brock Purdy's going to have to limit the turnovers, limit the turnover-worthy plays. He's not going to be able to take sacks. Like, he's going to have to be more perfect than what Mahomes has already been, because I think this defense for the Chiefs, it just gives you so many opportunities. It gives you so many leeways. And even though Mahomes hasn't made any mistakes, even if he did, this Chiefs defense is just so good. They put you in pretty much perfect position that they can stop any offense in the league right now. So I think with Mahomes and Kelsey, like Pacheco it definitely should be a dark horse, because I think him running the ball, he's going to have to go up the middle, hit the sides. But I think Mahomes is kind of going to have one of those games, kind of like when he played against the Chiefs. Like, it is going to be big-time statistical, but you're going to look at it, watch it.
The Ravens, you mean?
No, I'm talking against the Eagles, pardon me, in the Super Bowl, where it may not be the statistical dominance, but if you watch it, he had a great game. He was able to. He was
perfect.
Yeah, he had a great game. And I think a lot of pressure is going to be on the Niners offense, but I think the Chiefs offense will be fine.
Do you think that the Niners offense is going to struggle?
There's definitely opportunities for it to struggle. If the Chiefs get out to an early lead and now they have to pass consistently, and now CMC is not going to be able to be as much of as relied on as much, I think that, it can struggle.
Yeah.
That's where you do have your worries, because the Kansas City Chiefs are the number 1 defense in terms of drop-back success rate in the postseason so far.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, if we want to get into the 49ers offense,
Yeah.
the Chiefs defense, I think regardless of game script, the 49ers offense is going to struggle. These last 2 weeks, the 49ers offense has been far from perfect, and they've been able to win just because straight up I think they've been more talented than the opposition, especially when we look at that Packers game, who was, I don't want to call them in over their head because that's discrediting them, but when you look, especially coming into the season, the expectations for the Packers, the expectations for the 49ers, of course, Jordan Love breaks out, top 10 quarterback, and the conversation changes, but these last 2 weeks they've won, but I haven't really been impressed or moved to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, Brock Purdy is ready to go up against Spags in this defense, and he's going to have himself a day. So regardless if the Niners get up early, the Chiefs get up early, I think they're going to struggle. And the number one thing I'm looking for the 49ers offense versus the Chiefs defense is Shanahan versus Spags, right? When I was talking about at least the Chiefs, it was how is Patrick Mahomes going to have success against the Niners defense personnel-wise? But to me, this is coaching, because you have Spags, who blitzes the most out of basically everyone in the league, and you have Brock Purdy, who has been one of the best quarterbacks against the blitz in the NFL. Over these last 3 games, against Tua, talking about the Chiefs defense, against Tua, he was pressured or he was blitzed on 28% of dropbacks. Tua struggled. He completed 4 of 11 passes. Against Josh Allen, he blitzed on 29% of dropbacks, so about the same. Allen had a lot more success. He was 8 for 11, got the ball out within 2.2 seconds. Against Lamar, he blitzed by far the most, 43% of his dropbacks, and Lamar struggled, completed less than 50% of his passes. He held onto the ball way too long, 3.4 seconds. Look at Josh at 2.2 seconds. A lot of that was Lamar running around, trying to find somebody. Wasn't able to do it. But Brock Purdy against the blitz this year, 2nd in completion percentage, 1st in yards per attempt, 1st in passing touchdowns, 1st in passer rating. So you really have strength versus strength here, where Spags is able to come up with these exotic blitzes and probably show stuff that Purdy hasn't seen so far in his NFL career. Spags, I think, has solidified himself coming into this postseason as one of the top defensive minds, but as we stand now, probably the best defensive coordinator in the NFL. The Chiefs blitzed at the 5th highest mark this regular season, had a 63% success rate, which is 3rd best in the NFL. And then you have Purdy and Shanahan, who were one of the best against the blitz. It's going to be tough, I think, even though Purdy has been able to have success against the blitz. I think this is going to be different. I don't look at this as the same. Purdy is first across the board in all of his statistics. Spags is going to do his thing, but Purdy's going to be able to beat it. These last 2 games have really shown me that I don't know if Brock Purdy and the 49ers are ready for this moment against the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not going to go ahead and spoil my pick, but that's how I feel about this 49ers offense right now. I think in the middle of the season, when they went a little 3-4 game losing streak, I was like, I'm just going to relax. It's October. Let's figure it out. They looked really good down the stretch outside that L against Baltimore. But then these last 2 games in the playoffs, this is where I wanted them to show me the most consistency, having the most success. Brock Purdy being able to consistently live up to those moments, because this is where we are now. It's the Super Bowl, right? It's not time to talk about Brock Purdy. Well, he's Mr. Irrelevant, 2nd year, 7th round pick, all of this. That goes out the window. Now you're in the Super Bowl going up against a dynasty, against the best defensive coordinator in the NFL. You have to be damn near perfect to be able to beat Kansas City and the Chiefs. We saw last year, Jalen Hurts was perfect outside of one play. They lost by 3 points. That one play, whether you like it or not, if that doesn't happen, they probably win that game. So Brock Purdy has to be damn near perfect, in my opinion, to be able to win this game. There's a different side of the ball where I'm sure Drew and you guys are going to be talking about the run game. But to win a Super Bowl, to beat Patrick Mahomes, you're going to have success throwing the ball. I have my worries about Brock Purdy in this matchup.
I understand where you're coming from, Mr. Delimart. I understand for the fact of we've seen the Kansas City Chiefs limit the MVP of the league. He just had his worst game of the season, or I should say most disappointing game, I should say, because he had his moments of playing good, but also he left you wanting more. Josh Allen had himself a great game, but when the Chiefs defense needed to step up, they did. Against Tua, masterclass by that Chiefs defense, no way around it. And yes, Tua didn't play good. So on top of it, Brock Purdy has had spurts of high-level play. No consistency outside of the second half for the Detroit Lions, but there was still an entire first half where he didn't do anything over the top. I think that interception, yes, it's on the stat sheet, but got tipped at the line, went right into the defender's hands. But he didn't do anything to help their situation in the first half outside of that first possession where, of course, they missed out on some points. Against the Packers, he didn't play well until that last drive of the game. And now you're going up against the best defense in the playoffs. Number 2, I'll put the Baltimore Ravens because I think they had an excellent showing personally, only allowing 17 points to the Kansas City Chiefs, falling short. It's unfortunate that your offense couldn't do more for you, couldn't capitalize more on their opportunity. But there is a path for success for the Kansas City, for the San Francisco 49ers, and that is Mr. CMC, Mr. Offensive Player of the Year. In 2 games, 4 touchdowns. I mean, he has done an unbelievable job of backpacking this offense when need be. In both games, they were trailing. They did not go away from the run. They stayed true. They kept giving the ball to Christian McCaffrey. Averaged over 5 yards a carry in the first game versus the Packers, 4.5 yards per carry against the Detroit Lions, whose rush defense is great, or has been really great this season. I look at the Kansas City Chiefs. If there is a weakness, it is the rush defense. Where we look at the rush defense for the Niners, it is worse than theirs. But who's right next to them in terms of success rate? The Kansas City Chiefs. I do anticipate that it will be a little bit different because we know their secondary is so elite, talking about Kansas City. And If the Chiefs get out to a lead similar to Baltimore, I do worry about how is Brock going to be able to overcome in this moment. It is the Super Bowl. But again, we've seen him in 2 games back-to-back trail and be able to rise to the occasion. It's just different when you're going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. But I do anticipate that this offense can have success. I don't believe that it'll be a complete shutdown. I feel like that's disrespectful to Kyle Shanahan, understanding that he is one of the best play callers in the game. And that's also disrespectful to CMC. There's no way to take CMC out of the game, whether it be getting work in the passing game, of course, screens. We know that they run him on routes too. And he's going to be effective as a rusher, so long as they stay true to the run. I said this to you in the car, and I firmly believe this now. CMC needs to touch the ball 30 times this game. You made that trade 2 years ago for this moment right now. If you win this game, he should be hoisting the Super Bowl MVP trophy. That's how firmly I believe they need to rely on Christian McCaffrey, because this matchup, if they were to win, is destined for him to have a great game. They need him to be their best player if they want to win this game offensively. I think Brock obviously needs to play great in his own right. You said that earlier. It's 100% true. It's a matter of, do you trust Mahomes to play well, just well enough to outscore the Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. That's the gamble you're taking. Usually it's not quarterback versus quarterback in these situations, but that's kind of how I've come to view this game. Am I going to gamble on Patrick Mahomes, who we all know my feelings on the Kansas City Chiefs, we know my feelings on Patrick Mahomes, or am I going to gamble on Brock Purdy, who he's been pretty damn good in these moments, but is he that? That's what I've kind of had my back and forth struggle with, where I know Brock has to be the most important player on this team because he is the quarterback. He is the most valuable. But I do believe CMC in this game, if they want a chance to win it, he needs to touch the ball 30 times.
Well, I think that for the Niners, when you go up against them, the number one thing is taking away CMC, or at least trying to limit him. And I think in these first 2 playoff games that the 49ers have had, McCaffrey has averaged half a yard before contact per rush with a 16.7% success rate. They haven't ran the ball particularly well. I felt like the Packers and the Lions were selling out on the run. I don't know if Spags is going to do that, because I feel like, for me, I'd rather let you rush for 8 yards than leave one of my corners one-on-one and you get an explosive 40-yard play down the field. I think the most important thing in this matchup is something that Dehls mentioned. I think it's how Brock Purdy handles the blitz, how this offense has answers for pressure, because all those stats, him being number 1 versus the blitz, they're all fine, but you can blitz and not get pressure. And when you blitz and you don't get pressure, that's when Brock Purdy is really well. His 2 most pressured games were against the Browns and the Ravens. Those were his 2 worst of the season, arguably. In the playoffs, Brock Purdy has been pressured on 44% of blitzes. He has a 29.1% success rate on those versus... You
said Browns and which one?
Ravens.
Got it.
And 72.4% with no pressure. So Brock Purdy, when he is getting pressured on these blitzes, there's just no answers or enough time to come up with answers on the fly. And I think the number one thing for the Chiefs to do is to design blitzes that gets Brock Purdy on the move and out of the pocket. Because if you have Trent McDuffie coming off a corner blitz unblocked and he's chasing down Brock Purdy, for as great as Brock Purdy has been out of structure in moments, he's not going to outrun Trent McDuffie.
No.
So he's going to have to either throw it away or he's going to throw it into harm's way if there's a defender right there. So I think that right there, the how the Niners handle the blitz, to me, is the single most important thing of this game, because I think Spagnuolo is not going to load the box up a ton against the Niners. I think he's going to be very cognitive of the fact that he doesn't want explosive plays down the field, and you'd rather die by 1,000 cuts than a couple slashes. So I think that's what I have a feeling Spags is going to do. Versus the Lions sent a defensive back blitz 9 times. They got pressured 3 times against Purdy, and on those pressures, he was negative 0.16 EPA, so he wasn't very good. And I feel like something that can work against the Niners is that they play with a lot of condensed formations. And when you play with condensed formations and you're not spread out on the field, you make the defensive backs that much closer to get after the quarterback. And what Steve Spagnuolo does the best is design free rushers unblocked to the quarterback. So I think that's going to be the single most important thing for the Chiefs. I do think CMC has to have a great game. Like, I think he has to rush for $150, 2 touchdowns for them to win this game. I think this is not going to be a great passing performance from the Niners. And I think the defensive backs on this team match up very well with Snead and Ayuk. I think that's going to be a dogfight. I think McDuffie and Debo, in the moments that they match up, I'm curious to see how they handle CMC more so in the pass game. Because what they love doing, and something that it's difficult to handle with Shanahan, because Shanahan in the past, last time these teams faced, it was a run-centric team. Shanahan now feels much more comfortable spreading out the field, going into shotgun, because Purdy is much better than Jimmy Garoppolo. And they run 21 personnel, so 2 tight ends, 2 running backs, and the other running back is usually Juszczyk. They can be in condensed formations, but with the similar personnel, they can be spread out. They'll have Juszczyk on the outside with Debo and Kittle and CMC all running routes down the field, and that's usually when they have CMC run his bumper motion, which is him kind of going behind the line of scrimmage here. I don't know who was going to cover CMC on that, and that's what worries me the most. And that's what will keep me up at night the most of on Spagnuolo. Is it Nick Bolton? Do I have Justin Reed follow? Am I doubling CMC, and now I'm putting one on Kittle and Debo and Ayuk?
Because Nick Bolton follows, but then what happens with Kittle there?
Yeah, and even if Nick Bolton follows, like, CMC is going to destroy him one-on-one.
For sure.
So, like, that right there, I think, is something that I'm curious to see how Steve Spagnuolo is going to plan for. But the toughest part about facing his defense is just the disguises that he uses.
For sure.
Him and Steve Wilks are so different in the fact that Wilks, whatever you see is what you're going to get. With Spags, something that is cover 1 can turn into cover 4 post snap, or cover 3 or cover 2, and it can look like they're sending the house, but then they drop everybody back, or sometimes they're just sending everybody. I think Lamar Jackson got caught on a couple of those when they were getting blitzed, and then Spagnuolo just said, you know what, I'm going to show the same look, and I'm going to drop back 5 straight times.
Genius.
And with that, like, it's just a lot to deal with. And I think if Purdy does have an excellent game against this particular defense, then he deserves a lot of credit, because I think this is the best defense in the NFL. And the difference between me picking them and the Ravens is that I just think the Chiefs are led by one of the best defensive play callers that we've seen in this generation.
Man, you know,
it's always on, man. You know,
I prayed on this, man. You know, when Purdy came in and he did his thing, I prayed on this. If it wasn't gonna be my boys out there in Philly, it had to be somebody else, man. And I think this is the perfect ending to a great story. You know, what can it be if the most irrelevant man in the draft ends a dynasty, man? You know, what type of story would that be on the news, just in the magazines, on the Athletic? Shout out to them, great articles they like to write. What can it be?
CMC wins MVP. The story's gonna be Brock.
undoubtedly.
No, that's what's gonna happen.
Or Brock wins MVP. And they win.
If Brock wins MVP,
oh man, this would be a story.
Streets win.
Streets already won. But I'll say this though. I think this is a big Kittle game. I do think this could be a really big Kittle game. You know, you mentioned Trent McDuffie and Snead guarding Ayuk and Debo. I don't know if they have an answer for George Kittle. I think George Kittle, Brock Purdy, that connection is sound. It's perfect with them two. I think Kittle will have a big game. At this point, we expect CMC to have a big game. You know, we expect CMC to score TDs. I do think they're going to run the ball a lot. My concern is, on a down-to-down consistent basis, how is Purdy going to look? Is he going to struggle like he did against the Lions and against the Packers? I feel like a lot of those passes that he were throwing were ducks. I feel like some of them were overthrown. He was pressured a little bit. But even when he was pressured, you know, you saw he made adjustments. When he was pressured in first halves, you know, he'll throw it. It'll be a bad throw. It could be a turnover-worthy play. But sometimes in the second half, he'll start to run the ball. You know, he'll start to use his feet, be more creative, you know. And I think a lot of what the Chiefs are going to do is I think the same game plan they had against the Bills. You know, allow them to run the ball, allow them to gash it up. But just this offense is so explosive with Debo, with Kittle, with Ayuk. You get both things in play. This could be a dangerous thing. So I do think CMC taking him away is going to be the most important thing. But definitely honing in on not too many big-time plays. At the end, I do believe CMC, but it all comes back in circle to Brock Purdy. If he does not play well, this team does not win. You know, we can talk about CMC being the most important guy. We can talk about him having $150. But if Brock Purdy does not play good, to great for 4 straight quarters, this team does not have a chance to win. It's always going to come down to that because he is the guy they're going to put the most pressure on. And, you know, when you got guys like Kittle, you got guys like Debo, you got guys like Ayuk, you know, this is a different, like I mentioned, this is a different defense. This is a different defensive coordinator. You have not seen this in the NFC at
It's a scary
all.
fucking team, man.
You know, this is a scary defense.
Fucking hate 'em.
And this is also where legends become made. You know, this is also where legends become legends. You know, Lamar hasn't done it. Josh, he played great, but he unfortunately did not win the game. Of course, Tua can't do it. But how can Brock Purdy be the guy to do it? I don't know. He has the weapons. But I think the Chiefs defense,
How many games did the Eagles win this season? This postseason?
0.
Oh wow, same as Dolphins. Wow.
Well, we went to the Super Bowl last year.
And what happened?
We lost. Miami went
Couldn't
to the
couldn't do it. You
Miami-
fucks.
Well, we won 4 or 5 years.
Dolphins haven't won a playoff game in 20 years.
It's been
20
so long.
plus.
They haven't won a Super Bowl how long?
72.
Oh, stop talking to me.
They went perfect.
Yeah, don't matter. Perfect doesn't matter.
Best
in the
team of all
70s.
time.
I don't care for that.
There's not even a Dolphins.
I was. I'm just saying.
He wasn't even thought of.
No, my dad was 4 years old.
Oh yeah, your dad didn't even see it. Yeah, but you know, I think this Chiefs defense is gonna play well. I think we trust that more. It's just how is the Niners gonna be able to respond? I don't want them to see a consistent 4 quarters. What I have seen is Brock Purdy hasn't had the greatest 4-quarter stretch, but what he has had for 2 straight games is great moments in the 4th quarter, and that's what you're gonna need. But I do need him to be a little bit more consistent to win this game.
Let me double down on this statement.
Here we go.
If Brock Purdy wins this Super Bowl, my first child, boy or girl,
Brock
Purdy Velez,
Don't do that to the daughter. Just boy.
boy or girl,
Purdy Velez is crazy.
if he wins this fucking
so
game,
nuts.
Brock Purdy Velez, lock it the fuck in.
Before
Brock.
Tua Tagovailoa Velez?
There's no shot. Tua has no shot of getting that name.
Two is tough.
Tua's a cool name.
Two is a cool
For a
name.
female?
Cool name.
It's not even his
Not
real
for-
name though. It's just like his
Yeah,
short
facts.
name.
I know,
It's
I know.
No.
Something long.
But
How do
Tua's
you say it?
Couldn't beats me.
What's it? Is it Talia or that's something like that? That's his
I
brother.
think that's his brother.
His brother's kind of mid too.
Tua.
I think he's coming out this year.
He was at Maryland, right?
Yeah, he's not good though.
The family's it.
Oh my God, it's nuts. It's
This is how you say it, bro. This is how you say it.
okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Tuna got my new Lopolo. No,
Yeah, I wasn't gonna take the chance on
No
saying
shot
it
at that.
personally.
I saw it until I saw those 4 letters.
So, what do you guys think the score prediction is for the Super Bowl?
Oh, we picking who we win? Who we got winning?
Winners,
Yes.
losers. Who you got?
I got the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs 28-21.
Shocker! Ding, 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 ding.
I think Mahomes is going to play a perfect game. He's Mahomes, and he needs this to solidify his legacy further. Because if he loses this, people are going to say he can never catch Brady. And I think the Chiefs, what they've gone through this year, beating the Dolphins, beating the Bills, beating the Ravens, 3 of the better teams in the AFC, losing to a Niners team that has struggled in their last 2 playoff games, I feel like would be a letdown. I know the Chiefs are underdogs. I still don't know how because I feel like everybody's picking the Chiefs, but the Chiefs should win this game. I got them winning.
You know where I'm going. I'm going with the Niners, man. Stamp it here. Listen, man. I'm either gonna put bad luck on them or put good luck on them. Brock Purdy's gonna win the Super Bowl MVP. He is. He's gonna win Super Bowl MVP.
Let it be true.
And on top of that, because we're gonna talk about prize big league, take the more on George Kittle. Take the more, hammer it in. Brock Purdy's gonna win Super Bowl MVP. The legacy starts here. You mentioned this is a legacy game for Mahomes. This could up his legacy. Well, Mr. Irrelevant is gonna win the Super Bowl. He's gonna win Super Bowl MVP.
Please, God. Please let it
I'm
be
excited
true.
for it. I think the score is gonna be. I'll go 24-21. I think that's a cool, calm, collective score.
I wish I was you.
I remember I had a TikTok or I said on the show Brock Purdy was going to win Super Bowl for I named like 6-7 quarterbacks.
He's here.
This is his chance.
He's here.
We're here.
Dehls, what do you got?
As a Jalen Hurts truther, it's hard to get back here. It is hard to get back here, even when you think it's here. I got the Chiefs winning this game. You had 28-21. I had 27-21, so similar
So
score.
we're all in the 21 range at least.
Yeah, I do think, more than anything, I think the 49ers are going to struggle to move the ball. Like, I do think Mahomes is going to be really good. He's going to have some key third downs where he's scrambling and picking up like a 3rd and 12, and it's going to piss all 49ers fans off. But I really think this Chiefs defense and Spags is going to give Brock Purdy some issues. If he struggled against Detroit for a half, whose secondary and pass defense was among the worst in
windy.
the NFL this season. No, the Packers game was when it was bad weather, and he struggled in that game
didn't
as
say it was
well,
bad weather. I
outside
said
of
it was windy.
a drive
Remember,
or
they
two
missed
in
the
that
kick.
4th quarter.
He didn't cook against the Lions.
The second half, yeah.
He was amazing in the
Destroyed
second half,
Yeah,
though.
the first half he
bringing
was
that
dog
energy.
shit.
Was he dog shit or
They
just
scored
there was
7
not
points.
Is that his fault?
Yes, yes.
Why?
They should have had 10.
They should have had a field.
10.
They should have had a
10.
field goal that he
Well, the
started
defense
the drive
allowed
with,
20.
and then he had a tipped INT at the line.
No, he wasn't. He was bad. He was bad. Let's
If
not.
you
let's
wanna
not-
I'm
beat
just
the
saying.
Chiefs,
You
I
said
think-
you said dog shit. I think that was
Listen,
right.
semantics.
He wasn't good.
He was bad.
He wasn't good in that first half. And now you're going up against a better defense, a much better defense
much
with
better.
better players and a better coaching staff.
Hey, Josh
I
Allen,
think they're going to struggle to move the ball some. Chiefs win 27-21.
just because Lamar struggled doesn't.
The
mean
last
Brock
one,
will struggle,
Drew.
you know?
I want it to be known.
He has to.
I am praying.
For agenda purposes.
Oh,
You said just because Lamar struggled doesn't mean Purdy will. I was like, oh, they shut down, the best coach in the NFL, best offensive line too.
the thing is that I don't see the Niners going away from the run the way that the Ravens did. There's no way.
Well, the Ravens never even started it.
Here's the thing.
Cooking.
I want so badly
Oh my god, we don't have time for this.
to be wrong. We have time. We've been here for fucking 3.5 hours. I can talk as long as I want.
Yeah, but like,
Mr.
bro,
So
York.
work in the morning.
yeah, you're about to go into the soliloquy about how you're begging for it. You know,
Only
Pick your
from
team,
you.
man.
we know who you're going with.
Pick a
bro.
team.
This has kept me up because there's no part of me that wants to pick the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't want to see him win. I've been in misery enough. I miss the days when Super Bowls did not involve the Kansas City Chiefs. It was not that long ago when it was the Rams versus the Bengals. What a time that was. But unfortunately, I'm sorry. I have to.
Who the hell are you apologizing to?
I'm apologizing to myself in the future
Respect.
for when the Niners win this game. Because I'm going to pick the Kansas City Chiefs. I do believe they win this game, 24-21. It's going to be a very good game that we watch.
I hope we get a class.
But unfortunately, the
Me too.
Kansas City Chiefs, they do win this game.
So we all have the loser scoring 21 points.
For sure, yeah. That would be fire if it happens.
27-21,
I would love if
24-21.
that happens. I'm the lone Niner guy here.
I want it
Remember
to
last
be
year
known.
when somebody was the lone guy here? And
You know
Facts.
what, Riv,
God's honest truth.
I actually wish that you took the Chiefs. Hand to God, I would have picked the Niners. I needed someone to have the Niners. You picking the Niners, that's positive energy.
you thought I was gonna go anywhere else?
Well, you
I don't know.
didn't think the curse like reverse? We all take the Chiefs.
No, I wasn't.
work
You know what I
both
think
ways.
is different? The difference is that last year, y'all was really confident in the Eagles.
I was really confident in the Eagles.
Yeah.
This year,
This year, you're taking the
if
Chiefs.
the Chiefs' defense is better than last year's.
They don't have Jalen Hurts. What can I say?
I don't know.
You're
The
not wrong
offense
about
as a
that.
whole is really good for the Niners. But Brock Purdy, he's got to show up. It's a big game.
I have an entry for prize picks this game. The Mahomes free square,
Have to.
by the way, is up.
Everyone needs to use this square.
Yes.
It's a must.
So go to Prize Picks, use our code PAS. Even if you are a current user, you can use this free square. It's a free square. It's a free pick and an entry. I mean, it's that easy. So the Mahomes free square number one, Isaiah Pacheco 68.5 rushing yards. I'm going more on that. And Brock Purdy 248.5 passing yards. I'm going less on that. Those are my three picks.
All right, I'll be honest. It's the big game. I'm cooking up a mega lay. So the first one, you have to put Patrick Mahomes, 0.5 yards. That's obvious. Brock Purdy, the Goblin, 199.5. We have to go more on that. All Goblins, all Demons, you have to go more. 199.5. Christian McCaffrey, 90.5 rushing yards. Like I said, if they want to win this game, they need to give this man the rock a trillion times. Isaiah Pacheco scores a touchdown. I believe that he gets into the end zone. And the last one, Travis Kelce, I contemplated the Demon, which was, if I'm not mistaken, 100 yards, 99.5. But I'm just going to go with 71.5. He's hit that line in every game so far. I think outside of the Dolphins game, I think that he gashes the Niners. And I think he has himself a great game. And that's the 5-leg lay.
Do you have something, Riff?
I said it already.
Talk to
Can
me.
you say it again?
George Kittle more on his yards.
And you're gonna pair that with Mahomes free square.
Have to.
I didn't
Yes.
want to.
Yes, but you have to.
But it's a free square.
If Mahomes gets 1 yard, you win.
Oh, it's
That
one of
pick,
those.
yeah.
Okay, I'll
It's a
pair.
free square. That's what it means.
I'll go even higher. You know, I'll take Brock Purdy's touchdowns more. I'm going for the big day.
What's that? 1.5?
1.5 more.
2 touchdowns, Pat's touchdowns.
Matter of fact, I'll go
you
even.
want to do the Demon? 2.5? 3?
You know what? Let's go, Demon.
Talk to me.
We're fucking here. Listen, you make your money how you make your money. Brock Purdy 2.5 TDs. We're going more. We want him to win Super Bowl MVP. You got to do it.
I
That's
needed
where legends become legends, Dehls.
the Brock Goblin 0.5 touchdowns. Oh, God, I would have loved that. Because they have Mahomes Goblin 1.5, but they don't have Brock Purdy Goblin 0.5?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Come on.
So Truck in the U.S. of A.
First off, thank you, Chuck. You
Truck
showed out
going
this
crazy.
He
Shout
is
out,
showing
bro.
out. How many Hall of Fame locks are in this game? Mahomes, Kelsey, Bosa, Warner. I know you would say Trent Williams, but only 2 All-Pros.
I think
Trent Williams is first ballot.
I think Kittle too. Did he say Kittle?
Kittle's a Hall of Famer.
CMC.
CMC, Hall of Famer. We were talking about that. Running backs, it's going to be near impossible to make it
Oh, yeah?
for the future, just in general. CMC gets in. Derrick Henry gets in. I don't know anymore.
Say Chris Jones.
Chris Jones
Chris Jones,
most
Hall of
likely gets
Famer.
in. So Mahomes, CMC, Kelsey, Trent Williams. Nick Bosa's on his way. He's had himself a great start to a career.
He said Hall of Fame locks.
I mean, DPOY, I don't want to say you're a lock off that alone.
What do you think, Riv? You think Brock Purdy?
He
Hall
wins
of
a
Famer?
Super Bowl.
He wins
Hey,
a Super Bowl in year 2.
He is on pace.
What did I say to you in the car? If Brock Purdy wins a Super Bowl, he gets to relax
Question.
for the rest of his career. There's no stress on him ever again.
You said DPOI. Is Stephon Gilmore a Hall of Fame lock? He's won DPOI.
I don't know if he's a lock. I think he
He
might
has
be
a
Hall of
case.
You
Fame.
brought it up, is what I'm saying.
No, fair enough. No, it's a good point. He has a case.
Brock Purdy? I look at the guys in there that's probably going to make it. Eli got it. You know,
Kurt Warner got it.
Kurt Warner, you got it. You know what I'm saying?
He's going to have the numbers too. The right
Eli career is a little bit, you know, yeah. Brock gets this one right here. So he's already up. Listen, man, I ain't going to say it's a lot.
We're not
but-
there yet.
No, trajectory.
a lock, not a lock.
Trajectory. It's cool.
Like Tatum, third best Celtic ever. kinda.
Stafford's going to get in, right?
Yes, undoubtedly.
We got one, right?
He does.
Brock Purdy's young.
Super young. Year 2.
Kirk Cousins, you on trajectory to get
Probably
in?
not.
It's
Ain't
gonna be
that
tough.
from?
Yeah, no real playoff
Truck in the
success.
US of A also goes, side note, if Brooklyn wasn't trading Bridges, why not at least trade one of the Cams?
I like Cam Johnson. He's been playing some good
You got to keep
basketball
some
too.
type of young talent. I wouldn't
Cam
trade
Thomas
Cam
getting traded too. Like, does the team really want him?
You have to have a very
K2
specific team to want Cam Thomas.
K2 goes, I hate the Chiefs and Mahomes, but sadly I got to go Chiefs 28-14. Purdy gonna fold.
I just don't want to blow out. Like I don't want 28.
If it's 28-14,
They'll come back.
you guys are going to have to call my house and make sure I'm okay.
I want this to be a close game. I want this to be nail biting.
We got 2 more super chats. Sean Courtney goes, what's good, y'all? Can't wait to get my hoodie tomorrow. Who
go.
is your favorite all-time player in all 3 major American sports?
Very easy. It's the easiest question I've ever been asked. LeBron James, Peyton Manning, Alex Rodriguez. Very easy.
My NFL one's actually pretty tough. I don't know. It's probably Revis. It's probably
Even
Mike.
after he betrayed you.
Yeah, he's still.
You know, like
dope.
that's real. I respect
It's-
that.
That's the toughest one though, because then it's Mike Piazza and it's Jason Tatum.
Steph, Deshaun Jackson.
Say Jose Altuve and I get up right now and we square.
No, I would just say another NFL one.
Or you could say Jordan. I respect
Nah,
Jordan.
AJ Green.
Actually, AJ Green for the Bucks just had like 27 points.
Oh, wow.
They lost by 30.
Well, my favorite is AJ Green for the Bengals. So yeah.
For
Go,
me,
legend.
I'm going to go James Harden. In the NFL is tough because
I just said
early
James
on,
Harden.
I
Is he
was
still there?
just simply
Not if you
Jets.
ask me.
So definitely Darrell Revis, but like as I've expanded my horizons to become fans of like
that's
teams,
the word.
it's Patrick Mahomes my favorite. And then MLB, I don't watch baseball,
My
so I don't know.
God.
I don't watch baseball.
Oh no, my guy in baseball would be Jazz.
Okay.
Chisholm?
That's okay.
All right,
That's my
lit.
guy.
You have a blessing with Jordan. And you
I love
don't say
Jordan. No, I love Jordan, but I don't. You know,
Like, even me who hates the Astros, I actually love Jordan.
I love Jordan. That's my dog.
He's elite.
It would probably be but all jokes aside, it would probably be who would be? I think like a guy that I would say I use a lot in MLB, like I always get
Yeah.
him no matter what, would probably be Clayton Kershaw.
Kershaw, tough.
that's
I
probably
was going
it.
to say I use Jordan an insane amount in MLB. Swings butter.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Outside of like Darrell Revis, my favorite player was Alex Smith, low key.
Alex Smith.
Yeah, I fucked with Alex Smith. When he went on those runs with the 49ers and then went to the Chiefs, I fucked with Alex Smith OD. That's like my game manager favorite
I
quarterback.
can respect that.
Like my favorite just football player.
Brock Clears.
Fredo Kirk goes, just wanted to shout out you guys. Keep going, and it's funny. We're going to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl again before a Riv Academy episode.
Well, we just got a Riv Academy segment.
Yeah, we just got it.
How the fuck he say that?
Come on, man. He's
a
not
prick.
keeping up with the times. Now, this week in the NFL, we can breeze by this. Like, these are the things that happen. The Commanders hired Cliff Kingsbury.
They have an interesting staff.
Yes.
Very interesting staff. Dan Quinn, Cliff Kingsbury. Who's it? Do we have DC?
Cliff Kingsbury, I like the hire, honestly. I don't think that he's a bad play caller. I just
Brian
don't
Johnson is there.
Yeah, they hired him in a prominent offensive role.
I
Whatever
just
that
don't know
means.
if he's a great head coach, you know?
Chargers hired Greg Roman as OC, which has a lot of
yikes.
Chargers fans in flux right now. They're terrified with it. And Eric Bieniemy got fired.
Yes.
So
He's a free agent. Hey,
he's
come
a
to New
free
York. Please.
That would be pretty
Please.
awesome.
Find a way to get Nathaniel Hackett.
And my
out here.
takeaway from this is there was other news that happened, like McDonough going to the Seahawks and Alex Van Pelt, OC for the Browns, going to the Patriots.
Stefanski just won Coach of the Year. Shout out to him.
Nice.
We knew.
Second one.
The Bengals next year are going to be in a division where the defensive coordinator for the Ravens is not there no more, which they had trouble with.
It's huge.
The Browns, the OC left. I don't know how much of an impact that makes. And the Steelers are kind of, what they are.
Ass.
I feel like with the last place schedule next year, the Bengals have a pretty favorable path to getting the number one seed in the
defense.
AFC
How
North.
much help does
Tell them to
Burrow
figure out the
need, man?
defense.
Are they re-signing
got
T.
to.
Higgins?
I don't know. That's the question on the block
I hope
right now.
not, personally,
He
for
had-
fantasy purposes.
He had a quote. They asked him about going to the Titans. He said, "I'd love to play there. It's my hometown. I know the coach.
I have it
It'd be
this week in
fun."
the NBA. Is that okay?
Yep.
I thought we were just gonna do that.
This week, so shout out to NBA University.
Shout out
Always
to
putting
University.
out great
content.
legends.
great content.
Absolute legends.
Kawhi Leonard is shooting 52.1% on highly contested three-point attempts, which means defender between 0 to 4 feet, which is the most efficient in the NBA. Kawhi is also shooting 53.7 EFG on field goal attempts at the end of the shot clock, 0.4, which is the 99th percentile. Kawhi's back. The cyborg.
He's nuts.
scary. Yeah. Just wanted to point that out. MVP.
Now to finish off this episode, I want to blindly rank the last 10 Super Bowl matchups from best to worst.
Okay.
So of course,
It's not really
It's not blind because I can see
I was
it.
gonna say it's not blind because we know the last 10.
I can also see it.
To be fair, you also worded it originally saying rank them. So I did.
Yeah, it's not a blind.
okay,
No, I mean-
rank them, blindly rank them. You know what I mean?
We're doing
Like
a group one, right?
it's a group one. We have to put in place each spot. Okay, so ranking the last 10 Super Bowl matchups of the last 10 years, of course. The first one, we got the 2014 Super Bowl, the Seahawks versus the Broncos.
I thought the Patriots, Seahawks, that would be number one.
No, this is blind ranking.
What if we just rank them 1 through 10?
Why the hell are we blind ranking? He already.
I understand,
Bro,
but it's
what it
it's
means,
so easy.
what
I
it
know what it
means
means
is that
is-
the Super Bowl, it's like, okay, that should be number 6. That
Yes.
should be number 8.
No, I know what blindly ranking means. What I'm saying is, you got your screen wide the fuck open.
We
I
know-
already
we
see
know
it. We
the
all
10.
know.
We know
10.
the teams. We don't know where we're gonna place them. That's the blind part of the ranking.
And I'm gonna put this number 10.
Yes, undoubtedly.
number 10.
Undoubtedly number 10.
This is the
This
worst
game
Super Bowl.
sucks.
Yeah, this was a blowout, complete, utter embarrassment. If you're a Broncos fan, I don't know. I don't know how you could even fathom that Super Bowl. That was just embarrassing.
If we didn't win Super Bowl 50, I agree. I would. I don't know if I'd still be a
How you
fan.
get back?
I don't know if I'd still be a fan.
All right, 2018 Eagles versus Patriots, 41-33 final score.
2.
Eagles versus Patriots, I
That was
would put
amazing.
at 4 personally.
Number 4.
I'd say
That's
4.
kind of low.
I think it's 2 or 1.
I already have gone over this list because this is your fault.
New England- This is why, because
I-
I know what number 1 is.
Correct.
I already know what
no,
1 is.
I know 1 and 2. I could be convinced to put it 3. I have respect on this one game that I do have 3. I have it 4. There was no defense.
This was a fire game.
This
There was
fire.
no defense.
That's what made the fire.
This was a
Back
fire
and
game.
forth.
I would have this.
If you want it, I can level 3.
I don't think it's lower than 2.
I would probably
No.
have it 2.
It's
I don't
2.
think it's
I'd
lower
probably
than
have
2
it
for me.
Oh
I
my
don't think it's
God!
two
What
for
are you
me.
talking?
It's number 2.
No, that's such a bad take.
No.
That's all, 1 and 2 are
Bro, you got
stamped.
outvoted. You got outvoted.
I agree. I'm with you. 1 and 2 are stamped.
No, but you got outvoted.
Which again, we're gonna go
We're
back
going back to
this.
2013 or 2014?
The
20
la-
all the way to
2014.
2014.
2014. 2013. I thought that was when you were talking about Baltimore San Fran.
No,
Oh, my apologies.
this 1 and 2 are so stamped. But
So
okay.
I'm assuming, of
No,
course.
let's keep going. It's blind ranking.
Okay, this next one up, the
Oh,
2015.
Yes.
Number 3.
Yes. Number
Number
3.
three.
Number
Number
3.
three.
Please
Number three.
trust me.
Number
Okay.
3.
But we'll go 3.
Number 3.
3 is
Okay, fine. We'll go number 3
Thank
because
you.
I know 2015 Super Bowl, the Patriots versus the Seahawks.
1.
That's
I would have
number
number 1.
This is 1.
Yes.
That was the best
This
game.
is the best game I've ever seen in my life.
So I'm assuming that next number 2 is 2023, the Chiefs versus the Eagles.
This is what I have 3. That's what I personally have
Are
3,
you
but I
putting?
can
Are
put
you
it 4.
putting?
Easy, relax, don't spoil.
I'm not gonna. No,
One.
but I think. Are you? Okay. I think I know where
So
you're
we
going.
agreed on 3 with the Pats and Eagles. This is why personally. So which
This
game is
one
this?
is 3. The Chiefs and Eagles is 3
I had this game 3.
ahead of Patriots and Eagles.
Yes.
I disagree.
I would have KC Philly 4.
This all right,
Yeah,
which
I
is
think
fine.
this one is 4.
And I can level because that's my 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So 4 is fine with me.
So far we have number 1, 2015 Super Bowl.
Yes.
So if you could keep track of this, I'd really
Gotcha.
appreciate
Give
it.
me 1 second,
Fuck
Ken.
your list.
Yeah, I got you.
My list is golden.
That's mid.
It's perfect so far. I mean, you fucked it going 2, bozo.
We all went 2.
No, then I remembered.
Thank you.
Then we all leveled.
All All right, 2's unspoken. 3 is Pats and Eagles.
Where'd you have that 4?
I had a 4.
You're an idiot.
I'm not, because you're going to hear. Well, we just said what mine was 3. So 4, we have Chiefs and Eagles.
Yep.
Okay. I believe we put 10, right?
Yeah, that was the Broncos.
Yes, 2014.
The worst
Super Bowl.
one by far.
By far.
Garbage.
By
Seahawks
far.
versus
Bad teams,
Broncos.
you
Hey, we won.
Doesn't matter.
We won a Super Bowl. I was lit.
We won too.
Thank God.
Okay,
I'm ready.
we're good. Okay, now this one might be a little tricky. The 2017 Super Bowl, the Patriots 28-3 comeback, where they beat the Falcons 34-28.
Number
That's
2.
number 2.
Number
This
2.
is 2?
Not even thinking
Pats
twice
coming-
about
This
it.
was good. This game was good for like a half.
And it wasn't even good because the Falcons weren't moving
Like
the
what
ball.
the
It's
fuck
the
are we
only-
In terms of
doing?
entertainment value,
it's
it's definitely
legendary.
not top
It's
two.
the only Super Bowl game to go into overtime.
The Eagles
Number
and the
2.
Patriots game was literally nonstop quarter 1-4 back and forth.
It's the greatest comeback in Super Bowl
it is.
history.
Yeah, but it was good.
It might be the greatest comeback in sports.
But it was
history.
good for a half.
3-1 coming down. Sorry.
3-1 coming down for sure.
This might be a hot
Don't
take.
come back.
This was the greatest comeback in NFL history. I kid you not. When I was watching this Super
You were
Bowl,
bored for a half.
I turned it off and left after halftime. It was that bad.
That's on you.
Yeah,
But what about
you
the
said
second
that.
half?
Tom Brady like
We're doing-
that?
we're doing an entertainment
That
person.
second half is better than the fucking 41-33
Bro, we're not
game
talking
against the
about-
Eagles and
we-
Pats.
we talking
What
about-
number do you have this then?
This is definitely not over 2023. What we just saw with the Chiefs and Eagles.
Oh my God.
The Chiefs and Eagles was more entertaining of a game.
Oh my God. I can't even fathom
Bro, because the
this.
Chiefs and Eagles at every single drive,
shit was
every
fire.
single play,
I
you
don't
was
know
on
if
the
that shit
edge
was
of
fire.
your seat. You were on the edge of your seat every single drive, every single quarter.
I think y'all getting caught up in the moment.
In terms of
What? It's the
entertainment value,
only
Chiefs
game
and
to
Eagles
go
was
into
better.
overtime.
I
He was
prefer,
down 28-3. They come back and
I
won.
prefer four quarters of excitement than just one half.
Now,
Personally,
this was one of the best games I've ever seen.
I think we're all going to disagree. I don't think this should be 2.
Is that Niners Ravens game not amazing because the lights went out and the Niners came
was
back and
lit.
almost won the game?
game was lit.
I don't think
How
this
much did
game
they come
wasn't
back from,
amazing though. I'm not saying this game wasn't amazing.
No, it was amazing.
This
game
is
was
number
amazing.
2.
The top 4 games are amazing.
If the Pats and Seahawks wasn't the best game I've ever seen, it would be 1.
I agree.
This is 2.
I would have this 2 as well.
I would-
28-3
I'm not-
is
I wouldn't
fucking
put this at
insane.
2.
I wouldn't put this at 2.
So what do you want to put this 5? I'm sorry. That
put
is
this
just
at 5.
that is
I level at 5.
irresponsible.
If we put it at 5,
Wait,
what's
this,
over
this
it?
is what you had too?
I would have this 2 as
Oh,
well.
then I would put this. I would put the other 2 up and put this at 4.
That's
So you're putting the
insane
Eagles
to
and
me.
Patriots
Yeah, at 2.
over it.
Yeah, I would do that. Yeah, for sure. I would put this at 4. This
You're
game was.
losing me there.
this-
I mean, you had
Nah,
Tom Brady throw for 500 yards in that game.
that shit was nuts.
That was entertaining as
You're
hell.
losing me with that.
That was a great Super Bowl. A great Super Bowl.
Yes.
This was the best comeback in the
Ever.
history of the
Okay,
sports.
I understand, but that is a more entertaining game than the Eagles versus the Patriots.
Is it most entertaining or is it the best Super Bowl?
No, we talking about like, are we ranking the last 10 Super Bowls in terms of like entertainment value?
This
Like, how
was-
entertaining were they?
If that's the case, that should be 1. A comeback should be 1 if that's how you're
And
doing
this-
it.
the
No,
interception at the
yes,
goal line is
yes,
fucking insane.
yes,
It's
yes.
insane.
Brother,
Yes.
28-3 is insane.
That's the
No,
greatest
but
comeback ever. Like
everyone's
I said.
like,
Now
you're at
we're-
the
now
2-yard
we're-
line. It's fucking first down. You have Marshawn Lynch. They won the game.
The
And
best,
they throw the pick.
best way
Y'all
I
losing
can
me.
ex-
Y'all
the
losing
best
me.
way
Y'all
I can
losing me.
explain it is
Y'all
the
losing me.
Pats and Seahawks had everything. It had offense. It had defense. It had insane plays. Curse catches the ball after it gets tipped in the air 2-3 times. He's on the 5-yard line. They give it to Marshawn. He gets to the 1. They pass the ball. It's intercepted. The biggest play one of the biggest play, top 3 all time, is a defensive play.
Let me ask you this. What was a better Super Bowl? The 2017 Patriots versus Falcons or the 2009 Steelers versus Cardinals?
That was a great Super
That was a
Bowl,
great
too.
Because
game.
like this is the greatest comeback ever, but the Steelers and Cardinals, that was a by far better game to watch.
By far, like that's where I have such a problem hearing that.
Bro, Larry
It was
Fitzgerald
28
took a
that was
slant
awesome. Yeah, you're right.
to the crib, and then Holmes caught a touchdown
But you
for
also
the
had the
win.
Harrison 99-yard touchdown.
That was right before the half too. That was elite.
Like with this Chiefs and Eagles game, it was 38-35. It was a shootout. Every single drive was you were on the
watched
edge
Nick
of your
Foles
seat.
and Tom Brady go 1-on-1.
I think
down.
it's just the finale.
Yes,
The
yes.
the finale of it where you have the Pats and Seahawks. It goes
Lamar
to the
won
last
MVP.
40 seconds, of course. And then you have this one. It goes into the last seconds of the fourth quarter,
Overtime.
then into
Flacco
overtime.
won comeback
Okay,
of the year.
listen, we need to come to a
over
consensus.
yeah, he did.
Wow.
Flacco won.
Tua robbed.
we need to come to a consensus. So far, what do we have ranked?
Number 1 is Pats and
We're
Seahawks.
clear on that. We're clear on
Number 3 is Pats and Eagles. Number 4 is Chiefs and Eagles. Number 10 is Seahawks and Broncos. I'm sorry.
We already ranked the Chiefs and Eagles in.
The Chiefs and Eagles are ranked.
So then I would have this number 2 then.
Yes.
Since we already
It's
ranked
ranked,
it.
yes.
We already ranked it. I can't put this anywhere
you.
lower.
I agree.
Okay, that's fine.
all I was
that's
saying.
number 2. But I will say on the record, I think what we just saw, Chiefs and Eagles, was a better game.
Which is why
that was a better game.
I had it 3.
Wait,
Yeah.
I had the Chiefs and Eagles 3.
Yes. You had that.
I respected the
I didn't
Chiefs
have
and
that at
Eagles
2.
game that much. I put it number 3.
I had that at 4.
The Pats and Eagles had no defense. 0.
The Chiefs and Eagles didn't have much.
You're
either.
right. That's a fair point.
yeah.
But there was also special teams involved, which also played a factor in the game.
That's why I had these 2 above them, because there was offense and there was defense and there
The
was a
Falcons
comeback.
and the Patriots game was not defense.
It was 28-3.
It
It
was
was
first
defense,
half,
it was
it was
defense from one team for a half, and then defense from another team
correct.
So
for a
you
second half.
So you saw stops on both sides.
Oh my God.
Dante
that is
Hightower has one of the
disgusting.
best strip sacks that there was, too. That was a huge play.
I will say this. The Patriots and Eagles,
Brother, we watched Nick Foles throw 400.
it has a historic mesmerizing moment to it with the Philly special. That play has become
Undoubtedly.
celebrated
what's
and
crazy?
known because of that Super Bowl.
Brady did it first and dropped the ball.
He did.
That's the fucking nuts part about it.
Bro,
Philly
lock the fuck
gets
open.
absolutely all
Bro,
the praise in the world for it being a touchdown.
We had Meek Mill at the game playing Dreams and Nightmares
it
to
was a
start
movie.
the game.
Listen.
Nick Foles went for 400
I
yards.
have it number 4. I'm not disrespecting
Okay,
it
so
like
we have
that.
the top 5.
No, the top 5 is stamped.
No, we only have the top 4. Seahawks and Pats number 1. Patriots and Falcons number 2. 3 Pats and Eagles. 4 Chiefs and Eagles.
And we got number 10.
And number 10 is Seahawks and Broncos.
Okay, so next Super Bowl, the 2019 Patriots and Rams, 13-3.
Number 9.
That's fine.
I'm fine with that.
Number
I would have
9.
9. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty easily. The 2020 Super Bowl, Chiefs versus Niners, 31-20. Chiefs win.
6.
7.
It was a better game
Than the
than
score,
what
yeah.
the score says. They scored an extra touchdown right as time was about to, not say expire, but they kind of just put points on the board with the Damian Williams touchdown. Mahomes was down 2 scores, came back
6.
and won the game. I'm thinking 6.
We got 5 already or no?
No 5.
So that means you think that the Rams and Bengals one was better.
I do personally.
Okay.
I'm with that.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I really,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
I put this
know.
at 5.
That game was this game was underrated.
The Bengals and Rams, it was a very close game
You know
the
what?
entire time. Had defense, had offense. They had the one drive. Odell goes down.
I think they're
adds-
interchangeable. I'm fine with either one at 5 or 6.
Because I think the Rams and Bengals also, you have the Cooper Kupp touchdown. Then the Bengals have a chance to answer. You have Jamar Chase wide open, just can't get the pass off.
Yeah.
There was a lot to that game.
Okay, so I'll level. So
Okay.
number 5, Rams and Bengals.
Yep.
Number 6, we're going with Chiefs and Niners.
Yes.
2016 Broncos versus Panthers.
I have this number 7, but I'm cool with 7 or 8, but I think 7's a little bit better than 8.
I'll go 7 because number 8, of course, is the 2021 Super Bowl, the Bucks versus Chiefs.
That game was not that good.
Yeah, it wasn't. You're right.
Because at least the Panthers and Broncos, at one point late in the game, there was like some hope that the Panthers had,
Yeah.
but the defense just kept getting stopped
Honestly,
at
the
stop.
Patriots and Rams might have been better than the Buccaneers and Chiefs.
That's not a crazy opinion, honestly. Those 3 games definitely, I think, last, not even a question, Broncos, Seahawks, but 9-8 can be interchangeable too. Yep.
So now predict where this current Super Bowl you think is going to rank amongst the top 10.
It depends on how good Brock Purdy plays. It really does.
I'll go at 6.
It's not gonna be top 4.
I'll tell you what, we can easily put it number 3 if Brock Purdy wins this bitch.
I'll go 6.
Best case scenario, number 5.
So Drew, rattle off the top 10. What's the
I
top 10
got
we
you. I got you. So number 8, we put the Chiefs and Bucks. I'll tell you what, it wasn't too far off from what my list was. So number 1, Seahawks versus Patriots, where the Patriots do obviously win that game.
And say the year.
Oh God. Can I just do Super Bowl number?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So number 1 is going to be Super Bowl 49, Pats versus Seahawks. Number 2 is going to be Super Bowl 51, Pats versus Falcons. Number 3 is going to be Super Bowl 52, Pats versus Eagles. Number 4 is going to be Super Bowl 57, Chiefs versus Eagles. Number 5 is going to be Super Bowl 56 with the Rams versus the Bengals. Number 6 is going to be Super Bowl 55, Chiefs versus... I apologize. It's going to be Super Bowl 54? Yes. Number 6 is going to be Super Bowl 54, Chiefs versus the Niners. Number 7 is going to be Super Bowl 50, Panthers versus the Broncos. Number 8 is going to be Super Bowl 55, Chiefs versus the Bucks. Number 9 is going to be Super Bowl 53, Pats versus the Rams. And number 10, without a doubt, Super Bowl 48, Broncos versus the Seahawks.
And that's going to do it for this episode of the Pick a Side Podcast, episode 351, 3 hours and 52 seconds. Mega show, combining the trade
You had to.
deadline show and the Super Bowl preview show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. You guys can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Pick a Side Podcast and on Twitter at Pick a Side Pod. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.